The school beauty awakened into an SSS level 9 tail fox at the awakening ceremony, but she said to me, no matter what I awaken, she will make a contract with me. When all the students thought I was not worthy of him, I walked onto the awakening platform and started the awakening ceremony in an instant. A wisp of mysterious purple air floated from the east. A 5-clawed golden dragon tumbled in the purple air. The war god white tiger leapt in the purple air. The divine bird Suzaku soared in the purple air, and Kunpeng descended from the sky, as if to swallow up the city in one gulp. It turns out that since thousands of years ago, human ancestors began to awaken the template of ferocious beasts after making a contract. They transformed into ferocious beasts, erupted with destructive power to destroy the world, and gradually became able to fight against monsters, and established barrier-based cities for people to reproduce and thrive. On the day of her coming-of-age ceremony at the age of 18, the human girl awakens her ferocious beast template, and the human boy awakens his talent as a beastmaster after the two make a contract. They can transform into ferocious beasts together and fight against magical beasts. The ferocious beast templates are divided into D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS levels. On awakening the ferocious beast template of S level and above, the human girl can transform into a beast-steered girl and inherit some attributes of the ferocious beast. The higher the level, the more complete the inherited attributes. After Xiaoyi awakened his past life memories, he awakened a system called the God-level Beastmaster, which currently has 3 functions. Ferocious Beast Template Detection Function. Mission Function. Activated after awakening the Beast Tamer. Summon Beast from Upgrade Function. Activated after contracting the Beast-Ear Girl. Chapter 231. The tacit understanding test was passed, but Yunxi was stuck. Mu Qingzu's beautiful eyes were filled with anticipation. How would Xiaoyi react? What innate skills would he use? In the past, she and Xiaoyi had fought in close combat, and she had never seen Xiaoyi use his innate skills this time. She must see it for herself to satisfy her uncontrollable curiosity. Xiaoyi's virtual real conversion talent skill is activated. In an instant, the bodies of Xiaoyi and Mu Qingzu became transparent, illusory, and finally disappeared completely, transforming into a virtual state. It is intangible, invisible to the naked eye and the mind. The highest realm of the blazing fire beast is the Beast King, which is only the 5th star of the venerable realm. Moreover, the fire attribute talent skill possessed by the blazing fire beast is not as good as the virtual real transformation inherited from the mythical template. Whether the scorching little sun came crashing down with tremendous impact and explosive power, but it hit nothing and pierced into the soil, creating a big hole. The flaming monsters were all confused. Where were the people? Where did they go? After pulling its head out of the ground, it ran around everywhere and searched, but still couldn't find any human beings. It was as if it had disappeared out of thin air and completely vanished. Mu Qingzu widened her beautiful eyes in surprise, and her sexy rosy little mouth opened into an O shape in surprise. No, aren't we here? You guys are blind. Can't see? Mu Qingzu walked over and waved in front of the group of flaming monsters, and found that the group of flaming monsters really couldn't see her. Then she stretched out her white and tender little hand to touch the blazing fire beast, but she touched nothing. As if she had penetrated the solid body and touched air, and felt nothing. Mu Qingzu was shocked. This kind of talent is too abnormal. Just like the phantom spirits in the underground crystal mines, invisible and intangible. It's like cheating. How can others compare? Although she was shocked, she did not forget the test and activated her predict the future talent skill again. Prophecy is to predict what will happen in the future, and prediction is to know in advance what will happen in the next few seconds. The length of time is different, and the time factor energy consumed is also different. A picture appeared in her mind under the command of the Beast King. The group of scorching fire beasts would make a fake disintegration motion to lure them to show up. Immediately, Mu Qingzu informed Xiaoyi of the predicted results. Xiaoyi expressed his understanding. Supreme Dragon Might, the ultimate version of the Holy Golden Dragon Might. After the pressure is displayed, the enemies at reboots are weakened by 50, and it becomes the master of the King Beasts, commanding all the King Beast bloodlines weaken version. Whether he is in physical or virtual state, he can activate his innate skills. Get down, Xiaoyi shouted in a low voice, and his voice, carrying the supreme dragon power, spread out and reached the ears of every blazing fire beast. The effect of the innate skill was activated, and all the attributes of the fiery beast were instantly reduced to 65. A huge gravity pressed down on them, causing them to lower their bodies, and their movements became slow. A mental shock came quietly and attacked their minds. Suddenly, the eyes of the fiery beasts became dull and they stood there in a daze. Especially for the Beast King and the fiery beast with the blood of the King Beast, it seemed as if coolant had been added to their blood, making it difficult to use and mobilize the power of their blood. In an instant, the group of fire monsters with dull eyes fell to the ground like dumplings. 10 million volts. Lightning strike, a ranged skill with paralysis, scorching lightning and other effects. Xiao Yi and the other person returned to their physical form and appeared above the thorn jungle. Lightning flashed around Xiao Yi's body and emerged from his body. At this moment, Xiao Yi looked down at the group of fiery monsters like a king who controlled thunder. He raised his hand, and a bolt of lightning flashing with violent power formed in the palm of his hand. He slapped the ground suddenly. Black thunderbolts of annihilation came down in an instant, striking the still-dazed blazing fiery beast. Flesh and blood immediately exploded, blood foam flew everywhere, and the black remains of limbs filled with the smell of burnt air were scattered everywhere. The group of blazing monsters destroyed. Mu Qingzu watched, silently, secretly frightened. With one hand he could stun and intimidate. With one hand he could bomb with thunder and lightning, and with one hand he could defend with his virtual body. Xiao Yi was versatile in all types of attack effects. Yes, he also has a natural skill of transforming into lightning, and his speed is extremely fast, just like a fast boy, and others can't catch up with him. Although she has the attribute of time, she only has 2 talents, both of which are auxiliary talents and do not add much to combat attack power. During battle, she can use 2 ancient secret techniques, but those are only to increase the power of close combat, and her combat methods are single. I heard that signing a contract will awaken more talents and skills. For the first time, Mu Qingzu felt looking forward to signing a contract. Since her father Mu Cheng insisted that she sign the contract, she couldn't resist. So she tried to accept it and started to enjoy it. Xiao Yi thought that Dean Kunpeng and the quasi-Saint Yun Shi should be here by now. An hour or 2 had passed, since he crushed the positioning and boundary-breaking item. He was a little itchy and wanted to implement the plan of capturing space-type monsters as soon as possible. A ring-shaped halo door appeared in front of the 2 people, indicating that their second level has ended. Through the circular halos, the 2 returned to the altar. Mu Qingzu asked Mu Cheng curiously, "Have we cleared the level?" Mu Cheng nodded. "Although you didn't contribute much, you cooperated well. We all think your tacit understanding is up to standard." Mu Qingzu pouted her lips and puffed up her face with some dissatisfaction. It also put in a lot of effort. Seeing Xiao Yi appear, everyone in the Mu family gathered around again, pushed Mu Qingzu aside, and asked her to stand aside so as not to block them. And Xiao Yi, "Xiao boy, you are truly amazing. You are indeed a beastmaster with multiple attributes. You even have the innate skills that the Phantom clan relies on for survival." That palm thunder was really cool. It blew the flaming monster's flesh and blood all over the place. "Brother-in-law, how did you catch up with my sister? Can you teach me some tricks to chase girls?" The older generation of the Mu family are all high-level or even top-level great venerable lest their spiritual thoughts can cover hundreds of kilometers around them. And they saw everything that happened in the thorn jungle. The surroundings were cold and deserted. Mu Qingzu. Xiao Yi smiled and said that he had never pursued Mu Qingzu, and that the 2 of them came together naturally. Next, Mu Cheng continued to preside over the situation. Level 3, Combat Strength Level. Testing the limits of both players' combat strength, using the human wave tactic. If you persist for an hour, you will pass the level. A circular halo passage door appeared, and Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu walked in. At the same time, in the weak spot of the Dark Night realm, there was a tiny space crack. A pair of white hands pulled it open and expanded it to a size large enough for a person to fit in, and a stunning lady in a bulky white robe came in. But halfway through drilling, the space crack rebounded, the diameter shrank, and it got stuck. Stuck on the thin waist. Yunshi's pretty face was full of confusion. Her front body was inside the boundary. But the drum was still outside the boundary. "Damn it, my front waist was bigger than my butt waist before, but after drinking the golden blood recently, my body has developed rapidly, and my butt waist has become more tilted, so I can't get in." Chapter 232, the 3rd level assessment. Yunshi appears. But this level of difficulty certainly wasn't a problem for her. Yunshi stretched out her hands and the crack in space expanded. She quickly entered the Dark Night world and arrived in Midra. In the dark, a silver-haired old man twitched his mouth. "So the accomplice of the precious boy is this little girl? Realm? Quasi-saint. One more step and you will reach quasi-saint perfection, and naturally break through to the saint realm. TSK, that's incredible. It won't be long before Dragon Country will have another saint. The holy realm of space attributes." He fell into deep thought, then shook his head, turned and left. The silver-haired old man had no intention of stopping Yunshi from doing anything. After all, in his Dark Night realm, a quasi-saint little girl could not cause any big trouble. The most important thing is that the little girl has a close relationship with the baby boy. "My dear boy, his name seems to be Xiao Yi." Yunshi's body suddenly trembled, and she felt like she was being stared at. But the feeling was fleeting, lasting only nanoseconds, so she didn't pay too much attention to it. She frowned and stopped paying attention. Nowadays, the progress of her spatial body transformation has reached 90. Her every move can mobilize and influence the surrounding space. Her combat power is dozens of times stronger than a few days ago. All this is thanks to the golden blood given by Xiaoyi. Yun Shi escaped into the back of the space in the Dark Night realm, concealed his own breath, and after sensing Xiaoyi's breath, he swam towards a direction. The other side. Xiaoyi and Mu Qingzu walked out of the space passage and came to the low-lying canyon valley. The canyon valley is quite large, and it is blocked off on all sides by towering and steep cliffs. There are broken fingers and debris everywhere. The air is full of the smell of blood, and there are piles of pale bones. It is like a sure hell, which makes people shudder. When the two men stepped onto the ground, they were met with hostile gazes from the four narrow exits of the valley. Mu Qingzu said solemnly, "This is a battlefield where a war between different races of Warcraft is taking place. It looks like a war between different races could happen at any time, and we are right in the center of the battlefield." Xiaoyi's face darkened. Humans and Warcraft are two different races and are naturally hostile camps. If Warcraft warriors of different races arrive, they will definitely attack humans first, destroy humans first, and then engage in a racial war. Putting them in the center of the battlefield means they will take up arms and fight all different types of monsters. Future prediction talent skills are activated. Pictures after pictures appeared in Mu Qingzu's mind. For different types of Warcraft, including Space-type Warcraft, Phantom-type Warcraft, Ice-type Warcraft, and Light-type Warcraft, will enter the valley battlefield for a racial war. After these four types of monsters discovered the two people, they all attacked them in unison, and the attack was overwhelming. Space/Phantom Ray Absolute Freeze Solar Flare. Mainly these for weeks of talents. The realms of the four types of monsters range from 1 star in the Venerable Realm to 8 stars in the Venerable Realm. And most of them are 5 stars in the Venerable Realm. Mu Qingzu's face was nervous and she told Xiaoyi the situation in detail. Xiaoyi expressed his understanding and patted her soft spot, telling her not to be nervous. Mu Qingzu's eyes widened. "You haven't forgotten to take advantage of me even at this time. Are you looking for death?" Xiaoyi asked curiously. "Then when the time is right, I can touch you casually." Mu Qingzu was like a little hedgehog, covered in thorns, and retorted, "You wish, you can never touch me. PSK. Xiaoyi looked at her and thought to himself, after the contract is concluded, it is equivalent to getting a marriage certificate. There is no such thing as post-marital incest or post-marital incest or post-marital incest or post-marital harassment in the age of beast girls. At that time, whatever I do will be justified, and your resistance will be useless." Suddenly, there was a noise coming from the narrow entrance. The air was shaking, and a solemn murderous intent quietly came. Xiaoyi's expression was stern, and he slapped Mu Qingzu. Mu Qingzu didn't even try to dodge. Instead, she smiled and straightened her non-existent chest. Thunder roared and lightning appeared. With a click, a transparent body was hit by Xiaoyi and exploded. A second later, the phantom monster, which was turned black by the thunder, appeared on the ground in a virtual state, with lifeless eyes, internal organs shattered, and dead. Xiaoyi clapped his hands. "The phantom beast of the 2nd star in the Venerable Realm dares to act so presumptuous in front of me." Mu Qingzu smiled. When she was predicting the future just now, she had already seen this scene, so she didn't even try to hide. This phantom monster was obviously going to attack her. Its virtual state was so abnormal that it was hard to guard against. She had no idea how to defend herself. Fortunately, she had foresight. There are 4 more phantom monsters, at 8 o'clock above you, at 6 o'clock underground, 10 meters to the left, and 1 behind me. Mu Qingzu's mouth kept talking as fast as a machine gun. She was no match for the Venerable Realm monsters and could only rely on Xiaoyi's fighting power to defeat them. She is an assistant. Xiaoyi possesses the talent skill of phantom control and is born with the factor of controlling phantoms in his sight. The phantom beasts in the virtual state cannot hide their figures at all and are directly exposed in his field of vision. Phantom spirit control. Control the phantom spirit factor. Control the phantom spirit bloodline. The talent skill is activated. This kind of innate skill is inherited from the mythical template and has a very high status. When Xiaoyi thought about it, all the phantom factors around him were mobilized by him, including the phantom factors and phantom blood in the body of the phantom beast. Xiaoyi's figure flashed and moved quickly between several locations. Pa, a crisp sound rang out. The bloodlines of the 4 phantom monsters were blocked, their phantom energies were imprisoned, and in the blink of an eye they were forced to exit their virtual state and return to their physical state, falling upside down on the ground with their forelegs in the air, their mouths full of mud. Upon closer inspection, they all had dull eyes, stopped breathing, and had cardiac arrest. Obviously he won't survive. Mu Qingzu raised her little head and said with a little pride and arrogance, "How is it, Xiaoyi? This time it's all thanks to me, Mu Qingzu. You can't last an hour without me." Xiaoyi did not interrupt her self-satisfaction, because he received a message from Dean Kunpeng, the quasi-Saint Yunshi. This message, which was transmitted through a layer of space, was extremely special, like blowing and stroking in his ears, making his ears itchy. Xiao Yi, at the exit of the canyon to the north of you is a group of space-type monsters, with a number of about 150-200 kilometers to the north is the lair of space-type monsters, with a number of about 300. Give me the entry rights to the Holy Spirit secret realm. I can't wait to see these little monsters. By the way, phantom-type monsters with lightning and ice attributes are also very rare. I will accept them all. Xiao Yi could hear Yunshi's excitement at the moment, and the corner of his mouth twitched. You really want to capture all the monsters here? He replied, please show yourself. I can't find you and mark you. Yunshi slapped her forehead. She was at the back of the space at this time, so Xiao Yi naturally couldn't find her. Wait a moment. She appeared in front of Xiao Yi and said, don't worry, only you can see me, and I won't be discovered by the Mu family. Mu Qingzu raised her trembling hands. Why are you here? I am also a member of the Mu family. Okay. Yunshi replied, you are Xiao Yi's beast mother, not a member of the Mu family. Mu Qingzu. Xiao Yi immediately marked her and gave her access to the Holy Spirit secret realm. But he didn't know if it was his illusion. He felt that Yunshi seemed to be even more plump under the bloated white robe. Even the bloated white robe could not hide the proud devilish figure. Even better than Yun Bing. Chapter 233 The Jealous Mu Qingzu. You left in such a hurry last time that you didn't give me a massage. Remember to make it up to me when you go back today, Yunshi said. Xiao Yi rarely bargained and agreed directly. Okay. Yunshi was surprised and said, don't pretend to be confused. Xiao Yi smiled and said, check the body. Oh no, I'm the best at massage. My good quality is to help others. I always do what I say. Sister Yunshi doesn't need to doubt it. Okay. Yunshi twisted her proud and perky body and left. Mu Qingzu pouted and said angrily, you're still looking. Everyone has left, but you're still staring. Xiao Yi scratched his head. What did I see? Mu Qingzu said bitterly. You know what you are looking at. Men are really bad. They can't walk when they see a beautiful woman. Xiao Yi was a little puzzled, and curled his lips and said speechless lie. What I see is none of your business, and you won't let me touch it. Mu Qingzu whispered. Not letting you touch me doesn't mean I won't let you look at me. I'm about to sign a contract with you. Is it really okay to look at other beauties in front of me? Xiao Yi was speechless. Eat more papaya. See what you mean, you don't have any. We will terminate the contract when we reach the great venerable realm. That's what you said. Do you regret it? Are you jealous? Mu Qingzu choked and thought to herself, in fact, it is okay to not terminate the contract for a lifetime. I am also envious of your qualifications. After the contract is concluded, the summon beast's training speed will definitely be as fast as lightning. But she was too proud to say these words, so she said stubbornly, I am Mu Qingzu. How could I regret it? How could I be jealous? The space fold in the sky disappeared. And Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu reappeared in the minds of everyone in the Mu family. But outside the canyon, the space fold in the sky did not disappear, and everyone in the Mu family could not see the situation outside the canyon. Because this is the Dark Night realm. The people of the Mu family have nothing to worry about. They only think that what happened just now was the work of the family ancestor. They are all great masters or even high-level supreme masters. Only the family ancestor, who is at the holy level, can block their divine thoughts. Hey, why haven't the monsters launched an attack yet? There's no movement at all. More than 10 minutes have passed, and a big battle should have taken place in the canyon. Where's the monster? It hasn't entered the canyon yet. Facing everyone's questions, Mu Cheng said, it's okay. Let's just keep watching. The ancestor will naturally have his own considerations. But as they waited, everyone felt something was even more wrong. Half an hour passed and no monster entered the canyon. At the scene, Mu Qingzu lowered her head and looked at the ground, and saw the instep of her feet. As the saying goes, if you can't see your toes when you look down, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. But for her, not only can you see her toes, but you can also see the entire instep clearly. Well, why are you so disappointing? You deserve a beating. Mu Qingzu felt dissatisfied with herself and slapped the places that made her unhappy twice. She cared a lot about Xiao Yi's words, although she didn't admit it. She had already remembered eating papaya in her heart. She planned to go back and eat papaya every day after a while. She must make Xiao Yi look at her with admiration. I must make Xiao Yi unable to take his eyes away, and make him greedy to death. Xiao Yi frowned. Half an hour had passed, and not only had he not seen any Warcraft, he hadn't even seen a single hair. He came up with a bold idea. Could it be that Sister Yunshi has captured all the monsters outside the canyon? Hiss. Xiao Yi took a breath of cold air. You have captured all the monsters. What should we do with the assessment? Is it possible that I can pass the test by just staying here for an hour and doing nothing? Xiao Yi was about to ask Mu Qingzu, so he set his eyes on her, and what he saw shocked him. Mu Qingzu actually patted her soft spot twice and kept muttering something under her breath. Among them are keywords such as making him envious to death, and looking at him with new eyes. Xiao Yi suddenly jumped out from behind her, looked her in the face and said, Hey! What are you doing? What do you mean by greedy for him to death? Who is greedy for him to death? We are taking the assessment. Okay, you can plan whatever you want after the assessment. Do you understand what is more important? The two of them stared at each other. Mu Qingzu pushed him away with a cry, her pretty face slightly red as she said, "You are so close to me, you are courting death. Who are you jealous of? A dead ghost? That bastard is such a bastard." Xiao Yi widened his eyes. This shouldn't be about him, right? Hey, where's the Warcraft? Why hasn't it come yet? She had been distracted for more than half an hour before she realized it. Xiao Yi slapped his forehead and said helplessly, "If the monster doesn't show up, and we stay here for an hour chatting and gossiping, does that count as passing the level?" Mu Qingzu shook her head. "I don't know, maybe." She no longer had the heart to take the test and wanted to go back to the city lord's mansion immediately. As for what she was going to do there, only she knew. Another half hour passed. 200 kilometers away from Xiao Yi, next to the altar, everyone in the Mu family was already getting impatient and kept clamoring to go to the scene to check the situation. The clan leader Mu Cheng, who was intercepting everyone, said, "Everyone, please be patient. An hour has passed. The assessment time is over. We can intervene now." Walk. Mu Cheng took the lead and flew into the air, and everyone in the Mu family followed one by one. In the low-lying canyon, the Mu family members appeared outside the canyon and were shocked to find that the crowded magical beasts at the exit had disappeared. South, north, east and west. The groups of monsters at the 4 exits disappeared. This is so weird and so wrong. Mu Cheng took out an ancient talisman, left a message of divine thought in it, and then activated the talisman, which turned into a shield of light and flew away. Then, Mu Cheng said to everyone in the Mu family, "Second brother, third brother, fourth sister, fifth brother, all of you go to the Warcraft lair to check the situation. I suspect this was not done by the ancestor." Everyone in the Mu family was shocked and asked cautiously, "Are you saying that outsiders have invaded our Dark Night realm?" The Dark Night realm is the most important and core private dimensional secret realm of the Mu family. It not only stores the family assets of the Mu family, but also is where the ancestors of the family live. Mu Cheng nodded. "It's just a suspicion, not certain. You can go check it out first and you will know." "Okay, then let's go." Mu Cheng's brothers and sisters flew away. Mu Cheng and Song Zi'er came to the side of Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu. Mu Qingzu asked, "Have we passed the level?" Mu Cheng shook his head and said, "Not really. We will examine them later. Something very important is happening now, and I am afraid it will endanger the safety of our Mu family." Xiao Yi's heart skipped a beat. Mu Qingzu looked at Xiao Yi intentionally or unintentionally. The two of them thought of Yan Shi at the same time. Xiao Yi made a gesture to her to keep quiet. Mu Qingzu became conflicted, considering whether to complain. Soon, the elders of the older generation came back, all of them with serious faces. The lair of the space monsters is empty, and all the monsters are missing. The lair of the phantom monsters is also empty. The monsters have all disappeared. So do Thunder attribute monsters. Like an ice attribute monster. Chapter 234. Saint Realm Ancestor, the assessment counts. Mu Cheng secretly thought that this was not good. There was a high probability that a powerful person had invaded the Dark Night realm. If the ancestor interrupted the assessment, he should have notified him. Considering the seriousness of the matter, Mu Cheng said to Xiao Yi and the others, "This matter may threaten the safety of the Mu family. Things are urgent. Solve this matter first, then you can conduct the assessment. The signing of the contract can be put off for a while." "Zuer, didn't you want to postpone the signing of the contract for a few years? This time it just happens to be your wish?" "Second brother, third brother, fourth sister, fifth brother. You go back to the City Lord's mansion first and be on guard against the outside world to prevent anyone from attacking the City Lord's mansion while we are away, or launching a war against the Demon City base city." These brothers all hold important positions and are in high positions in the Magic City base city. They are either generals, heads of think tanks, or captains of support groups. They nodded, knowing the seriousness of the matter. "And send us out. The Demon City base city and the City Lord's mansion cannot be left without a brain." "Yeah, we understand." Afterwards, Mu Cheng opened the space channel and allowed them to leave the Dark Night realm. "Zi'er, you stay here to protect Oren Xiao Yi. I'll go to the altar and try to contact the ancestor." Song Zi'er said it was no problem. Mu Cheng left. Mu Qingzu widened her beautiful eyes and glared at Xiao Yi fiercely. "It's all your fault, you bastard. You find the date for signing our contract. I was all ready to sign a contract with you tomorrow. But what happened?" Mu Qingzu's mentality has changed, from resistance to acceptance and anticipation, so she hopes that the two of them can sign a contract as soon as possible. Song Zi'er said, "Zuer, your wedding has been postponed. Isn't that what you want? Why do you look a little unhappy?" Xiao Yi was surprised. Her expression at this moment seemed to be true. Mu Qingzu snorted and said with a straight face, "I am very happy now. I wish the contract could be concluded as late as possible, mother. You are wrong. Song Ziyar's face turned dark. Your dissatisfaction is almost overflowing from your words, and you still tell me that you are very happy. Do you think I am blind? Alas, Zur is a ts underi, she understands. Zur, I understand. Song Ziyar touched Mu Qingzu's flowing hair and said, although you say you don't like it, you have been hungry for it in your heart for a long time. Your mother understands it all. Xiao Yi listened to every word of these. Iceberg on the outside, but hot on the inside. Xiao Yi looked at Mu Qingzu in astonishment, only to see Mu Qingzu's blushing face. Mu Qingzu stamped her feet and said angrily, Ma, what are you talking about? I'm not hungry for food. If you want to speak, please speak softly. That guy heard it. So embarrassing. Xiao Yi was shocked. But it be that this girl really wanted to sign a contract with him? But it is clear that the two of them are in a cooperative relationship and there is no real affection between them. Could it be that this beautiful girl named Mu Qingzu is really going to rely on him? Xiao Yi frowned. The development of things was beyond his expectations. That really is very good. He was also very envious of the model summon beast with time attribute. It's definitely not because I'm lusting after Qingzu's body, absolutely not. Song Ziyar smiled gently at Xiao Yi and said, Xiao Yi, don't mind, Zur is the first young genius in the Demon City-based city, and she has been spoiled by us since she was a child, so she has developed a proud and arrogant personality. She wants it very much in her heart, but she is very tough on the outside. I'll teach you a trick if Zur says no. Just assume she wants it. Zur said she wants it, so she wants it. Xiao Yi said, Aunt Song, I know. Mom, please stop talking. Mu Qingzu, who was too proud to save face, felt very depressed after her secrets were revealed. Her face turned red with shame and she wished she could dig a hole in the ground and crawl into it. Xiao Yi walked over and patted Mu Qingzu's shoulders, and said calmly, Are you shy? Mu Qingzu blushed and snorted, I'm not shy. Mu Qingzu will never be shy. Xiao Yi showed an expression that said, I understand, I understand. I understand everything. Mu Qingzu screamed and felt ashamed on the side. Song Ziyar, the mother, watched this scene with a smile on her face, saying, Zur, you are really something. You have already reached the last step, but you are still shy. You are familiar with everything, right? Xiao Yi nodded. Being teased by the two of them like this, Mu Qingzu felt like she couldn't stay any longer. Mu Cheng showed up, and said solemnly, I can't contact the ancestor. The ancestor may have gone to the main space of Blue Star. This is difficult. I used the authority of the Dark Knight realm, but still couldn't find the intruder. I suspect that the intruder is at least at the top level of the Supreme Realm, or even higher. CR, you stay here to guard the Dark Knight realm and protect our core warehouse in the Dark Knight realm to prevent it from being looted. Xiao Yi. Zur, this assessment does not count. You will take the assessment again after this period of time. But at this moment, an unhappy voice came from the sky, and a silver-haired old man appeared in front of Mu Cheng, cursing, well, this time we have to pass it. They must have a wedding in a contract tomorrow. In the future, when do we have to wait? My 6000th birthday. The silver-haired old man couldn't wait to bring Xiao Yi into the Mu family. He understands the mythical value too well. He is the son of destiny, favored by the laws of heaven and earth. This eternal evil must be tied up in the Mu family as soon as possible. Muching Song Ziyar was overjoyed. Grandfather, you are finally here. Ancestor, something big has happened. Mu Cheng gave a brief description of the situation. Xiao Yi's heart skipped a beat. Mu Qingzu was a little proud. You are going to leak it. But who would have thought that the silver-haired old man waved his hand and said nonchalantly, I was the one who let the little girl with space attribute in it, as just catching a few monsters. It's not a big deal. Besides, she has already left. Mu Cheng was shocked. You were the one who let it in? The silver-haired old man nodded. That's right. Let's forget about this. Don't mention it again. And don't get so nervous really. With a sage realm immortal like me around, why are you so nervous? Being looked down upon, Mu Cheng was not angry at all. Instead, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, it's good that the person left. What Mu Cheng needs to consider is different from what the ancestor needs to consider. If the core materials in the Dark Knight realm are gone, Mu Cheng will be the center of the Mu family. That is the Mu family's heritage of thousands of years. Xiao Yi also breathed a sigh of relief. It was good that Sister Yun Shi had left, but what surprised him was that the ancestor of the Mu family actually spoke for him. It was clear that he had crushed the world-breaking prop to get in with Sister Yun Shi. Mu Qingzu's heart began to beat rapidly at this moment, and she said with joy on her pretty face, Dad, the ancestors said that this assessment counts. The silver-haired old man nodded. Yes, that's what I said. You guys get ready. The wedding will be held tomorrow. I want to join the feast too. Mu Cheng's mouth twitched, and he responded, Okay, ancestor, I'll go back and take care of this matter right away. After saying that, The Song Zia returned to the city lord's mansion and gathered people to get things done. Xiao Yi looked at Mu Qingzu with a strange expression and said, "You seem very happy tsk. You really want to sign a contract with me?" Mu Qingzu frowned. "How is that possible? I don't have that." But the joy in her beautiful eyes could not be concealed and was about to overflow. The silver-haired old man smiled and said, "You should go back as well and sign the contract as soon as possible." Chapter 235. Just if I don't let you touch it, you can watch it. Little brother, I'm counting on you. Don't worry, no matter what the attitude of my great-great-granddaughter is, I will supervise you to sign the contract tomorrow and personally send you to the bridal chamber. The silver-haired old man put his arm around Xiao Yi's shoulder and treated him as a brother, acting very familiar. "If you don't like my great-great-great-granddaughter, you can marry other women in my clan. Tell me which one you like and I'll make the decision for you." Xiao Yi was embarrassed. "Old senior, you are joking. Qingzu and I get along very well." Mu Qingzu stamped her feet and said, "Koketh the sly. Oh, old ancestor, please don't interfere in the affairs between Xiao Yi and me. Okay? He and I will be together." The silver-haired old man snorted. "You think I don't know your little tricks? Alright, you guys go back to the city lord's mansion first, especially your great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter. Don't play any tricks." Mu Qingzu and Xiao Yi were stunned. "You know everything." The silver-haired old man didn't say anything. He waved his hand, opened a circular halo door, and kicked the two men in with both feet. In the villa exclusively owned by the city lord's daughter. Living room. "Ouch, what are you doing?" Mu Qingzu dropped the drum onto the hard and cold marble floor. Xiao Yi fell on the comfortable and soft sofa. Mu Qingzu rubbed her aching buttocks and complained. "It was a deliberate revenge. It was definitely a deliberate revenge. You kicked me so hard, but you kicked me so softly and made me fall to the ground. My skin hurts so much." Xiao Yi's eyebrows jumped. "Your ancestor knows about our affairs. If you don't sign the contract and don't enter the bridal chamber with me tomorrow, I guess he will punish you more severely," he said with a little pride. "Hey, your ancestors have recognized me. How about that? Isn't it awesome?" Mu Qingzu's eyes were filled with resentment. "Awesome, you are the best, okay? If we want to sign a contract, then we will sign a contract. If we want to enter the bridal chamber, then we will enter the bridal chamber. I have no intention of playing any tricks anyway." Then Xiao Yi walked over and pushed Mu Qingzu onto the sofa and let her lie face down. "What are you doing?" She blushed and asked shyly. Xiao Yi placed his hand on the part where she had fallen just now and began to rub it, saying, "I am proficient in massage and can effectively relieve pain. As your fiancé, it is not too much for me to rub it for you, right?" Feeling that strange feeling, Mu Qingzu's pretty face flushed. She jumped up in a hurry, pushed Xiao Yi away, and snorted, "Don't touch me. Don't think I don't know that you, and LS, just want to take advantage of others. You even claim to be proficient in massage. You are kidding me." As she said that, she quickly ran into the bedroom, covered her face with the quilt, and said shyly, "It seems quite comfortable. Luckily I pushed him away in time. Otherwise I would have moaned loudly. No, I absolutely cannot let Xiao Yi see me like that. I am Mu Qingzu." Living room. Xiao Yi was pushed back for 5 steps before he stopped. His face turned cold and he was a little angry. I clearly went there to relieve her pain. And taking advantage of her was just a convenience, not the main purpose, but she didn't appreciate it at all. It's funny. The two of them are going to have their wedding and sign a contract tomorrow, but she is still pretending to be noble? He tried his best to pretend to be your lover, to defeat Yi Fan, and to take part in the assessment, but he didn't get a penny, and he didn't get the compensation or the key support quota he mentioned before. Mu Qingzu wants to get something for nothing? Xiao Yi said with a cold face, "Since you don't appreciate it, don't blame me for being unkind." At this time, Mu Qingzu returned to normal, took her clothes and went into the bathroom to take a bath. The 3-level assessment made her covered in dust, and her body was full of the smell of burnt blood. Beautiful girls all like to be clean, and she is no exception. She snorted as she passed by Xiao Yi. Hiding the shame in her beautiful eyes, she wanted to finish washing quickly and then go find some papaya to eat. Xiao Yi looked at her back and a bold idea came to his mind. 10 minutes passed and Xiao Yi thought it was about time. So he pushed open the bathroom door and walked in with a swagger. After taking off all her clothes, Mu Qingzu, who was taking a shower, looked dazed and asked with a cry, "What are you doing?" Xiao Yi looked at her inferently for a few seconds, revealing a trace of contempt and disdain, then walked to the toilet and started to flush the toilet as if no one was around. After draining the water, he walked out as if no one was around and closed the door. Mu Qingzu was stunned. What was that look in his eyes? Disdain? Disdain? He was acting as if I didn't exist? Feeling so angry, Mu Qingzu quickly showered, dressed neatly and walked out, with her hands on her hips, questioning, "Xiao Yi, what do you mean?" Xiao Yi curled his lips. "You said not to touch, but you didn't say not to look. I respect your opinion, okay? I went through so much trouble for her just to collect some interest. Mu Qingzu's mouth twitched. She had indeed never said not to let him look, she had always told him not to touch her. But why is this bastard's train of thought so strange? If you are not allowed to touch it, you can watch it? I will make you look at me in a new light. Mu Qingzu snorted and left the villa. She took Xiao Yi's contemptuous look very seriously and left in a hurry, not knowing where she was going. Xiao Yi was puzzled, what was he looking at? Oh, since she didn't object, it means she approves of what I did. She doesn't allow me to touch it, but she can take a look. A bolder idea came to his mind, preparing. After coming to this conclusion, Xiao Yi's expression looked better, and then he walked out of the villa and returned to Kunpeng Academy. It is now afternoon and the day is still long, so he needs to go find Yunxi. The wedding is not until tomorrow, so he is in no hurry. At this time, some big families, city lords, mansion forces, and famous figures in the 10 top-based cities across the Dragon Country have all received wedding invitations from the city lord's manor in Demon City. Happy. My daughter will be getting married to a young talent tomorrow. We will hold a grand wedding. We are sending out invitations. The invitation is also a supreme lower grade teleportation item. By pressing the handprint of the invited person, the teleportation item can be activated, opening the space portal, and entering it can directly reach the city lord's mansion of the Demon City. In the Imperial Base City, the super family Yi family received the invitation. Yi Fan angrily threw the invitation on the ground, stepped on it hard, and said a few times, "Arrogant. Too arrogant. I just cancelled the engagement and the Mu family sent me a wedding invitation right after. This is purely to humiliate me." The Dragon Kingdom Supreme Alliance, where the leader is located. The beautiful lady in a noble purple dress handed the invitation to her close disciple Huang Puxianling and said softly, "It's not convenient for me to attend the wedding banquet of the daughter of the Mu family. Please go in my place." Huang Puxianling rolled her eyes, a bright color flashed in her eyes, and she took the invitation in a quirky manner. She took the opportunity to touch the palm of the purple-clothed sister's hand and said, "Okay, master." The gorgeous Queen Ziran quickly withdrew her hand and coughed. "Xiangling, Mu Qingzu has found her home. It's time for you to find a man to sign a contract with." Huang Puxianling, with a cute little face, shook her head fiercely. "No, I want to be with master forever." The beautiful and elegant Lady Ziran slapped her forehead, her face full of black lines. This 1.7 meter tall, beautiful female disciple gave her a lot of trouble. After awakening her template, she looked down on men and didn't sign a contract with them. She also took advantage of her female master every day. I accepted a lesbian female disciple. What a sin. Chapter 236. Xiao Yi, let me show you a big treasure. But thinking of Xianling's life experience, the noble sister Ziran sighed. Huang Pu put away the invitation, her beautiful eyes sparkling as she said, "Master, we haven't had a bath together for a long time. Since you are here today, shall we have a bath together?" The noble sister Ziran's heart skipped a beat, and she shook her head and refused. "No, I have something else to do. Bye." If I hadn't used the treasure to test Huatwei Xiangling's body and soul, I would have known that she couldn't be a reincarnation, nor was she possessed by someone else. She simply hated men because of her life experience and liked to be close to women. Otherwise, I would have slapped her to death. The figure of the noble sister Ziran turned into a point of light and disappeared. Disappointment appeared on Huatwei Xiangling's pretty face, but in the blink of an eye her eyes lit up again. "Eating a feast, I'm the best at it. I just don't know when I can have a meal with master." Top Base City, Jinling Base City, City Lord's Mansion. The tall and mighty city lord knocked on the door of the villa, and said in a gentle voice, "Ziar, the daughter of the Mu family in the demon capital Base City is getting married. Are you going tomorrow?" A soft and pleasant female voice came from inside. "Can I go?" "No, I won't go." A mighty city lord said, "I will use my family's heritage to suppress your bad luck. Don't worry, nothing will happen." The daughter of the Mu family, like you, was also engaged to the Yi family in the imperial capital. But the engagement between the Yi family and the Mu family has been annulled. You have one less competitor. Try to marry into the Yi family as soon as possible. As the superpower of Dragon Country, the Yi family may have a way to deal with your special physique. Izir opened the door and rushed out. Her pretty face was delicate and beautiful. She was an unparalleled beauty who could topple a country. However, her temperament seemed a little weak, and a look of panic flashed across her pretty face from time to time. "I'm going," she said softly. Itai, the mighty city lord, was delighted. "Okay Ziar. We'll set out early tomorrow morning." Magic City Base City, Kunpeng College. Dean's Villa No. 1. Yunxi looked at the invitation in her hand in a daze. Sure enough, Xiao Yi had another beast girl. It has only been a short time since he and Liu Yi signed the contract. Only half a month. Yan Bing will need to stay in the chaotic space for at least 150 years. After 150 years, Xiao Yi estimates that there will be 3,000 beauties in his harem. Why is it that Xiao Yi, who is clearly a model student, keeps flirting with other girls? Is it because of the special nature of his talent that he can contract multiple beast girls? So he wants to benefit more people? Yanqi felt a little uncomfortable and was anxious for Yun Bing. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. That guy must be back. Yanqi opened the door and really saw Xiao Yi with a smile on his face. He bared his 2 rows of white teeth, gave a thumbs up excitedly and said, Sister Yanqi, you are awesome. We caught so many monsters with rare attributes. For this, I want to give you a surprise, Xiao Yi said mysteriously. Yanqi frowned, a cold look on her pretty face. What surprise? That's not necessary. This is nothing surprising to me. Xiao Yi shook his head. Of course not. Come with me. A circular halo appeared. Xiao Yi rushed in. Yanqi hesitated for a moment and followed him in. After a while, on a mountain range of monsters at the edge of the Holy Spirit's secret realm, to the east of the mountain range, there was a group of thunder attribute monsters captured by Yanqi. But the total of more than 300, and the highest realm was the peak of the Great Venerable Realm to the west of the mountain range. There was a group of phantom attribute monsters, but the total of more than 400. To the north of the mountain range is a group of ice attributed monsters, totaling more than 200. To the south of the mountains is a space attribute group, but the total of more than 400 individuals. These magical beasts were all captured by Yanqi from the Dark Knight realm of the Mu family, and the highest realm they have is the peak realm of the Great Venerable. Xiao Yi and the other person walked out of the circular halo and appeared on the south side of the mountain range, next to the temporary gathering point newly found by the space attribute monsters. As a 5-star Great Venerable, he quickly grabbed a Grandmaster level space attribute monster and killed it with one palm. This action aroused the already tense and alert group of monsters, and they swarmed over and pounced on Xiao Yi. Sister Yanqi, save me. Yanqi's face was full of black lines. Space collapse. Just like a house collapse, the space around the upper layer collapses and compresses towards the center. She waved her hand and the vast power of space in her body surged out, filling every corner in an instant. Then, with a loud bang, the space collapsed. The vegetation, soil and rocks were compressed except for Xiao Yi and her. The terrain in the area's dozens of kilometers was lowered by more than 100 meters. The space monsters were all crushed to the ground, unable to move. Although they both have spatial attributes, Yanqi is obviously much stronger. If she hadn't had the intention to kill, this tribe would have been wiped out in one blow. Yanqi said impatiently, Xiao Yi, what are you doing? I'm not in the mood to play with you now. Xiao Yi smiled and said, don't worry, I'll show you a big treasure. Start the template adjuster extraction function. The supreme power of extraction descended upon the Grandmaster level space monster that had just died. Then the space monster seemed to have encountered a great terror. It began to twitch all over, its breath became corrupted, its body became dilapidated, and a very unpleasant smell came out. Finally, it turned into powder and dissipated in the air. Yanqi watched patiently and commented, are you testing a new talent skill? It's really something. The talent skill is used very secretly. Even I didn't realize what kind of attack method it was, nor could I see what kind of power it was. Grandmaster level space attribute monster successfully extracted a space roll fragment crystal and put it into the storage space. In the system space, a unique regular fragment crystal appeared. When this crystal appeared, other types of crystals took the initiative to make way for a white space, as if it was not easy to mess with. Xiao Yi's mind moved, and he blocked the vision of the crystallization of space-type tool fragments, allowing it to appear in his pocket. He patted his bulging trouser pockets and said, Sister Yanqi, that's not it. My big baby is here. No? Yanqi glanced at the bulging trouser pockets, misunderstood something, and glared at him. Okay, Xiao Yi, you even dare to tease me. I don't want to see that dirty thing. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he took out the big treasure and put it in Yanqi's hand. Am I that kind of person? That's what I'm talking about, he said helplessly. Yanqi turned his head away and didn't dare to look, but the thing in his hand was cold, emitting an extremely rich spatial Taoist Ryman power of rules. She was startled, realized something, and moved her little face back to look down. Yanqi was stunned, her beautiful eyes widened in shock, and she said, this is a crystal of space rule fragments. Xiao Yi snapped his fingers and said with a smile, exactly. How about this surprise, Sister Yanqi? Do you like my big baby? Yanqi was still in shock, nodding her head like crazy, and said with joy on her face, I like it very much. With this space-type rule fragment crystal, she can immediately bring back Yun Bing, who is far away in the chaotic space. Chapter 237 Xiao Yi, Massage, I'm the best at it. At the quasi-saint level, it takes 20 to 30 years to condense the fragments of space rules into crystals in a chaotic space. Perhaps only after reaching the saint level can one get a crystal within half a year or even just a few months. The rule fragment crystals contain rich rule power, are resources for cultivation in the Holy Realm. For a quasi-saint, it is a very precious and rare thing. Yunshi's small hands rubbed the cold space at Rebuke rule fragment crystal and asked tentatively, Xiaoyi, what are your plans for this crystal? Xiaoyi said bluntly, of course it's for Sister Yunshi. Sister Yunshi helped me a lot last time, and this time you helped me capture several rare groups of monsters. I, Xiaoyi, am grateful for your kindness. If Sister Yunshi needs it, I will give it to you. Yunshi was a little surprised, and a smile appeared on her pretty face. You gave me such a precious and rare thing. And you lost it. Xiaoyi shrugged, it's okay, as long as Sister Yunshi is happy. I don't care. Dean Yunshi was touched. You have to think it over carefully. I won't give it back to you after I accept it. But then, Xiaoyi casually grabbed the two suppressed Grandmaster level space attribute monsters as a 5-star venerable. He killed them both with one palm. And then activated the extraction function of the template adjuster. Grandmaster level space type monster, successfully extracted a space type rule fragment crystal. Grandmaster level space type monster successfully extracted a creation type rule fragment crystal. The bodies of the two monsters turned into powder and floated in the air. Two more crystals appeared in Xiaoyi's hand. One of the space type and one of the creation type. He raised the two rule fragment crystals in his hand and said with a smile, Sister Yunshi, I thought it through very clearly. I'll give you one if you need it. As for me, it's up to you. Yunshi widened her beautiful eyes in shock, pointed at her hand and said trembling lie, You got two fragments of crystal? She was watching Xiaoyi's operation throughout the whole process and witnessed with her own eyes how he obtained the crystallization of the rule fragments. Xiaoyi shrugged, yes. The reason why I asked Sister Yunshi to help capture the space-type monster is that I want to extract the rule fragment crystals. Otherwise, why would I capture it? I have nothing to do. Yunshi's mouth twitched. He thought Xiaoyi had the same strong hobby of collecting and cultivating things as her. As a result, Xiaoyi actually wanted to extract the crystal fragments. Yes, Yunshi took a breath of cold air. He could actually extract it from the monster, and he could extract one in a few seconds. This was too abnormal. If he told others about it, it would probably cause a global shock and attract countless powerful people to spy and snatch it. Xiaoyi patted Yunshi's shoulders and said calmly, Sister Yunshi, calm down. How many rule fragment crystals do you need? I'll get them for you. By the way, let Sister Yunbing come back down. Stay in that godforsaken place called Chaos Dimension anymore. 300 years is too long. Yunshi took a deep breath, calmed her agitated and shocked heart, looked up and down at Xiaoyi with her beautiful eyes, and thought to herself, this person is definitely the reincarnation of an ancient emperor. He can contract multiple beast girls, mutate templates, and extract fragment crystals so easily. Oh, and he can also repair template problems that no one in the world can do anything about. Yunshi snorted and said, you still have a conscience and know how to consider Yunbing so as not to disappoint Yunbing's feelings. Xiaoyi said with full admiration, of course, Sister Yunbing is my mentor. I respect and admire her very much. She is my idol and role model. Yunshi looked strange after hearing this. You regard her as your mentor, but she desires your body and wants to sign a contract with you. What is this, an old mate eating young grass? Xiaoyi asked, tell me. Sister Yunshi, how many space rule fragment crystals do you want? I will get them for you. Yunshi asked expectantly. I need golden blood, can you give it to me? Xiaoyi's eyes widened. His neck shrank and he stepped back a few steps, and he said in shock, Sister Yunshi, please don't push your luck. I can give you as many space fragment crystals as you want, but you want me to bleed, no? Yunshi's mouth pursed. At this stage, golden blood was the best for her cultivation. Then give me a massage, I don't really need the fragment crystals for now. She said a little disappointed lie. Massage. Xiaoyi's eyes lit up, and he rubbed his hands and said, no problem, massage and the like, I'm the best at it. SSS level Kunpeng template. Template defect. A crystal type of rule fragments absorbed during awakening is wrong, causing a template defect. It is impossible to conclude a contract with the opposite sex. Once a contract is concluded, the other party will explode and die. Physical defect. Side effects caused by template defects, absorbing the wrong ace rule fragments and crystallizing the rule Dao rhyme. Freezing the emotional nerves, making them lack human emotions. As the realm improves, the emotional nerves will become more and more numb until they can no longer sense anything. Extent. Slight. Solution to physical defects, use special secret massage methods to absorb the leaked ice rules and rhymes. Xiaoyi frowned slight degree, no. Dean Yunshi's realm must have improved at this time, but the defects have been reduced a lot. Why is this? Yunshi didn't think too much about it and carried Xiaoyi back to the No. 1 Dean's villa. Entering the simply decorated bedroom, she took off her bulky white robe, revealing her proud and curvy figure. Xiaoyi checked the massage catalog and found that he only needed to massage his hands, not to mention the body, and even the feet didn't need to be massaged. Dean. The defect is relatively minor. I can just massage your hands, he said truthfully. Yunshi, who was lying down, had a dark face and said dissatisfied lie, I've already taken off my clothes, and you're telling me this? Press it quickly, press it like last time. Xiao Yi's eyes widened last time. Last time he was fooling people, massaging all parts of the body, but in fact he only needed to massage the feet. Massaging the whole body is very tiring, how about just massaging the hands, he asked tentatively. Looking at Aoran and Ting Qiao, Xiao Yi was secretly shocked. Sure enough, Dien Bingshan's figure was even more terrifying. Yunshi jumped up, pinched her fingers and said angrily, are you going to press it or not, or I will hit you? Xiao Yi felt like crying but had no tears. Being threatened, he had no choice but to use all his strength to massage Yunshi. This job was too tiring. After a while, Xiao Yi ran away as if escaping. There was a question mark on Yunshi's pretty face. Not only did I let you see it, I also let you touch it. You took advantage of it and you still look unwilling? Very tired. After a special secret massage, her whole body felt relaxed, and her emotional nerves that had been slightly sealed regained their vitality. She sent a voice message to Xiao Yi. Oh, do whatever you need to do. I'm going to take a bath. Xiao Yi only felt a flash of white light before his eyes, and then he appeared outside the villa. I haven't washed my hands yet. Looking at the two rough hands that exuded a faint fragrance, he felt like crying but had no tears. At this time, on the road outside the villa, 3 pretty figures ran towards him quickly, shouting as they ran. Xiao Yi, stop right there. Damn it. I'm going to hang you up and beat you. Stand there and prepare to be judged. Chapter 238 Family Discipline. Before Xiao Yi could react, the 3 women arrived in front of him. The 3 men angrily grabbed his shoulders and lifted him up. It's Cheng Bingshi, Nan Gong Saya O Liuya. Xiao Yi was confused and asked, who made you angry? What are you going to do? Cheng Bingshi laughed in anger and said unhappily, well, he's still pretending not to know what's going on. Nan Gong Saya O's eyes revealed a dangerous look. Today we will be punished by family rules. Liuya stood on the same front as them. Yes, hang him up and beat him. Xiao Yi was confused. What happened to you? I didn't do anything. The 3 girls took out a bright red invitation from their pockets, one for each of them, and threw it at Xiao Yi, saying angrily, nothing? Then what is this? Xiao Yi, you are so awesome. We agreed to be a pretend couple, and now it has become real. We haven't even had a wedding with you, but Mu Qingzu didn't even invited us all. Yes, what identities shall we go with tomorrow? Shall we go as the first wives? Let us, the first wives, witness your wedding with Xiao Si. Xiao Yi scratched his head awkwardly. Listen to my explanation. The development of things is not something I can control. Tomorrow's wedding is purely an accident. Nan Gong Saya O shook her ponytails violently. No, we don't want to listen. Sister Bingshi, Sister Liuya, let's handcuff him and hang him up. 10 minutes later. In Villa No. 10 of the No. 3 Lakeview Villa District. Underground training room. Xiao Yi was stripped naked, leaving only a pair of shorts, and was hung on the wall with his hands and feet tied to the wall with ropes in a spread eagle position. Cheng Bingshi raised the leather bag in her hand with a proud look on her face and waved it twice, making gusts of wind sound. Nan Gong Saya O's eyes flashed coldly, and she gripped the large scissors in her hand tightly, making crisp, clicking sounds. Liuya was different. She had a smile on her face and her hands were empty. Xiao Yi looked horrified and said anxiously, what are you trying to do, murder your husband? Cheng Bingshi waved the whip around in the air and said, this whip is really strong. If it hits someone, it would hurt a lot. Saya, what do you think? Nan Gong Saya moved the large scissors with a click and responded, yeah, it hurts. But if you hit someone, it probably won't make him remember it, so there's no need to hit him. Xiao Yi was overjoyed. Ayo is still the best. Nan Gong Saya O, however, took a pair of large scissors and gestured at him twice, her eyes flashing coldly as she said, there's no need to whip you. I'll just cut off the roots and make you our sister. That way, you won't get involved in other people's affairs. Xiao Yi took a breath of cold air. Sayo, you are more cruel than Bingshi. Nan Gong Sayo immediately wanted to take action, pulled down Xiao Yi's shorts, and prepared to torture him. Xiao Yi hurriedly used virtual to real conversion to transform a certain place into a virtual entity that could not be seen or touched. Nan Gong Sayo asked in surprise, hey, where is the thing? Why is it gone? Cheng Bingshi came over to take a look and was shocked. She said anxiously, Sayo, I just asked you to scare him, but you actually killed him. That's good now. Xiao Yi has really become our sister. What should we do from now on? Nan Gong Sayo threw away the big scissors and said in a panic, no, I haven't even started yet and it's gone. The 2 of them were so anxious that they were at a loss as to what to do. Xiao Yi curled the corner of his mouth and said, I let you scare people. But now I am the one who is scared. Liuya pushed the 2 women away and said calmly, Be patient, she waved her hand, and the virtual body turned into a real one. Zheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao all breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that he was still there. Liya lifted up her shorts, pinched Xiaoyi's handsome cheek, and said with a smile, Xiaoyi, don't worry, I won't torture you. Nor will I use torture instruments to scare you. Xiaoyi was delighted. Sister Liuya's still the best. Liuya's beautiful eyes flashed with a hint of teasing, and she said, I will stay here and watch you. I will let you go after 3 days. I will see how you will attend tomorrow's wedding. If the groom is not here at that time, your wedding with the daughter of the Mu family will be invalid. A smile on Xiaoyi's face froze. Wow, it turns out that Liuya is the most ruthless one. Zheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao were just trying to scare him, but Liuya was serious. When Nan Gongxiao and Zheng Bingshi heard this, their beautiful eyes lit up. Sister Liuya is really smart. She can even think of such a way. She is worthy of being the most beautiful teaching assistant. Yes, we will stay here and won't let you leave. What can you do? Xiaoyi's face darkened. No, you really want to tie me up for 3 days and 3 nights. The 3 girls nodded their heads in unison. The aura of the 5-star venerable realm burst out from Xiaoyi. He wanted to resist and break free from the restraints. As a result, he was pinned down by the 3 women in ropes, and immediately became weak. Liuya smiled and said, This is a treasure of the great venerable level. The rope can tie up a great venerable high-level strongman until waste your energy. Xiaoyi frowned. I actually wanted to tie him up for 3 days and 3 nights. This is not going to be easy. Then Liuya took out the kitchen utensils and started preparing the ingredients in the training room in front of Xiaoyi and began to cook. Nan Gongxiao took out a basin and a stool, took off her socks in front of him, and soaked her white feet in warm water. Zheng Bingshi brought down a plate of cut red fruits, picked up a piece and put it close to Xiaoyi's mouth, grinning and saying, Open your mouth. Just tell us what you want to eat or drink, and I'll feed you. Xiaoyi smiled, and an idea came to his mind. He said, Bingshi, I don't want to eat fruit. I need to go to the toilet quick. Don't let me hold it in. Zheng Bingshi wanted to untie him without even thinking about it. But when she was halfway through untying them, she was discovered by Nan Gongxiao. She ran over with her bare white feet and stopped Zheng Bingshi's movements. She said with dissatisfaction on her little face, Sister Bingshi, you actually betrayed us and wanted to let him go. Zheng Bingshi said innocently, I didn't. Xiaoyi wants to go to the toilet. We can't keep him holding it in. Nan Gongxiao thought about it and agreed, so she untied Xiaoyi together. Xiaoyi was overjoyed, thinking that a plan to escape would emerge. As long as he isn't tied, he can use the talent skill 8,000 miles in an instant, transform into lightning, reaching the speed of light to escape. Just as their hands and feet were about to be untied, Liuya, who was cooking, flashed over and stopped the 2 women, and personally tied the ropes that could trap the great venerable. Xiaoyi's face darkened. Sister Liuya, it's you again. Zheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao were puzzled and said, Sister Liuya, we just need to watch over him. We are not going to let him suffer. He can't even go to the toilet. Yeah, I'll be sad if you hold it in. It's okay. A charming smile appeared on Liuya's beautiful face. She reached out and took out a urinal and said, Bingshi, this is the urinal I used before. Now I give it to you. You know how to use it, right? Zheng Bingshi's beautiful eyes lit up. I understand. The corner of Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. Is he going to be finished? No, he has another trick up his sleeve. Xiaoyi protested, I want a large size. Chapter 239. Zheng Bingshi, get up quickly, groom, don't be late. Zheng Bingshi, who was holding the urinal and preparing to start, was stunned. Xiaoyi curled his lips. Bingshi, did you hear me clearly? I need to have a big bowel movement. I can't let you come. Untie me now, or I'm going to poop in my pants, quick. Zheng Bingshi nodded her head in a silly way. Let me untie you. Nan Gongxiao followed suit and said, I'll come too. The reason why a urinal is called a urinal is that it is used to facilitate defecation. There was a gleam in Liuya's beautiful eyes. She was not as naive as the 2 girls. She would not believe Xiaoyi's words so easily. For example, last time, Xiaoyi said he was going to help the poor, but ended up going to wash feet. Liuya stopped the 2 women's actions again, took the urinal and said, Bingshi, no matter if he has a small or large bowel movement, let me do it. Zheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao were stunned. Xiaoyi was stunned, and said in a trembling voice, Sister Liuya, you are so cruel. Liuya smiled and said, Do you want a larger size? Xiaoyi shook his head. I was scared back by you, no need. Liuya's face darkened. This is another trick you used. Bingshi, this bastard is very cunning. Zheng Bingshi said unhappily, Well, Xiaoyi, you actually dared to lie to us. You have wasted our trust in you. Nan Gongxiao was also a little angry. For that fix-in, she actually lied to us. She clearly wanted to escape, and she even said she wanted to go to the toilet. The 2 girls were really angry. They pouted their lips so high that you could hang a water bottle on them. This, Xiao Yi was a little panicked, a few drops of cold sweat seeped out of his forehead. And a trace of guilt inexplicably rose in his heart. He and Mu Qingzu have no real feelings for each other at all. Does he really want to disappoint and deceive three women for the so-called wedding? After thinking about it, Xiao Yi felt that Wu Qingzu and the others should be left alone. If these three beast girls disagreed, he would not go to the city lord's mansion and let Mu Qingzu deal with it alone. Saya, oh. He's sweating, go and wipe it. Sheng Bingshi took out a cute painted handkerchief from her arms and threw it to Nangong Saya. Nangong Saya snorted and threw the handkerchief into Liuya's hand. I'm not going, Sister Liuya, you go. Liuya. She chuckled, bringing with her assent, and walked over to carefully wipe the cold sweat off Xiao Yi's forehead. Smiling as she wiped. What's wrong with you? Are you panicking? Let me tell you. This is the first time I've seen Bingshi and Sayao so angry. If you don't do something, you're doomed. Xiao Yi looked towards the two women. Cheng Bingshi turned her face away. Nangong Sayao also turned her head away. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. This was really bad. He took a deep breath. His face became calm, and he smiled softly. And tie me. I have decided not to be a bridegroom. Without your consent, I will no longer contract new beast girls, including Mu Qingzu. Cheng Bingshi and Nangong Sayao looked at each other. And the anger in their hearts disappeared without a trace, and happy smiles appeared on their faces. The two rushed towards Xiao Yi and said with a smile, Xiao Yi, are you serious? Don't you dare lie to me again? Xiao Yi nodded. If I lie to you, I will have no descendants. Cheng Bingshi and Nangong Sayao were stunned. When they heard this, they covered his mouth and shook their heads, saying angrily, if you don't have any children or grandchildren, doesn't that mean we don't have any children or grandchildren? Change your oath? Liuya also stared with her beautiful eyes. Xiao Yi, you are so cruel that you want us to have no descendants. Xiao Yi's face darkened. That was on the premise of lying to you. I said, I won't lie to you again. As a result, the three women said in unison, we don't believe it. Yes, maybe what you said is true, but you never know what will happen. What if something unexpected happens? Yeah, who knows? Xiao Yi's defense was broken. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean what I say. Seeing his serious tone, the three women were shocked and fell silent. After a while, Liuya's eyes sparkled, and after careful consideration, she untied him in front of Xiao Yi's stunned gaze. Xiao Yi fell to the ground, without a single restraint on his body, and said in disbelief, aren't you afraid that I will leave? Liuya shook her head. Xiao Yi looked at Sheng Bingshi and Nangong Saya. Oh, what about you guys? Aren't you afraid that I will use tricks again to escape? The two women shook their heads. Xiao Yi said, well, actually I didn't mean to lie to you after all. If I really lied, I would be extinct. He did not mention the Mu family and tomorrow's matter again, and said with a smile, Bingshi, Saya, oh, we haven't had a good time strolling around since we came to Magic City from the wilderness-based city. Let's take advantage of today's opportunity to make up for what we owed. By the way, you must be covered in dust after playing around. Let's go to the hot springs tonight to beautify your skin. Okay, great. Cheng Bingshi and Nangong Sayao's faces showed excitement. They hugged him on the left and right. Then let's go now. Liuya was dissatisfied. Xiao Yi. What about me? Where should I go? Xiao Yi thought for a while, came over and whispered a few words in her ear. Then smiled and said, how is it? A blush rose on Liuya's pretty face, and she said shyly, you are so mean. Xiao Yi asked, just tell me whether you like it or not. Liuya nodded heavily and said expectantly, I like it very much. Xiao Yi replied, yeah, let's deal with this in the evening. Let's go shopping and soak in the hot springs first. In this way, with Liuya as the tour guide, Xiao Yi, Cheng Bingshi and Nangong Sayao following behind, they walked through all the streets of the Magic City-based city, saw various street scenes, bought various types of clothes and items, and ate all the Magic City specialties on every street. The cost is less than a great venerables crystal core. Finally, under the envious gaze of the receptionist of the hot spring club, Xiao Yi and the three women came to the presidential room and began their hot spring trip. The three girls were dressed coolly, and the scenery was much more beautiful than that of Mu Qingzu. There was constant laughter from kites and swallows. Xiao Yi leaned against the edge of the pool, watching them laughing and playing. A smile appeared on his face. Tired of soaking in the hot spring, he tilted his head and fell asleep. The three girls noticed it and gathered together to whisper. Glancing at him from time to time, they were relieved when they found that he didn't hear them. Finally, the three women seemed to have reached some agreement. Their eyes became firm and they seemed to have made some decision. Where is this? When Xiao Yi woke up, he found it was already early the next morning. Look around. He was surprised to find that he was at home, in the bedroom of Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa District. And he was the only one sleeping in this bed. Groom, get up, hurry up and get up. We are going to have a feast. If you don't get up yet, the sun will burn your butt. The bedroom door was opened and 3 pretty figures rushed in. Under Xiaoyi's astonished gaze, they lifted him up, carried him to the bathroom, and put squeezed toothpaste in a filled cup of water in his hands. After Xiaoyi quickly washed up, the 3 girls pulled him to the living room. On the dining table, there was a very exquisite breakfast that had been prepared long ago. Xiaoyi was still confused. Where's your breakfast? Tang Bingshi laughed and said, just eat it. We are going to have a big feast at the wedding banquet. A big fight? Xiaoyi asked in confusion, but you planning to make trouble at the wedding? Also, do you agree that I should be the groom? Nangong Xiaoyo shook her head, then nodded and said, what's the point of getting married? We are going to have a feast. Our stomachs are full now, so we can still eat at noon. Yuya said unhappily, yes, after our confidential meeting, we passed the meeting decision by a vote of 3-0 and decided not to stop you from contracting a new beast girl. Xiaoyi was overjoyed. Just like that, the 3 of them excitedly lead the way in front, and Xiaoyi followed behind with a strange look on his face. And they all headed towards the city lord's mansion. Why do you seem to be more excited than me? Who is the groom? Oh no. It might be a trick. Chapter 240 Worship Heaven and Earth. Xiaoyi was puzzled. The 3 women had tied him up yesterday and were determined not to let him contract a new beast girl. But today their attitude changed drastically. Not only did they not stop him, they also took the initiative to take him to the city lord's mansion, and their expressions were very excited. He was cautious. After arriving at the city lord's mansion, Xiaoyi was directly pulled away by Mu Qingzu. He didn't know where the 3 women were going, and felt a little uneasy. Mu Qingzu said angrily with a puffy face, Xiaoyi, you made me look for you for so long, but you didn't even answer the phone. Do you want to die? Xiaoyi curled his lips. He almost couldn't come. Mu Qingzu said rather arrogantly, let's change our clothes quickly. We will soon worship the heaven and earth. After that, we will sign a contract in front of everyone. You should be proud of yourself for being able to sign a contract with me, Mu Qingzu. Xiaoyi frowned. Because of this wedding, he almost lost his family line, but you act so high and mighty. It's really infuriating. Bang! He raised his foot and kicked the not-so-perfect leather drum. Mu Qingzu staggered and almost fell down, and said in confusion, you are going to die. Xiaoyi looked at her with disdain, took the lead and said, let's go quickly, don't be late. That look again. So hateful. Mu Qingzu was furious. In a few days I will definitely make you look at me in a new light and make you envious to death. Mu Qingzu stuck out her tongue and licked her lips. She had bought a lot of papayas yesterday and ate dozens of kilograms at one time. She also had papaya for breakfast today. She patted her flat chest. Quite confident. Damn it, wait for me. Seeing Xiaoyi walking away, she hurriedly followed him. Half an hour later. The back garden of the city lord's mansion is quite large and spacious, with many altars located in the middle. It is the blooming season now, and the altars are covered with all kinds of colorful and beautiful flowers, and the air is filled with various faint fragrances. Between the altars, rows of seats were placed. On the podium in front of the seats, 999 roses were placed to form a heart shape. At this time, the rows of seats were filled with people, all of whom looked extraordinary and came from various top-based cities. The young masters of various major forces in the Demon City-based city were also among them, including the young master of the Hong Taoyuan family, Yan Junming, Cheng Yi, etc. The dean of Kunpeng College, Yanxi, was also there, sitting in the first row. The wedding host chattered non-stop, and suddenly extended his hand to make a welcoming gesture and said with a smile, next, we invite the bride and groom to come on stage. As the voice fell, on the side path of the garden's high platform, 2 people in bright wedding gowns walked slowly hand in hand. The man was handsome and the woman was as pretty as a lotus emerging from water. Both of them had a fresh and refined temperament. A perfect match, like a match made in heaven. A man was Xiaoyi. He held the rose in one hand and held the hand of Mu Qingzu, who was covered with a red veil. With the other hand he slowly walked to the platform, in the middle of the heart shape formed by 999 roses. Everyone is watching and giving their blessings. Mu Qingzu listened to the congratulations and felt very satisfied and happy. But Xiaoyi was different. He looked for Cheng Bing, she and the other 2 girls among the crowd with a little panic. After searching for a long time, he found that the 3 girls were not in the crowd. Instead, he saw Dean Yunxi with an angry look on his face. For some reason, Xiaoyi felt relieved, fearing that the 3 women would become jealous and do something wrong. The host continued. Next, we invite the families of both parties to come on stage and take the high seats. On the platform, behind the heart-shaped rows, there are 2 rows of seats. Mu Qingzu clenched her hands tightly, feeling a little nervous. It was the first time she met Xiaoyi's family, and they were meeting in such an occasion. He must leave a good impression on her husband's family. Under the gaze of everyone, the female party, that is, Mu Qingzu's family, Mu Cheng and Song Zi'er entered, greeted each other and sat down on the high chairs. The man under Xiaoyi's astonished gaze, Cheng Bingshi, Nan Gong Xiao and Liuya held their heads high and came up to the platform from the side path with excitement on their faces. After greeting everyone, they sat down in another row of seats. Xiao Yi's face was full of question marks. Why did you sit there? With what status did you sit there? The crowd below the stage was also confused. Where were the groom's parents? Why were there 3 young, pretty and stunning beauties? The host cleared up everyone's confusion and said with a smile, "These are the bride's parents. City Lord Mu and Madame Song. This is the groom's." Suddenly the host paused and said in surprise, "The groom's wife. Mrs. Cheng, Mrs. Nan Gong, Mrs. Liu." Then, in front of everyone, the newlyweds will worship the heavens and the earth and their parents. Wow, the people in the audience were in an uproar of shock and astonishment. Fuck. 3 ladies? That means 3 wives. No, 4. One is worshipping heaven and earth. Nani, others worship their parents, but you worship your first, second, and third wives. It really broadens my horizons. I didn't know that the game can be played like this in the Beast Girl era. There was an uproar in the audience, and the people on the stage were also shocked. Xiao Yi's eyelids twitched. It turned out that you got there as the first, second, or third lady. Wu Qingzu's body trembled with anger. Being like this at her wedding was equivalent to telling everyone that she was just a mistress. The 5th person. Mu Cheng's face turned dark and he almost lost face, but his ancestors had warned him, so he had to accept it all. Xiao Yi sent a voice message to Mu Qingzu. Are you angry? You're right to be angry if you want to regret before the contract is signed. It's not too late. After the contract is signed, you will have no freedom, and you will have to do all the housework at home. You have to be a hardworking and diligent 4th wife, otherwise you will be suppressed by the 3 first wives. Mu Qingzu clenched her teeth, her face was conflicted and she was unusually silent. Xiao Yi sent a voice message. Where is your arrogance? Not so arrogant anymore? Not so proud anymore? If you don't want to sign a contract with me, no one can force you, not even your parents or your family ancestors. Hey, girl, are you listening to me? Mu Qingzu spoke up, gritting her teeth and speaking word by word. Stop talking. I am willing to sign a contract with you and be your 4th mistress. The host began to speak. Now please invite the bride and groom to bow to heaven and earth. Bow to your parents. 3. Husband and wife bow to each other. You don't have to kneel down to worship. Just bow. Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu bowed to the heaven and earth, that is, to their ancestors. Above, the silver-haired old man and silver-haired old woman who were watching this place had kind smiles on their faces. Then, Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu bowed to their parents. Since the man's parents were not there, Xiao Yi bowed to the woman's parents. Mu Cheng nodded to Xiao Yi with a dark face. Mu Qingzu bowed to Cheng Bingshi and the other 2 girls 3 times in a row, bowing her body 90 degrees. Cheng Bingshi clapped her hands excitedly. Very good, Xiao Zuer. I'll give you a big red envelope when I get back. Mu Qingzu's delicate body trembled. The 3rd bow is between husband and wife. Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu bow to each other. The host smiled and said, Next, we have come to the final stage, which is the stage that everyone is most concerned about. Namely, the oath, signing of contract and entering the bridal chamber. So, Chapter 241 Conclusion of the Contract. The host asked Xiao Yi, are you willing to admit that you accept Mu Qingzu as your 4th wife? Wow! The audience was shocked. It was so explosive. They all felt like they had learned something new. This was the first time they had seen this kind of question. It was unique in the Beast Girl era. Xiao Yi smiled and replied, I do. A host asked again, you should take care of your wife with tenderness and patience, love her and let her integrate into your big family of Beast Girls. You should respect her family as your own family, fulfill your duty as a husband for the rest of your life, and never let her down. You should walk hand in hand with her like you did with the 3 Beast Girls before you. Practice together, fight together, and grow together. Do you promise in front of everyone that you are willing to do this? Xiao Yi was silent for a while. Mu Qingzu was secretly anxious. Damn it, just agree to it. Mu Cheng's mouth twitched, and he couldn't help but clench his fists, feeling a little angry and a little angry and a little anxious. He was angry because Xiao Yi already had 3 beast mothers, and he didn't want his daughter to suffer any grievances after marrying him. He was anxious because he was afraid that Xiao Yi would go back on his word, that the Mu family would lose this son-in-law with legendary talent, and that the old ancestor would get angry and beat him up afterwards. The host asked again, when you fight together and grow together, do you promise in front of everyone that you are willing to do this? Xiao Yi looked at Cheng Bingshi and the other 2 girls sitting on the chairs on the platform and found that they were looking at him quietly with a faint smile in their eyes. And they didn't seem to be angry or jealous. When Cheng Bingshi saw his gaze, she suddenly smiled and nodded her white chin. Nan Gong Xiao winked at him playfully and stuck out her tongue. Liu Ya curled the corners of her mouth, but the arc was a bit exaggerated, making her look a bit weird, an assistant teacher with a crooked mouth. Xiao Yi understood and answered the host's question. I am willing. I am willing to accept Mu Qingzu as my fourth wife, and let her and the other 3 beast girls live with me. No matter what the circumstances, I am willing to practice, fight and grow with her together. Mu Qingzu finally felt relieved. Mu Cheng glanced at the 3 beast girls not far away, his face darkened, and he sighed and said inwardly, Zuer's position in Xiaoyi's heart is obviously not as good as those of these 3 beast girls. After signing the contract, Zuer will have to work hard. After the man finished asking questions, the host asked Mu Qingzu, Mu Qingzu, are you willing to marry Xiaoyi and be his 4th beast girl? A 4th beast girl? This bastard is really lucky. Mu Qingzu bit her lower lip tightly, hesitated for a few nanoseconds, and replied, I do. The host asked again, are you willing to marry him at the age of 20? Be gentle and dignified, obey this man. Love him, help him, and live with his 3 beast girls. You must respect his family as your own family. Do your best to be filial, fulfill your duties as a wife for the rest of your life, and remain chaste to him, and live in harmony with the other 3 beast girls. As sisters, you promise in front of everyone. Are you willing to do this? Wow, the audience was in an uproar. No matter how many times they heard these explosive questions, they would feel that their cognition was overturned and their 3 perspectives were refreshed. It really broadened my horizons. At the same time, they wondered, would the bride be willing? Being the 4th beast girl meant that she was not the groom's only one, and the groom's energy for her was very limited. Mu Qingzu bit her lower lip until it bled. I do. Mu Qingzu, am willing to marry him at the age of 20, accept Xiaoyi as my husband, live with him and the other 3 beast girls, practice together, fight together, and grow together. There was thunderous applause from the audience, and everyone looked at him with blessings. The host smiled, put the person being questioned on a row of chairs behind the platform, and asked, Madam Cheng, Madam Nangong, Madam Liu, do you accept Madam Mu Qingzu? Mu Qingzu's nerves tensed up. If she remembered correctly, there seemed to be a beast girl who was very unhappy to see her. Xiaoyi's heart also began to lift. Cheng Bingxi, Nangong Saya, and Liu Ya all said in unison, we are willing. A smile appeared on Mu Qingzu's lips. Xiaoyi was in a complicated mood at this time, feeling happy, guilty, and grateful. They were so sensible that he felt distressed. The oath session was over, and it was time to sign the contract. The host, who was familiar with the steps, said with a serious expression, then, under everyone's witness, the bride and groom will begin to sign the contract. Xiaoyi felt that the red veil on Mu Qingzu's head was in the way, so he reached out to take it off, but was stopped by the host. Don't be impatient, groom. Lifting the red veil is what you should do when entering the bridal chamber. Really? Okay. Xiaoyi scratched his head, embarrassed lie. Mu Qingzu glared at him and whispered privately, Xiaoyi, you are my husband now, please don't act so ignorant and make such childish movements. It will embarrass me, please be more mature. Even with the red veil on, she, who is already at the peak of the Grand Master realm, can project her mental power and has extremely sensitive perception, so the red veil will not block her vision. Xiaoyi was helpless. This girl became arrogant again. But it doesn't matter after the contract is signed. Let's see how he punishes this girl. Signing a contract is equivalent to getting a marriage certificate, and then everything you do will be legal. By the way, we still have to enter the bridal chamber. Then give her a severe lesson before entering the bridal chamber. At that time, no matter how loudly, how miserably, or how intensely she screamed, no one would gossip, and the families of both sides would not come to stop her. Not only that, but you will feel that the 2 of them have a good relationship. To conclude a contract, the 2 people just need to shake hands, then activate the template and sign the contract on the template. Xiaoyi and Mu Qingzu raised their hands and clasped their fingers together. At this moment, a pleasant but somewhat cold voice came from the audience. Wait. Wow, everyone's eyes were focused on the person who spoke. The person who spoke was a beautiful lady who was tall, delicate and dressed in a bulky white robe. It's Kun Peng Supreme Yunbing, the most powerful and supreme being in Magic City. What is she going to do? Doubts arose in everyone's mind. Yunxi looked at Mu Qingzu on the stage, her brows furrowed and her face expressionless. The person standing at this position should be Yunbing. But things change unpredictably, and the position that originally belonged to Yunbing was taken by Mu Qingzu. Yunxi, the twin sister, felt unhappy for Yunbing. Seeing the quasi-saint who seemed to be about to explode, Mu Cheng had a bad feeling and secretly sent a message, Quasi-Saint Kun Peng. How about giving me some face? If you have any dissatisfaction, you can mention it later. Mu, will definitely satisfy you. Yunxi disappeared in a flash and left the scene. Everyone looked at each other. What was going on? Xiaoyi also felt puzzled. What happened to Sister Yunxi? Was she angry? But why was she angry? What was there to be angry about? Host. Since no one has any objections, the contract signing process will proceed as usual. Please ask the bride and groom to start signing the contract. Then, Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu, witnessed by everyone, shook hands and successfully concluded the contract. Chapter 240 to Wedding Banquet. Entering the bridal chamber. An invisible chain appeared between the two of them, linking them together. This is the power of the contract. As long as you mobilize the power of the contract, you can activate the template and summon the contracted beast. Congratulations to the host for signing the SSS level time candle dragon template. Time attributes loading. Loading successfully. Summon beast talent skills are being inherited. Inheritance completed. Talent skills. Future prediction. Predict what will happen in the next few seconds. The predicted information is relatively detailed, and the future can be changed slightly, requiring less consumption. Prophecy, predicting a huge event that will happen in the future after a long period of time. It predicts a predetermined future that cannot be changed, and requires a lot of energy. In an instant, Xiao Yi could feel the relatively faint, yet omnipresent time factor between the surrounding heaven and earth. As his mind moved, the surrounding time factors gathered towards him and poured into his body. A time factor circulated back and forth in the meridians, giving Xiao Yi a unique feeling, making him unconsciously close his eyes and reveal an expression of enjoyment. Mu Qingzu sent a voice message. Xiao Yi, stop moaning like that. It's not proper to do that in public, it's so embarrassing. You are now the consort of the City Lord's mansion. And Mu Qingzu's, husband. You must be careful about your words and actions. Don't bring shame to the City Lord's mansion, and don't bring shame to me, Mu Qingzu. Xiao Yi's face turned dark. This girl is really asking for a beating. Why are you so proud? A single expression of yours has brought shame to your City Lord's mansion. Your City Lord's mansion is too proud. What's the meaning of your stern face? Smile for me. This is Mu Qingzu's wedding. You must act mature and gentle, Mu Qingzu said in a delicate voice. Xiao Yi shrugged inferently, loosened his rough big hands that were holding hers, and scratched the back of the drum. Mu Qingzu widened her eyes in shock. This guy actually made such an indecent gesture in public. Seeing that his scratching hand was holding her hand again, Mu Qingzu withdrew her hand with disgust on her pretty face and said in a voice transmission, "Don't touch me, bastard. Get away from me. Not a gentleman at all." Xiao Yi withdrew his hand angrily and pretended that his clothes were stained with dust and patted it. "If you don't want to lead the way, then don't lead the way. He doesn't even want it." The host stepped forward and blocked everyone's view with experience, blocking the awkward scene, and said with a smile, "The signing of the contract is over, so I sincerely wish the newlyweds a happy marriage and a long life together." Everyone watched the bride and groom enter the bridal chamber. The host waved his hand, and a 2-meter wide and long festive red carpet engraved with the word fell from the sky. It started from under the feet of Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu, and spread to the road in the middle of the seats of the people in the audience, all the way to the door of the villa of the daughter of the Mu family. Snap, 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 snap. Everyone on and off the stage stood up and applauded enthusiastically. Suddenly the place was filled with a very festive atmosphere and everyone responded with a blessing smile. Xiao Yi and Mu Qingzu stepped onto the festive red carpet and walked out of the garden in unison. At this moment, Mu Qingzu's pretty face was full of smiles. Xiao Yi had a dark face. Walking on the red carpet, this girl wouldn't even let him hold hands. She was really too arrogant. She also restricted him in every way. Even if he was caught, is this a marriage or a cage? Isn't it tiring to be restricted by rules and regulations and unable to live? No, his beastly mother. He must teach Mu Qingzu a lesson about her arrogance and traditional ideas. Otherwise he will suffer in the future. Everyone watched the bride and groom walk down the red carpet and leave. City Lord Mu Cheng took over as the host and said with a smile, "Thank you all for coming to my daughter's wedding. Now please move to the banquet hall. I have prepared dishes, fine wines, and special delicacies of the Magic City." Cheng Bingxi, Nangong Xiao and Liu Yi's eyes lit up when they heard this. The three of them had a common hobby, that is, delicious food and foodies. That guy is having a good time, so we can't treat ourselves badly. I decided to eat up all the wedding food. Cheng Bingxi's pretty face was firm. Nangong Xiao nodded and said playfully, "We have been hungry for a whole day for this feast, so we must eat our fill this time." Liu Yi's eyes were filled with anticipation. It was said that the City Lord's mansion had invited more than 10 state banquet chefs to be the chefs for the wedding banquet. She really wanted to know what the difference was between her cooking skills and those of the state banquet chefs. When we arrived at the banquet hall, we saw round tables located in the spacious hall. Cheng Bingxi and the other two were led by a waiter to the second round table. Our many children from powerful forces also took their seats one by one. The table was already filled with dishes that looked tempting, delicious and fragrant. Cheng Bingxi and the other two girls didn't think twice and started eating right away. Put on the thin film gloves and eat directly with your hands, your mouth will be full of oil. At this time, a tall white-haired girl came over and sat next to Cheng Bingxi. Looking at her white and tender hands and the greasy dishes, she asked with shining eyes, "Madam Cheng, may I sit here?" Cheng Bing. She was very surprised that she met a girl who was as beautiful as them at the banquet. But she was very busy now, busy finishing all the food in front of her. She buried her head in the plate and casually responded, "No problem, sit wherever you want." A white-haired girl Huang Pushi Angling's beautiful eyes lit up. "Okay, then I won't be polite." Afterwards, she joined the foodie group and tried her best to finish all the delicacies on the table. Yi Tai, the mayor of Jinling-based city, brought his daughter Yizier into the guest hall and looked at all the round tables. The seats were all full, but table number 2 was empty, with only 4 people sitting at it. So Yi Tai and the other person came to the round table, where Cheng Bing she was sitting, and found an empty seat. Yizier, who had a delicate temperament, was stiff. With a panicked look on her face, she asked cautiously, "Dad, will my presence here really not bring disaster?" Yi Tai patted her shoulder and said with a smile, "It's okay. Your physique is very special and it's difficult to suppress it, but I have no problem suppressing it for an hour or two." Phew, Yizier breathed a sigh of relief. Then, the two of them joined the foodie team and started to finish the dishes. They were a little surprised. The seats at this table are specially prepared for the groom's and bride's families, and the quality of the dishes served is the best in the venue. But what about these 3 people? Could it be that they are also the man's family? After a closer look, Mu Cheng discovered that this tall and mighty man was actually Yi Tai, the lord of the top-based city, Jinling-based city, and the person next to him should be his daughter, Yizier, who possessed a body of misfortune. As for the other white-haired girl, Song Zier recognized her as Huapwei Xiangling, the favorite disciple of Ziran, the leader of the Supreme Alliance. Chapter 243 Disaster Body Yizier. The 3 of them have already taken their seats, and Mu Cheng will not chase them away. Mu Cheng nodded towards Yi Tai, then said to Cheng Bing she and the other 2 girls, "Mother-in-law, 3 ladies-in-law, after Zuer joins your beast mother family, I hope you will take good care of her if she needs anything. You can tell me." Cheng Bingshi, whose mouth was filled with food, was startled and said incoherently, "Support the master, okay, support the master." The mayor of the demon city-based city is a high and mighty figure, but now he speaks to them in such a friendly way. "No problem, okay." Nan Gongsayo and Liu Ya also responded. It seems very perfunctory. Seeing that the 3 of them had no interest in chatting with him, Mu Cheng's face suddenly turned awkward, and he had to focus his attention on Yi Tai first, intending to talk after the 3 wives of the relatives had eaten and drunk their fill before continuing. "Brother Yi, is there a solution to your daughter's physical problem?" Mu Cheng asked. Yi Tai poured a glass of strong liquor for the 2 grown men, and after a toast, he drank it all in one gulp, and said with a worried look, "I don't know where to start." Mu Cheng frowned. Jinling City is the center of the Jiangdan area. There are many families with medical skills that have been passed down for thousands of years. Are they also helpless? Yi Tai sighed. "Yeah. Over the years, I have visited many medical families and searched for rare treasures, but I still can't solve Zier's physical problem." Mu Cheng was silent. Yi Tai, like him, was the lord of a top-level base city with high power and influence. If even Yi Tai couldn't solve the problem, it was highly likely that he wouldn't be able to solve it either. But at this time Yuya suddenly spoke up. "Physical constitution problem. What kind of physical constitution problem is so difficult to solve?" Yuya thought back to her past self. Due to the forced termination of the contract, defects appeared in her template and body, and her realm kept declining, making it impossible to practice. She had tried thousands and tens of thousands of methods, but none of them worked for template defects and physical defects. Mu Cheng paused. This was Yi Tai and the others' privacy, and it was not convenient for him to talk about it. Yi Tai didn't think much of it. He patted Yizier, the weak girl who was eating with her head down, and said bluntly, "Zier has a special physique, which we call bad luck body. Doomed disaster?" Liu Ya was a little surprised. Yi Tai continued, "This physique cannot be controlled. Every time Zier comes into contact with someone or goes to a new place, it will bring bad luck to that person and disaster to the new place. Those who have come into contact with Zier have suffered frequent misfortunes during that period of time. Choking while drinking water or stepping on dog shit when going out are no big deal. Failure to break through a realm, being seriously injured in battle, or being stepped on by a monster while sleeping are all very likely to happen." Hearing this, Cheng Bingshi, Nan Gongsayo, Yuya, Huapwei and Xiangling all leaned to the side, fearing that they would be infected with bad luck if they were too close to Yizier. Being discriminated against. Yizier's big, red eyes were filled with mist. And she said a grieved lie. "Dad." Yi Tai smiled apologetically and said, "If you can provide an effective solution, Yi Tai will definitely treat you as a guest of honor in Jinling City and give you a generous reward. You will be a great benefactor of my Yi family." This. Yuya reacted and moved her chair back with some embarrassment. Yizier was still at the scene, and her subconscious reaction was truly inappropriate. However, she felt in her heart that this physique was caused by a defect in the template. If it was a defect in the template, Xiao Yi might have a way to solve it. But she was not familiar with Yi Tai and his daughter, so she had no intention of pushing Xiao Yi out. Dad, I want to go home. Yizier seemed to dislike this scene. After taking 2 bites of dessert, she looked at Yi Tai with pleading eyes. Yi Tai showed a bitter look on his face. We just sat down for a few minutes. The drums haven't even warmed up yet, and we haven't even taken a few bites of the food shear. Let's at least finish this meal before we leave. Song Ziar picked up a dessert and gave it to Yizier, saying gently, "It's okay, everyone is very friendly to you. You don't have to be nervous." Yi Tai smiled and said, "Yes, yes. Xier's physique has been suppressed. The suppression effect will last at least 2 hours and will not bring bad luck or disaster to others, so Ziar just eat happily." Liu Yi's eyes showed pity. Although this beautiful girl came from a top family and would never have to worry about power and money in her life, she felt that this girl was very pitiful. If she had a choice, perhaps this girl would rather be an ordinary civilian with a normal physique. The concern in the white-haired girl Huang Puxiangling's beautiful eyes was about to emerge. She took the initiative to carry a stool to Yizier's side, moved close to her, and smiled. "You should be the fiancé of Yi Fan, the young master of the Yi family in the imperial capital, right?" Seeing her approaching, Yizier subconsciously took a step away and said in a panic, "Yes, how did you know?" The white-haired young master pulled her back, pressed her against him and said with a smile, "Because I am also his fiancé." Yi Tai was stunned, and looked at Huang Puxiangling carefully. And he suddenly realized, "You are the disciple of Ziran, the leader of the Supreme Alliance." Huang Puxiangling nodded. "Yes, I am my master's apprentice." It was the first time that Yizier was so close to someone. She twisted her body shyly. She was also a little surprised that both of them were the fiancés of the young master of the Yi family and were sitting at the same table to eat. If it were someone else, there might have been a fight, but Huang Puxiangling didn't seem to have any intention of rejecting her. Yi Tai narrowed his eyes, flashing with a hint of hostility, and said, as expected of the leader's disciple, "She is extremely beautiful, a peerless beauty." In his opinion, his daughter Yizier must join the Yi family. Only then can her physical condition be resolved. Huang Puxiangling shook his white-haired head at him and said, "Uncle Yi, Yizier and I are not competitors. I have no intention of marrying Yi Fan at all." Then her beautiful eyes showed disgust. "All men are bad. I will not marry any man in the world. They are not worthy." Being told that men are not good things, Yi Tai, as a man, not only did not feel angry, but a smile appeared on his face, and he said, "You have your own plans. Which is very good. This means that my daughter Yizier has one less competitor." Huang Puxiangling leaned close to Yizier and asked, "Yizier, do you really like this kind of family marriage? Do you like Yi Fan? Have you ever met Yi Fan?" Yizier's eyes were filled with confusion. "I don't know, I haven't seen it before. I will marry whoever my father tells me to marry." Huang Puxiangling's pretty face darkened, and she said, "How can such an important event in life as marriage be left to others to decide?" Before she finished her words, she heard Yi Tai interrupted. "In fact, the young master of the Yi family is not bad. He is the best of the younger generation. The young talents of Long Jiuo are not as good as him. It is not a disadvantage to marry him." Huang Puxiangling widened her eyes and said in disbelief, "Uncle Yi, don't you know that the number one of the younger generation has been replaced a long time ago? That Yi Fan is the number one of the younger generation?" Yi Tai was surprised. "Oh, is there such a thing?" Normally, he focused on managing the base city and his daughter Yizier's physical condition, and didn't pay much attention to current affairs. Chapter 240 for Xiao Yi. Huang Puxiangling replied, "Yes. This matter has caused a sensation in our imperial capital. From the top circles to ordinary civilians, everyone knows about it." Yi Tai was curious. Who is the current number one of the younger generation? He can actually defeat the young master of the Yi family. Huang Puxiangling blurted out, "In fact, Uncle Yi has also seen him. That man is called Xiao Yi, and he is the groom of today's wedding." "Bridegroom?" Yi Tai's face turned red. In order to suppress his daughter Yizier's physical condition in the morning, he spent several hours before succeeding. He arrived a little late, and the banquet had already started. When he arrived at the city lord's mansion, he had never seen her at all. A smile appeared on Mu Cheng's face, and there was a sense of pride in his words. "Yes, that person is my Mu family's son-in-law. 2 days ago, the Yi family came to propose marriage. Then Xiao Yi defeated the young man from the Yi family, causing him to give up the engagement." Yi Tai looked around and asked in confusion, "Brother Mu, where is your son-in-law? Why can I see him?" Mu Cheng took a sip of wine and said, "After signing the contract, we entered the bridal chamber. Brother Yi, don't you understand the young people's business?" The corner of Yi Tai's mouth twitched. "If there is a chance, I would also like to meet him." A hint of resentment appeared in the eyes of Cheng Bingxi and the other two girls. That guy hasn't finished his work yet and hasn't come to the banquet for such a long time. The other side. The villa where the daughter of the Mu family lives. The interior decoration of the villa is very festive, with all the colors being bright red with the word on it. The two returned to the villa, and Mu Qingzu rushed into the bathroom first, shouting, "No peeking." Xiao Yi stood by the door, listening to the rustling sounds inside, thinking about how to deal with Mu Qingzu's arrogant temper. My drum skin is itchy and scratching it doesn't work, what's the point? Moreover, the two of them had signed a contract. But this chick refused to let him touch her. Why are you pretending to be so noble? Do you really think of him as a tool? Tools also have emotions and needs. Xiao Yi pushed the bathroom door and found that it was locked from the inside and could not be opened from the outside. "Hey, arrogant girl, open the door," he said. A shameful and angry voice came from inside. "Damn it, don't even think about it." Xiao Yi shrugged his shoulders and said, "Hurry up, I need to go to the toilet." Mu Qingzu snorted. "I won't, I'll suffocate you to death." Xiao Yi was getting furious. Did this girl have a grudge against him? Even after signing the contract, she still didn't know how to control her temper. Virtual real conversion, able to transform oneself and external objects into virtual states. He raised his hand and pressed it against the door frame. And phantom attribute factors surged out, and his innate skills took effect. A magical scene happened. The entire door and its frame began to become transparent, illusory, and finally disappeared completely. Xiao Yi's hand went in, and the scene inside came into his sight. "Girl, here I come." He let out an evil laugh and rushed inside. "You bastard, I knew you were not honest." Mu Qingzu had a smug look on her pretty face. She stood next to the makeup mirror, removing her light makeup to return her pretty face to its natural state. Even without makeup, it is difficult to conceal her fair and tender skin. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. "You think too much, I'm just peeing." He walked calmly towards the toilet on the inner floor. But halfway through the walk, Xiao Yi felt something was wrong, so he paused and turned back, standing next to Mu Qingzu and said unhappily, "How come your red lid fell off by itself?" Mu Qingzu said disapphonically, "I can pick them if I want to. Why? Are you dissatisfied?" Xiao Yi's face darkened, his eyes became sharp, and he said in a cold voice, "Mu Qingzu, it seems that you really don't take the conclusion of the contract seriously and you don't take me seriously. Today, as your husband, I will punish you and teach you a lesson." Seeing his figure getting closer and closer, Mu Qingzu widened her beautiful eyes. "What are you going to do? Don't come over here." Xiao Yi grabbed her collar and threw her into the underground training room, wanting to have a thorough one-on-one duel with her. "Duel? Girl, are you ready? Here I come." Xiao Yi's hands and feet were already eager to play. He spotted Mu Qingzu's slightly erect drum and started to hit it. Bang! Bang! Ouch! Snap! Hiss! Damn it! I'm going to kill you! Hiss! It was said that it was a one-on-one duel between the two, fighting in human form. But Mu Qingzu was no match at all. No matter how she dodged, Xiao Yi would accurately predict her trajectory. She found that every time Xiao Yi attacked, he could hit her accurately. After a few minutes, her butt was already burning with pain. "Stop! I give up!" Mu Qingzu shouted loudly. "I'll just put the red veil back on, seriously." Half a minute later, in front of the bathroom makeup mirror, Mu Qingzu covered herself with a red veil with an angry look on her face, and snorted. "Don't think I don't know what you are thinking it. It's just a few shivers. I will sign a contract with you, and I accept it." Xiao Yi's face turned red with embarrassment. "You are too superficial. I, Xiao Yi, am a gentleman." Mu Qingzu's face lit up. "That's great." Xiao Yi changed the subject and said, "I'll be a gentleman tomorrow, but I'll be a villain tonight anyway, only the two of us know about it." He carried Mu Qingzu into the bedroom like a princess. The next day, Xiao Yi woke up in a daze, his nose feeling a little itchy, as if irritated by something. When he opened his eyes, he found a person with skin whiter than snow hugging him like an octopus, and a few strands of this person's hair entered his nose. "This little girl looks pretty cute like this." Mu Qingzu was still asleep at this time. Her brows were furrowed but a smile appeared on her pretty face, as if she had had a sweet dream. Xiao Yi sneezed, which immediately woke Mu Qingzu up. He felt a little embarrassed and said, "Well, go back to sleep, it's still early." Mu Qingzu looked around, then lowered her head to see herself in the white quilt. She screamed, and quickly ran away, wrapped in the quilt, leaving the bedroom and going to the bathroom. She still couldn't face Xiao Yi calmly. 10 minutes later, the two were dressed and sitting on the sofa in the living room. Mu Qingzu's pretty face flushed and she looked away. Xiao Yi was giving her psychological counseling, trying to change her arrogant temperament, and said with a serious expression, "Mu Qingzu, from now on, just speak your mind directly in front of your husband. There is no need to be stubborn and arrogant. Your husband will not laugh at you or belittle you. You must remember that you and your husband have already signed a contract." Mu Qingzu muttered in dissatisfaction. You are not afraid of losing your teeth when you brag, and you said you would not belittle me. Saying that I am flattered and that you are not interested in me, but what happened? Xiao Yi's face turned awkward, and he couldn't hold it in any longer. Hey, girl, don't you have any self-awareness about this airport? I measured it yesterday. And it's definitely not more than a. Mu Qingzu felt a little embarrassed and glared at him angrily, adding in her heart, I will make you look at me in a new light. Chapter 245, Contrast of the Wealthy Mu Qingzu. Xiao Yi gestured in front of her twice with his hands, as if comparing something, and said, combining yesterday's experience, I concluded that your level can only be considered half A. Not even an A. So, accept the reality, tsundere girl. Mu Qingzu became even more angry, and rushed over, biting his wrist. Damn it, you still dare to talk? I'll bite you to death. Girl, haven't you eaten yet? Use more force. Xiao Yi used invincible golden body. This is an already strong body after the skill is activated. The attack power is increased tenfold and the defense power is increased tenfold and the defense power is increased tenfold. Which was inherited from the mythical template Supreme 5 Clawed Gold and Ragan. Mu Qingzu almost broke her teeth. She covered her mouth and took a step back, saying in disbelief. So hard, damn it, you are made of iron, you broke my teeth. You must pay for it. But she was a little confused as to why she was so normal when she bit him yesterday. Xiao Yi wiped the water off his wrist and asked in surprise, why does it smell like papaya? It's so strong and pungent. How much did you eat? Mu Qingzu dodged her gaze and said, Who would eat that? Don't slander me. I didn't eat it. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. And he kindly reminded, after you are over 18, your body has finished developing it. It's useless for you to eat more. If you are really concerned about the A level, you can ask Dean Kunpeng for advice. She knows a lot about this kind of thing and knows how to develop again. If you want to ask for advice, I can help introduce you. Dean Yunxi, who already had a terrifying physique, has become even more terrifying in the past few days. And it's all real stuff. He gasped at the thought of it. Dean Kunpeng. Mu Qingzu silently took note that this person was indeed the most horrible woman she had ever seen in her life. But she said, you think too much. I don't care about that at all. She will go and ask Dean Kunpeng herself. Secretly. Okay, Xiao Yi shrugged, put away his playful heart, and said with a serious expression, Mu Qingzu, come with me today to meet the other 3 beast girls and sign a contract with me. You need to integrate with them and get along with them. Mu Qingzu nodded. Don't worry, when you reach the realm of Great Venerable, I will terminate the contract with you, Xiao Yi said. Mu Qingzu was stunned, and said with a straight face, no problem, do you really think I will rely on you? But she was a little flustered inside after the assessment in the wedding chamber. She had developed feelings for Xiao Yi and did not want to terminate the contract. The so-called easiest way to a woman's heart is a single plank bridge. After the two of them walked across the single plank bridge, Xiao Yi had already left a deep mark in her heart that could not be erased. When you meet Bing Shi and the others, just curb your arrogant temper a little and show a friendly attitude. They won't reject you, Xiao Yi reminded them in advance. But when he looked over, Mu Qingzu's eyes were dull, as if she was distracted. Hey, girl, are you listening? Xiao Yi waved his hand in front of her beautiful eyes. Mu Qingzu was a little absent-minded. Yes, I heard it all. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Forget it. Let's go now and go to Kunpeng College. After saying that, he headed out of the villa. Mu Qingzu followed behind with a sullen look on her face, looking a little upset. She regretted that she should not have made an agreement with Xiao Yi to terminate the contract. But suddenly Xiao Yi stopped and took a closer look at Mu Qingzu's strange walking posture. Mu Qingzu said angrily, what are you looking at? It's all because of you. You hit me too hard and it hurts so much. Xiao Yi's face darkened and he pretended to hold her hand, but Mu Qingzu subconsciously shrank back to avoid it. But after she reacted, she took the initiative to put her hand over, leaned forward and then turned her face away and said stubbornly, damn it, I don't want to hold your hand. I just don't want others to gossip about me and bring shame to the city lord's mansion. Although she said so, she held Xiao Yi's hand tightly, with their fingers linked together. Xiao Yi looked at her with a slightly raised mouth, nodded and agreed, yes, yes. It's all for the city lord's mansion, I understand. After being exposed, Mu Qingzu's cheeks became hot and a blush appeared on them. Control of life and death, control of life factors and destruction factors. Life control, control the life factor. The life factor has a powerful restorative and therapeutic effect, and can increase vitality and lifespan, rejuvenate people, and bring the dead back to life. It can also extract the vitality of others by force, causing people to age and die instantly. A stream of life factors flowed from Xiao Yi's body into Mu Qingzu's body along the hands of the two people, and then condensed on the red and swollen wounds, quickly restoring the cell's original vitality and vigor. The redness and swelling subsided quickly, and the pain disappeared in an instant. But halfway through her humming, She suddenly covered her mouth and said, I didn't scream, you heard it wrong. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. He didn't say anything, but you said it out yourself. Aren't you trying to cover up your mistake? Okay. I didn't hear your moan, I really didn't, he said seriously. Mu Qingzu. Thank you, she whispered. The two of them first went to the main hall of the city lord's mansion and greeted their father-in-law and mother-in-law who were doing work. Just as he was about to leave, Mu Cheng called Xiao Yi, turned on the virtual screen and projected it above the desktop. A 3D map appeared on the screen with Mangyuan base city marked in the center of the map. Mu Cheng winked at Song Ziar, and Song Ziar pulled Mu Qingzu aside to talk in private. And he smiled and said, son-in-law, at Spu Er's request, the Magic City Lord's Mansion will do its utmost to allocate resources and technical talents to support the Mangyuan base city. Xiao Yi was stunned. It turned out that Mu Qingzu did not forget to give the reward. He looked grateful. Father-in-law, thank you very much. Mu Cheng put his arm around his shoulders and pointed at the map excitedly. Thanks for the hair, you're welcome. The area of the wilderness-based city is too small. What do you think of expanding it tenfold? It's backed by the Monster Mountain Range. Should we refine a supreme top-level attack and defense city defense formation for it? Or maybe we could just flatten the Monster Mountain Range and capture all of them and keep them in captivity. Look here. The space here is relatively weak, and strange phenomena appear from time to time. There should be a dimensional secret realm or a trial ground. Take it down and hand it over to the Lord of Mangyuan. Once the wilderness-based city develops, it will be promoted to an intermediate or advanced-based city in no time. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. The highest level of Warcraft in the Warcraft mountain range is only at the Grandmaster level. How can you refine a supreme top-level formation for it? The dimensional secret realm is a resource that only high-level base cities can possess. Why are you giving it to a low-level wilderness-based city? Father-in-law, your plan is very good. I suggest you implement it immediately. The sooner the better, Xiao Yi said with a serious expression. Really? That's great. Mu Cheng was overjoyed before. Song Zier thought that he was exaggerating a bit, and that he was trying to rush for success, but now that he received Xiao Yi's praise, he felt as if he had met a confidant. In the Beast Girl era, the level of combat power is the foundation, and developing the combat power of a base city is the first factor. Being able to develop the combat power of a base city at the fastest speed cannot be said to be forcing things to grow. Chapter 246. The stinky daughter-in-law meets her parents-in-law. Moreover, as the lord of a top-level base city, Mu Cheng's ability to build and manage the base city is unquestionable. He will definitely not overconsume the potential of Mangyuan base city, thus causing the foundation to become weak. The other side. Mu Qingzu was pulled aside by her mother Song Ziar, who seemed to have something very important to tell her. Mu Qingzu didn't know whether to laugh or cry at that cautious action and expression. She chuckled and said, Mother, if you have something to say, just tell me. Is there any need to avoid Xiao Yi like this? When they reached the corner, Song Ziar leaned close to her and whispered in her ear, what I'm going to tell you next, don't make a fuss, just be calm. Mu Qingzu didn't care and said disaffectedly, I am Mu Qingzu, what can make me fuss? Don't worry. Not to mention this life. As the daughter of a top base city, she is also the reincarnation of an ancient holy realm. She has inherited some memories of her past lives and is very knowledgeable. Song Zier said solemnly, yesterday at the wedding banquet, your father and I discovered something shocking. At that time, you and your son-in-law went into the bridal chamber to do something shameful. So you were not there, but you must know about that. And, make plans and work hard for it. Embarrassing thing? Mu Qingzu's pretty face turned red, and she stamped her feet and said anxiously, oh, why did you mention that, mother? Just tell me what it is. You are making me anxious to death. Song Zier said as if she was telling an absolute secret. The realms of Xiao Yi's other three beast girls are all above 3 stars in the venerable realm. The highest one is at the same realm as Xiao Yi, 5 stars in the venerable realm. It is basically impossible for a normal person to cultivate to the venerable realm before the age of 22. Of the 3 beast girls, except for the last one, the other 2 are only 18 years old. It will take no more than half a year to awaken your talent and template. Mu Qingzu was surprised. This cultivation speed is indeed very terrifying, but Xiao Yi is a mythical talent. After the contract, the qualifications of the summon beast will be much stronger than the general SSS level. It is normal after reasoning, right? Practicing to the venerable realm in half a year. This speed of practice is truly terrifying and has never been seen in ancient times. Song Zier shook her head, you are wrong. The training speed of summoned beasts after the mythical and SSS level contracts is not that fast at all. After my investigation, I secretly tested the root bones of the 3 beast girls and found that their qualifications and templates are not SSS level at all. That kind of rare root bones far exceeds SSS level. Mu Qingzu frowned. You mean, the template level of Xiao Yi's 3 beast girls is mythical level? Song Zier nodded. Yes, it's the mythical level. Mythical level, not a single one appeared in the ancient times. How could 4 of them appear at once in the current beast girl, which is even more desolate than the ancient times? Mu Kingzu didn't believe it. In the legends of ancient times, the mythical level is the son of destiny who is favored by heaven and earth and loved by the laws. There will only be one child of destiny in each era. It is impossible for 2, or even 4, to appear at the same time. Mu Kingzu didn't believe a word of what her mother Song Zier said. She patted Song Zier on the shoulder and said, "Mother, you must have made a mistake in the detection for mythical level figures, and they are a small group. How is that possible?" Song Zier's face darkened. She took out a crystal clear jade pendant from her pocket, placed it in Mu Kingzu's hand, and said, "This is a treasure of the detection template level. You only need to put a strand of the tester's hair into it to get the result. Of course, blood, dead skin, saliva, tears, and athlete's foot can also be used. Wait until you meet those 3 beast girls and verify it, and you'll know. Here, I will give you some psychological counseling first. We must see Xiaoyi's huge potential and control our arrogant temper. We should be nicer to him and satisfy his requests as long as they are not too excessive, including some embarrassing things. Moreover, we must integrate him into his big family of beast girls as soon as possible." Mu Kingzu put away the template detection treasure. Without taking it seriously, she didn't take Song Zier's words to heart at all and said perfunctorily, "Okay, mother, I will." Hearing this, Song Zier smiled with satisfaction. "Okay, now that I've finished talking, it's time for you to go meet your 3 beast girl sisters." At this time, Lu Cheng also finished telling the suggestion of developing the wilderness-based city, and Xiaoyi nodded repeatedly. Xiaoyi could hear that Mu Cheng really wanted to promote the development of the wilderness-based city, rather than just perfunctorily doing it. "Hey, bastard, it's time for us to leave," Mu Kingzu said coldly. Xiaoyi glanced at her and felt that she looked much more pleasing to the eye at this moment, so he smiled and said, "Zuer, thank you very much." Mu Kingzu was a little uncomfortable being called so intimately. Her face flushed as she said, "Damn it. What are you talking about? Let's go now, the sun is burning our drums." She stepped out of the city lord's mansion first, and the slightly raised corners of her mouth showed that she was in a very good mood at the moment. Xiaoyi followed behind, scratched his head and looked at the clear blue sky, feeling warm. Burning but, very burning? Half an hour later. Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area. The living room on the first floor is decorated in Syrian style. The beautiful young women prepared a table full of fruits and were waiting for the arrival of the 4th beast girl. When they arrived at the door of the villa, Mu Kingzu became a little nervous. Others would be like a rude daughter-in-law meeting her parents-in-law, but she would be like a younger daughter-in-law meeting an older daughter-in-law meeting an older daughter-in-law. She would feel nervous, worried that she would not be liked and would be excluded. Xiaoyi put his arm around her shoulders and said, "It's okay. Bingxi and the others are very friendly." After knocking on the door, it opened. When Xiaoyi and Mu Kingzu stepped in, 2 nozzles sprayed out, and various petals fell from the air and landed on the 2 people. "Welcome home, please come in, young lady, please come in. Master." Teng Bingxi, Nangong Xiao and Liu all had bright smiles on their faces. There was also a big red festive couplet hanging above the living room, which read, "Welcome the 4th beast girl Mu Kingzu home." Mu Kingzu was stunned, smelling the fragrance of the petals, feeling the friendly atmosphere of the 3 women, and looking at the friendly red couplet on the banner. The tension and vigilance in her heart disappeared in an instant. Xiaoyi put his arm around her shoulders and said with a smile, "What's the point of the ceremony? Mu Kingzu doesn't need it." Mu Kingzu rolled her eyes at him and said, "I want it." Then she introduced herself. "Hello, 3 sisters, my name is Mu Kingzu. I am the daughter of the head of the Mu family. I am now 20 years old." Cheng Bingxi and the other 2 came forward and surrounded her, pushing Xiaoyi aside, chattering about something. After a while, the 4 of them actually started playing around. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao pinched and touched Mu Kingzu here and there, and exclaimed in surprise from time to time. So white, so tender, so small. No wonder Xiaoyi was so fascinated by Zuer. "I'm in love with her." It was extremely lively over there, but it was quiet here for Xiaoyi. He was lying on the sofa, and out of boredom he started eating a red fruit that could be sold for a crystal core of a great venerable. Chapter 247, Detecting the Explosion of the Treasure. Mu Kingzu was stunned. Mu Kingzu felt a little awkward because of the pinching. The blush on her pretty face spread to her ears. Her white teeth bit her lower lip tightly, and she looked like a shy little woman. So she decided to fight back and rushed towards the 2 men, pinching their huge breasts and long legs. These 3 are not inferior to her in appearance, and they all have stunning looks. But in terms of figure, these 3 beast girls are very distinctive. Madame Cheng Bingxi has special legs. The 2nd wife, Nangong Xiao, has achieved great success. The 3rd wife, Liuya, not only has very long legs, but also very big fruit. In contrast, Mu Kingzu is ordinary. If I really have to say her advantages, it would be that her skin is extremely white, the kind of crystal clear white that is whiter than snow. As the saying goes, there is no acquaintance without a fight. After the three of them fought for a while, they lay on the sofa sweating profusely, playing around together and seemed to be getting along very well. Take her to familiarize herself with the house, Xiao Yi said. Then, the mature lady Liuya, who was watching from the side with her elbows folded, acted as a tour guide and took Mu Qingzu to familiarize herself with the houses in the villa. Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao followed and introduced themselves. They each had a small bedroom on the third floor. And they took Mu Qingzu to an empty small bedroom and let her stay there. Mu Qingzu was a little puzzled about this. Don't you live with Xiao Yi? Liuya shook her head and then nodded. Mu Qingzu was puzzled. What did this mean? The three of them took her to the master bedroom. Looking at the super large bed that was 3 meters long and 3 meters wide, Mu Qingzu seemed to suddenly understand something and her pretty face blushed. Cheng Bingxi came over and whispered. We usually live in separate rooms. Xiao Yi can sleep in whichever room he wants. Of course, sometimes we squeeze together and sleep in the big master bedroom. Crowded together. Mu Qingzu's beautiful eyes widened as expected. That bastard was really lucky. Did she huddle together too? After introducing the resting place, Liuya and the other two took her to the extra-large underground training room. It's rather simple here, with only 2 things. Liuya pointed to the shelf by the wall and then to the cushion on the ground. On the first layer of more than 10 shelves, there are bottles of pure energy liquid. There are energy liquids of various levels. From Grandmaster to Master and Supreme level, it is filled to the brim at a glance. It feels like there are tens of thousands of bottles. On the second layer, there are fist-sized crystal essences placed, all of which are of excellent quality, and the quantity is also terrifying. The third layer is filled with a variety of desserts, snacks and fruits. Mu Qingzu picked up a crystal essence and held it in her palm, her eyes full of complexity. Once upon a time, it was because of this thing that she and Xiao Yi had a relationship. Liuya said, Qingzu, your realm should not have been promoted to the venerable realm yet. You can use these cultivation resources at will, especially the crystal essence, which has a strong auxiliary effect on condensing the power of artistic conception. Mu Qingzu nodded. Nan Gongxiao squinted her eyes and said playfully, Zur, we are all 5-star venerable realm as Xiao Yi's beast mother. You can't fall behind. Mu Qingzu tightly grasped the crystal essence and said with a firm look, Don't worry, I will catch up with you. I won't hold you back. Cheng Bingxi tapped her finger. You are 6 levels behind us and it will take you 6 days to catch up with us. Oh, that's not right. After 6 days, we will all reach the great venerable realm. Cheng Bingxi looked regretful. Zur, you probably won't be able to catch up with us. Nan Gongxiao replied. Not necessarily. Zur is the #1 prodigy in the Demon City base city. It may not take even a day to be promoted to a small level in the venerable realm. Mu Qingzu felt that they were just bragging. Promoted to a small level in the venerable realm in 1 day. Impossible, absolutely impossible, when the venerable realm is like cabbage. It is so easy to be promoted. The sharp-eyed Liuya glanced at Mu Qingzu and noticed the corners of her mouth twitching in disbelief. She smiled and said, Bingxi Saya, oh, Zur hasn't upgraded her template yet. What you are saying now is a bit unbelievable to her. It is too exaggerated. The cultivation speed of the SSS level template in the venerable realm requires at least 2 or 3 years to advance to a small rank. Cheng Bingxi suddenly realized, patted Nan Gongxia's fruit with her little hand, and said, Oh, it seems so. I actually forgot that Zur's template hasn't been upgraded yet. Nan Gongxiao took away her mischievous little hand and said, It's okay, it's easy for us to upgrade the template anyway. At worst, we can just gather some resources to upgrade the template. Liuyan nodded in agreement. Mu Qingzu was confused by their conversation. Upgrade template? Templates can be upgraded. They were not even available in ancient times. Once the template is awakened, it will be fixed and cannot be changed throughout your life. It cannot be upgraded or downgraded. But they could actually speak so nonchalantly about something that sounded so unrealistic, etc. Mu Qingzu remembered what her mother Song Zia said before she left the city lord's mansion, as well as the coin-sized template level detection ledger in the storage ring. Sisters, I have a question to ask. She interrupted. Cheng Bingxi and the other two looked over curiously. What's the problem? Mu Qingzu asked tentatively. Isn't your template level SSS level? Cheng Bingxi and the other two laughed and said in unison. No, it was SSS level before. But after the upgrade, it is mythical level. Mu Qingzu widened her eyes in shock, somewhat doubtful. She took out the template detection ledger and asked, Can I have a strand of your hair? I want to confirm my template level. As for Xiao Yi's 4th beast girl, the 3 of them regarded her as one of their own, and had no guard against her. They all pulled out a long hair and gave it to her. Thank you. Mu Qingzu placed the hair above the treasure, and the treasure released a suction force, sucking the 3 strands of hair in. Cheng Bingxi, Nan Gongxiao and Liu watched quietly from the side. They were also very curious about what results this small thing as big as a coin could determine. Since the three of them upgraded the template, the indicators of their summon beasts have skyrocketed, but they have never retested their old template levels. Mu Qingzu exerted her greatest strength to stimulate the monitoring power of the detection treasure. The template detection treasure was suspended in the air, and blue light bloomed. Just when the four thought the results were about to come out, the detection treasure began to tremble violently, and spitterbear-like cracks appeared on the surface. With a crisp bang sound, the detection treasure exploded, turning into fragments and shooting in all directions. Mu Qingzu quickly collected the fragments, preventing them from hurting the three people. Looking at the debris emitting black smoke, her eyes became dull. Mythical template. Only the mythical level can exceed the detection limit of the treasure and cause it to collapse and explode. The templates of these three beast girls are all mythical. When Xiaoyi heard the explosion, he rushed down from the living room on the first floor. He was relieved to see that the four people were safe and sound. He thought that Mu Qingzu had a fight with the three of them because they were unhappy with each other. Cheng Bingshi took the opportunity to say, Xiaoyi, Zuer's template can't keep up with the times. You have to find a way to gather resources and upgrade Zuer. Can it be upgraded? Mu Qingzu looked over with surprise yet expectation. There is a heat in anticipation. She was very eager to upgrade her SSS level time candle dragon template to the mythical level. But Xiaoyi shook his head and said calmly, what's the point of upgrading? This girl and I have an agreement that the contract will be terminated when the realm reaches the Great Venerable Realm. Our contractual relationship is just temporary, so there is no need to pay so much for her. If I upgrade her and she runs away, she will get the upper hand. Chapter 248 Give birth to three big fat boys to avenge him. Mu Qingzu was completely stunned. Cheng Bingshi, Nan Gongxiao, and Liuya were shocked when they heard this, and found it incredible. How can this be possible? The contract will be terminated when you reach the Great Venerable Realm. What's the point of holding a wedding? Hey, Qingzu, you and Xiaoyi are really just partners, not husband and wife, right? Mu Qingzu's emotions were stronger than ever before. No, She was interrupted by Xiaoyi halfway through her words. Yes, there is no real love between us. It is simply a cooperative relationship. The contract will be terminated soon. This is what we agreed before we signed the contract. Actually, I also wanted to help this girl and deal with the elders in her family. This girl is very arrogant. She doesn't like any man in the world and wants to be single for the rest of her life. Cheng Bingshi and the other two were shocked and looked at Mu Qingzu with strange eyes. They also knew that the two were not really husband and wife, but just a partnership. And it is indeed as Xiaoyi said, there is no need to upgrade the template for her. Mu Qingzu's originally bright face became dull, a look of grievance emerged in her eyes, and her heart was filled with helplessness and grief. She is different now. She had long forgotten the agreement and wanted to continue the contract with Xiaoyi until they grew old together. Hey, Mu Qingzu. Why are you acting so aggrieved? We didn't bully you. Xiaoyi kicked her butt and said unhappily. Mu Qingzu's body trembled. Mist appeared in her pure eyes, with water droplets swirling around, and her red and tender lower lip was about to bleed. The sharp-eyed Liuyan noticed something different about her. She glared at Xiaoyi, then pulled Mu Qingzu to the first floor and said, Zuer, don't bother with that guy. He deserves to be punished. Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao also noticed her loss and grievance, and followed her to comfort her. Xiaoyi stayed where he was, feeling a little confused. Hey, no, she is just going through the motions. We are not a real couple. Why are you being so nice to her? I really don't understand. Xiaoyi checked the energy liquids on the shelf and felt that the levels of these energy liquids were not up to standard for use. So he took out the rule level treasure, the Xuanhuang Gem Great Venerable Crystal Core, to extract higher level energy liquids. The summoned beasts of the mythical template practice very quickly. In a few days, the three girls will be able to be promoted to the Great Venerable Realm. Now that all the practice resources have been prepared at once, the three practice girls can practice all the time without stopping. One by one, the crystal cores of the Great Venerable S were taken out from the system space, extracted into pure energy liquid using the Xuanhuang gemstone, and then placed in small transparent bottles. Living room on the first floor. On the sofa, Mu Qingzu was surrounded by three women, her eyes red and she felt a little uneasy. Seeing that she was trying hard to hold back her tears, Liuya held her in her arms, letting her head rest among the fruits, patted her on the back and said softly, "Why, if you want to, we won't laugh at you." Perhaps it was because her love and sorrow were so deep that she could hardly hold it back after being comforted by Liuya. Mu Qingzu's heart softened, and the tears in her eyes poured out like a flood. She buried her head in the warmth, trembling and sobbing silently. Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gongxiao looked at each other, feeling that her reaction was very wrong. If the two of them were really just partners, without any feelings between them, why would she react like this, crying like a tearful person, heartbroken? This couldn't be fake. The three of them could feel Mu Qingzu's inner emotions. This kind of true emotion couldn't be faked. After sobbing for 10 minutes, Mu Qingzu's heart gradually calmed down. And the grievance also passed. Being surrounded by three people, she felt a little embarrassed and awkward. She hugged Liu Ya and didn't dare to pull her head out, as she didn't want to see the possible teasing looks on the three girls' faces. Liu Ya spoke up as the most beautiful teaching assistant. She got straight to the point and said solemnly, Mu Qingzu, are you really in love with Xiaoyi and don't want to cancel the contract with him? While we are all here, tell us what you really think. Don't lie. You only get one chance. If you miss it, you'll miss it forever. Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao nodded in agreement. Yes, that's right. Mu Qingzu's body trembled violently. If you miss it, you will miss it forever. She raised her head suddenly, letting her pretty face with tears on it appear in the sight of the three women. She said in a firm tone, I don't want to terminate the contract with Xiaoyi. At this moment, for the sake of the feelings in her heart, she temporarily put aside her pride and let her true feelings flow. Perhaps it was because she had opened up the conversation and had someone to talk to. Mu Qingzu told him all the grievances she had suffered during this period. The tsundere and arrogance are gone. And what comes out is the cockathiousness of a little woman. When I made the agreement to terminate the contract with Xiaoyi, it was a long time ago. At that time, we were just pretending to be in a relationship, but after he and I went through so many things, I found that I couldn't leave him anymore. I have completely forgotten about that agreement, but that bastard keeps mentioning it from time to time. It's really annoying. That guy even laughed at my small breasts, saying they were only half a cup. I've been eating papayas. I'm sure he'll be impressed. That bastard suddenly barged in when I was taking a shower and changing clothes, and acted like he had no interest in me, which made me feel very embarrassed. Mu Qingzu had been talking and had not yet noticed that there was a figure in her blind spot behind her. He was none other than Xiaoyi at this moment. Xiaoyi's face was filled with astonishment. He dug his ears, thinking that he had heard it wrong. How is it possible that such words would come out of Mu Qingzu's mouth? But the voice that came from the living room could not be faked. It was indeed spoken from Mu Qingzu's arrogant mouth. Liu Ya curled her lips, put her hands on her shoulders, and said, We all know your feelings. We all recognize you as the fourth beast girl. If you have any dissatisfaction, just say it out loud. Don't hold it in. Seeing Xiaoyi's forehead full of black lines and stunned expression, Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao looked like they were eating melons and echoed, Yes, complain about it all, we won't laugh at you. Yeah, anyway, that guy isn't here, so he won't hear it. Mu Qingzu had already let down her guard, and started to complain like a machine gun. That bastard is so annoying. He even said that eating papaya is useless for me, and that no matter how much I eat, I won't grow. It's not even as much as his two big hands. He wants to terminate the contract with me, but I won't do as he wishes. I will follow him for the rest of my life and annoy him to death. That guy told me to rely on him, so I will rely on him. If he continues to piss me off like that, I'll give him 3 big fat boys to avenge him. Xiaoyi's face darkened. He finally couldn't hold it back any longer and said, Mu Qingzu, that's enough. Chapter 249. Mu Qingzu reveals her true feelings. Listen to what you are saying. How could such words come out of your mouth? His voice suddenly woke Mu Qingzu, who was immersed in the atmosphere of confession. Mu Qingzu looked behind her and suddenly saw Xiaoyi standing there with a gloomy face. Xiaoyi, you bastard. Why are you here? Did you hear everything? It's so embarrassing. Her pretty face flushed all the way to her ears, and her white and tender feet were wrinkled, and she was picking her toes. She was so embarrassed that she wanted to dig a hole in the ground and crawl into it. What she said just now were her true thoughts, which were usually hidden under her arrogant temperament. I can say these words to anyone except Xiaoyi. If he knew, I don't know how he would laugh at me and use these information points to bully me. Liu Ya, Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi all chuckled. Mu Qingzu said angrily, Sisters, how can you do this? You know this bastard is listening, but you still let me keep talking. You just want to laugh at me. A mature lady. Liu Ya curled her lips and said, Isn't this better? Let everyone in Xiaoyi know your true heart. Otherwise, we will be misled by your agreement. Until when? Zuer, now that you have thought about this, do you think we are making fun of you? Mu Qingzu widened her eyes and thought that her sisters were not there to laugh at her, but to help her resolve the misunderstanding. But this is too embarrassing. This bastard is going to laugh at me again. She turned her head away and didn't dare to look at Xiaoyi. The corner of Xiaoyi's mouth twitched and his expression became serious. The 3 girls made way for him, and he came over, put his hands on Mu Qingzu's shoulders, and said in a low voice, Girl, look into my eyes, I have a question for you. Mu Qingzu felt a little flustered and looked into his eyes with her beautiful eyes, but she immediately lowered her head and avoided his gaze. She was shy and didn't dare to look directly at him. Xiaoyi had no choice but to hold her white chin with one hand, asking her to look at him, and said with a serious expression, You really don't want to cancel the contract with me? Answer me seriously, you only have one chance. Mu Qingzu blushed and was a little annoyed. Why did she have to say such embarrassing words again? Didn't she say it just now? In her opinion, this bastard just wanted to laugh at her. Mu Qingzu said angrily, damn it. I'm going to rely on you and stay with you for the rest of my life. I won't let you get rid of me, I'll cling to you. This. Xiao Yi let her go, very surprised. It seems that this arrogant girl really has feelings for her, and wants to be a real couple with him, and doesn't want to terminate the contract with him. This is simply very good. The TS Undere girl is a template of the time at Reboot. She is currently unique in the current Beast Girl era. At least he has never heard of a second Beast Girl with the time at Reboot in the world. Space is king, time is emperor. If the SSS level time at Reboot template is upgraded to a mythical level time at Reboot template, Mu Qingzu's template Summon Beast will discover its maximum potential and bring out the true power of the time at Reboot. Instead of having only 2 auxiliary talent skills like now. I'm pause time, fast forward time, rewind time, reset. When Xiao Yi thought of those awesome abilities that he was so familiar with in his previous life, he became very envious. Yes, he didn't want to terminate the contract with Mu Qingzu. It was definitely not because he was greedy for the body of the arrogant girl. Absolutely not. He swears on Mu Qingzu's character. Do you think I will believe you? Who knows if you are lying with open eyes? Xiao Yi almost couldn't suppress the corners of his mouth. It was harder than a cannon, and he hurriedly ran upstairs into the master bedroom. After this guy understood Mu Qingzu's feelings, he still wanted to tease her. He is so evil. Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao were stunned, and a gleam of light flashed in Liu Ya's eyes. Mu Qingzu took Xiao Yi's words seriously. Her eyes were red and tears welled up in her eye sockets. I put away my pride and confessed my true feelings to him, but he didn't believe me. He even said that I was lying with my eyes open. Mu Qingzu felt very wronged, even more wronged than before. She took the initiative to put her head into Liu Ya's fruit and sobbed in the warm embrace. Sisters, what should I do? That guy is thinking about terminating the contract with me. She was very frightened, afraid that she would be abandoned. Liu Ya saw Xiao Yi almost laughing before he went upstairs, and knew that Xiao Yi was teasing her. Liu Ya curled her lips, patted her on the back, and said, it's okay, we recognize you. That guy's opinion is not important. Since Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi accepted Mu Qingzu, they would treat her as their sister and one of their own, and they spoke together to comfort her. Yes. Without our consent, he can't cancel the contract with you. That's right, Xiao Yi shouldn't think too highly of himself. He wants to sign a contract with a new beast girl so he can sign it, and he wants to cancel it so he can cancel it. He didn't even ask for our consent. Mu Qingzu felt warm in her heart, and she completely accepted the 3 considerate and warm ladies, the first, second and third ladies. She is 22 years old. 4 years older than Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi, but in this big family of beast girls, she has to call the 3 of them sisters. Thank you. Mu Qingzu said gratefully. But then Mu Qingzu became distressed again and asked, but what if that bastard refuses to believe me? What should I do? She lowered her head to glance at her chest, which was as flat as an airport, then looked at her not so long legs, and said bitterly, that bastard is right. Compared to you guys, my figure has no advantages at all. No wonder he didn't even look at me when he came in while I was taking a shower. Damn it. Why don't you grow up? I'm trying so hard to eat papaya. Mu Qingzu hated why the airport was so disappointing and didn't automatically produce great results. Muran remembered what Xiao Yi said. She could ask Dean Kunpeng Yanxi for advice and let Dean Kunpeng share his experience. Dean Kunpeng is the dean of the college. She teaches and educates people on weekdays. If I go to her for advice, she should be able to teach me and answer my questions, right? Seeing Mu Qingzu's look of disappointment and frustration at the failure of the airport, Liu Ya, Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi were stunned. Liu Ya chuckled and said, you can't force this kind of thing, but if you want Xiao Yi to accept you, I have a way. Mu Qingzu's beautiful eyes lit up. What method? Liu Ya came over and whispered a few words in her ear. Mu Qingzu's pretty face immediately turned red and her eyes showed shyness. Oh, I really have to do this? She squirmed. But this is so embarrassing. Liu Ya took out a bottle of blue liquor and said with a smile, the treasure of the May Tavern, 1 glass. Do you understand what to do? Mu Qingzu nodded, decided to go for it, and opened the bottle cap with a determined look. With a sound, the bottle cap was flicked off by her fingers, and she tilted her head back and drank it all in one gulp. Burp. She drank the whole bottle and burped. Her vision became blurry and she staggered. She said, sister, help me over quickly, I'm getting drunk. Liu Ya sent her into Xiao Yi's master bedroom and locked the door from the outside. He clapped his hands and smiled. Done. Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao frowned. Sister Liu Ya, can this really make Xiao Yi believe her? Liu Ya chuckled. Xiao Yi never distrusted me, he was just teasing me. That guy should just be happy. Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao all suddenly realized that Xiao Yi was too bad. However, the two did not think that Liuya's idea was excessive. The two people in the master bedroom had already signed a contract, so entering the bridal chamber was very normal. They are newlyweds after all. Chapter 250. Something happened to Yun Bing. Xiao Yi, who was half asleep, felt someone crawling towards him like an octopus. In the dim light, after measuring the size, he felt a little surprised. When did Cheng Bing she become so flat? However, looking at this man's crazy look, Xiao Yi felt that this person looked like Nan Gong's Saya. The next day, Xiao Yi was shocked to find that such a crazy person was actually Mu Qingzu. Living room on the first floor. Everyone sat around the table except for Mu Qingzu. Everyone had a gloomy face and was in a very bad mood. Their eyes revealed deep worry, because just now, Xiao Yi received bad news from Vice President Yun Bing. Yun Bing, something happened. Something happened to Yun Bing. You guys should get ready and come to see her for the last time. Especially you, Xiao Yi. Yun Bing wants to talk to you before he dies suddenly. The above is the message sent by Yun Shi. After watching this, everyone lost their mood to eat breakfast. With sad faces, they prepared to go see Vice President Yun Bing and say goodbye to her properly. Liuya's eyes were filled with grief and indignation. The Vice President is a high-level supreme being with unparalleled combat power. How could something go wrong? Yes, Sister Yun Bing is the queen I admire the most. She was so full of life a while ago. And now she is gone? Nangong Saya felt unbelievable. Cheng Bing Shi and Mu Qingzu were silent. Xiao Yi's brows were wrinkled into the shape of a character, and he looked worried, with a strong sense of guilt in his heart. Perhaps, Sister Yun Bing's bad news is related to him. As far as he knew, after he told Vice Dean Yun Bing the conditions for repairing the template, Yun Bing resolutely decided to go to the chaotic space to condense and obtain the crystals of space rule fragments. What is the chaotic space? Extremely dangerous, a place where you could fall if you are not careful. There, life is like thin paper, which will break into pieces if torn. If something happened to Sister Yun Bing, it could only have happened in the chaotic space. But what Xiao Yi had never expected was that Vice Dean Yun Bing was about to die suddenly and was about to die. Xiao Yi found it hard to accept this fact as his mentor who had taken care of him and taught him. Let's go back to one day ago. Yun Shi snorted coldly, left the wedding scene, did not attend the wedding banquet, and went straight to the chaotic space. Chaotic space, as the name suggests, is extremely unstable and overlapping, with chaotic laws and extremely dangerous. This special space is usually located deep in Shennongjia, at the bottom of Mount Tai, in the heart of Mount Everest, deep in the Pacific Ocean, deep in the Scarlet Rift Valley, etc. Rumor has it that by visiting a point in the chaotic space, one can travel to a parallel world. The chaotic space that Yun Bing headed to was a folded space deep in Shennongjia. Shennongjia is full of mystery and dangers. Once you enter, you will be invaded by me, as may if you don't take protective measures, you will most likely get lost and suffocate. Not to mention that there are a lot of special kinds of monsters inside. The deeper you go into Shennongjia, the more dangerous the environment becomes, and the more brutal and violent the monsters become. Swish, Yun Shi was covered with a layer of space shield and went directly into the miasma of Shennongjia, ignoring all the monsters on the surface. He flew towards the depths of Shennongjia at extremely fast speed. After crossing most of Shennongjia, a huge space crack appeared in front of them. There was a space storm around the space crack, and endless space blades were rolling. If a low-level supreme being appeared here, he might be killed by the space storm. Buzz, a deeper level of spatial force emerged from Yun Shi's body, directly suppressing dozens of spatial storms. But just as these dozens of space storms disappeared, space storms continued to emerge from the huge space cracks, filling the surrounding gaps. And the space storms filled this area again. Yun Shi ignored the space storms and dived into the space crack. There was a flash of white light. She came to another space where there was no light. No air, no gravity, no land and sky, only endless chaos. A space storm even more violent than before raged. Space turbulence was running everywhere, and endless space barriers appeared and disappeared again and again. This chaotic space is filled with the violent rhyme of the laws of space. Yun Shi frowned. The danger here was much more dangerous than she had expected. She sensed the attack power of the surrounding space storms, space turbulence, etc. The lowest was at the middle level supreme combat power. Most of them had high-level supreme combat power, a few were at the top-level supreme combat power, a few were at the top-level supreme combat power, and very few were at the quasi-saint level. Not only that, in this chaotic space, she also vaguely felt a slight sense of oppression, which meant that there was something here that even she was afraid of. She is a perfect quasi-saint. She can beat Yun Bing with one hand. In this chaotic space, Yun Bing may lose his life if he loses his concentration. Yun Shi became anxious and sensed the connection with Yun Bing's blood. She quickly rushed in one direction. A mysterious connection seemed to exist and not exist, and it seemed to be about to be broken. This means that Yun Bing is about to die, or has already died. Yun Shi's heart sank suddenly, and endless worry surged across his face. Deep in this chaotic space, a graceful body covered with dark blood mist was lying in the air from time to time. A space storm raged towards her, blowing across her body and leaving countless blood mists, but the body showed no reaction, just like a corpse, as if it had lost its life. Swish, Yun Shi burst out with all the power of a quasi-saint and rushed towards this place. All the space storms, space turbulence and space barriers along the way could not stop Yun Shi's steps, and could not make her slow down a bit in crossing the chaotic space. If the spatial nodes in the chaotic space were not disordered and chaotic, and if the spatial nodes were not changing at any time, and if space jumps could not be used to move, Yun Shi would have used space teleportation to travel long ago. A mysterious connection in the blood finally became stronger, and a scene that made Yun Shi extremely sad and angry appeared in her vision. A huge spatial flow, comparable to that of a quasi-saint, crashed towards an unconscious body in Mitra. Yun Shi couldn't catch up at all, and could only watch the unconscious Yun Bing being hit by the unconscious attack of the quasi-saint level. When the deafening sound rang out, a blood mist dozens of meters high exploded above the body. Bang! Yun Shi jumped over a distance of dozens of miles in an instant and finally arrived. She hugged the dying body of Yun Bing, and her tears could not stop flowing across her delicate cheeks and white chin, and falling on Yun Bing's body full of dark blood. After quickly setting up defenses around, feeling his life about to pass away, Yun Shi placed his hand on Yun Bing's chest, and desperately transferred his lifeblood to Yun Bing. The two were born from the same roots, they are twin sisters, and their blood types are exactly the same. With Yun Shi's help, Yun Bing seemed to have a last burst of light and miraculously opened her eyes. But after Yun Bing opened his eyes, the first thing he checked was the two space rule fragment crystals in his hands. That's right, in a short period of time, she risked her life and condensed to fragment crystals. After discovering that the two crystals were still there, a smile of joy from the bottom of her heart appeared on her face covered with black blood, and she said, "Sister, you are here." After saying this, her raised hand fell down weakly, and her eyes that had just lit up became dim and lost their luster, leaving only the smile on her face. Readers, please be patient, this is the heroine. Chapter 251, A Final Burst of Light. Yun Shi could feel Yun Bing's consciousness gradually dissipating. When consciousness disappears, it means that this person is completely gone. Yun Shi transferred wave after wave of life essence and blood over in an attempt to save the situation. But Yun Bing was injured too badly, not only physically but also spiritually. Yun Shi's life essence and blood could only keep Yun Bing's broken body alive for a while, but it was not enough to repair his physical injuries and soul trauma. With injuries of this severity, even if Hua Tuo were alive, it would be difficult to save the patient, and ordinary healing medicines have long lost their effect. Realizing that she was about to lose her twin sister Yun Bing, Yun Shi couldn't stop her tears from falling, dripping on Yun Bing's cheeks. Looking at the two space rule fragment crystals tightly held in her hands, Yun Shi felt very complicated, sad and angry. They are just crystal fragments. Do you really need to fight so hard? Do you really need to pay the price with your life? This spatial node is the center of the chaotic space with spatial attributes. It is the place where the power of rules and rhythms is the most concentrated. It is also the easiest place to condense and extract the crystals of rule fragments. But opportunities are often accompanied by crises. The space storms and space turbulences in this space node are the most numerous, and their attack power is at least that of a high-level supreme combat power. Top-level supreme combat power. Top-level supreme combat power also appears frequently, and occasionally there will be crises at the standard level combat power. Buzz, Yun Shi stretched out her hand and grabbed towards a certain location, and a point of light was caught in her palm. This is the basic form of fragment crystallization. After a point of light was captured, under her guidance, the endless power of Taoism around it pulled the power of rules toward that point of light. During the condensation process, the endless space storms and space turbulences around her collectively raged towards her. These crises seemed to be equipped with navigation and crushed towards her directly. The power of a quasi-saint level burst out, and those crises were easily resolved by her. But suddenly Yun Shi's face changed, and he hugged Yun Bing's body and rushed to the side. A spatial turbulence with the combat power of a quasi-saint level appeared out of thin air at the position where the two people were just now. She would not suffer any harm from the attack, but Yun Bing would probably be crushed to pieces at the same time. She also knew why Yun Bing was so badly injured. The crisis of quasi-saint level combat power was impossible for Yun Bing to avoid. That's why it's like this now. Yun Shi gave up on condensing the fragments into crystals and flew out of the chaotic space while holding Yun Bing. At this stage, saving lives is the most important thing. No matter how precious and rare the space fragment crystals are, they are not as important as a hair of Yun Bing. She must save Yun Bing's soul and body before his consciousness dissipates completely. Half an hour later, back to Kunpeng Academy. Yun Shi issued a bounty. offering a large sum of money to purchase supreme-level healing treasures for the soul and body. There is a huge difference in the effects between supreme-level healing potions and healing treasures. Potions are developed by humans to treat common injuries, while healing treasures are natural treasures from heaven and earth, born from nature, and are extremely precious and rare. It is even rarer than fragment crystals. After helping Yun Bing clean her body and removing the blood, there were dense, bone-deep wounds all over her body, about tens of thousands of them, which was shocking at first glance. Yunshi felt very distressed when she saw this and wished that these wounds could be transferred to herself. As his life essence and blood were constantly being transferred, Yunshi's face turned pale. But it had no effect on Yun Bing's injuries. It could only barely prevent Yun Bing from dying instantly. Yunshi opened the bottles of supreme-grade healing potions, and let the liquid medicine merge into Yun Bing's broken body. Even if it doesn't have much effect, she won't miss any chance. Bottle after bottle, even the great master-level healing potions, were used up. Soon, all the potions that Yunshi had stored and collected for 2,000 years were used up. At this time, the wounds on Yun Bing's body, at least on the surface, were gradually healing, and the shocking wound disappeared in a short while. But Yunshi knew that this was just an appearance. Yun Bing's internal injuries are still there, and even his cultivation foundation has been damaged, and his soul has been severely traumatized. The most important thing is that her soul body was injured too seriously, causing Yun Bing's consciousness to dissipate, not fall asleep, but completely dissipate from this world. Yun Bing, you can't die yet. What will I do if you die? You are my only relative in this world. Do you want me to be alone for the rest of my life? You can't die. I order you as your sister, stay alive. Yunshi had a sad face and spoke one sentence after another, trying to awaken Yun Bing's consciousness, but no matter how many words she said, it was of no avail. Even though it didn't work, Yunshi didn't give up. By the way, don't you want to sign a contract with Xiaoyi? If you die, I will send him down and hold a ghost marriage with you. That guy is really good at flirting with people. Let him go down and be with you alone, then you will have a companion down there and won't be lonely. At this moment, in Yunshi's blind spot, Yun Bing's fingers trembled slightly. But Yunshi didn't notice and she continued talking. You know, you wanted to sign a contract with him and lust after his body, but he only regarded you as his mentor. He never mentioned wanting to sign a contract with you, nor did he show any romantic feelings towards you. He has contracted a new beast girl these days, the daughter of the Mu family. He really deserves to die. I will personally send him down, bury you both together, and ask a master to perform a ghost marriage. Yunshi was immersed in sadness and kept talking. Yun Bing moved his fingers, his mind fluctuated violently, and his weak consciousness suddenly became active. Yun Bing sat up straight and spat out a large mouthful of black blood. She cursed, Yunshi, if you dare to touch Xiaoyi, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. You are such a jerk, Yunshi, you are just hoping for my death, right? Yunshi woke up in a sad atmosphere and looked at Yun Bing, who had woken up in front of her in disbelief. Yun Bing's face became unusually rosy, and her eyes became bright. You're alive? Yunshi opened her eyes wide, with traces of tears still on her face. Yun Bing said angrily, I wasn't dead in the first place. What do you mean I'm alive, really? I'm telling you, you can't hurt him. Yun Bing pushed the bed with her hands and tried to get up. But with a bang, his body fell on the bed. The arms that had been strong before now seemed to have broken bones. They were so limp that he didn't even have the strength to support himself. Yunshi's heart skipped a beat. She understood that Yun Bing was experiencing a last burst of vitality. What is the last moment of life? Before a person dies completely, he or she will return to normal for a period of time, even being full of energy and looking no different from a normal person, making people think that he or she is fine. However, this state can only last for an hour or even 2 hours. After this state, the person will die completely. If you have any unfulfilled wishes, tell me now, it will be too late, Yunshi said anxiously. Yun Bing collapsed on the bed and said speechlessly, I'm warning you, Yunshi, don't talk to me in that tone. It makes me sound like I'm dying. I'm fine. You are dying. Yunshi thought of something. Do you want to see Xiaoyi? If you do, I will tie you up right away. When Yun Bing heard the word Xiaoyi, she was startled. She checked and found that the 2 rule fragment crystals in her hand were still there. She smiled, and smiled happily. With this thing, I can conclude a contract with Xiaoyi. A frown appeared on Yunshi's forehead. Yun Bing didn't take her words to heart at all. You're almost dead, and you're still thinking about signing a contract? Chapter 250 To Farewell, the Last Time. Yun Bing rubbed the crystals of rule fragments with her slender fingers, her joy evident in her expression. She tilted her head and saw Yunshi's pretty face full of black lines. She said unhappily, Hey, Yunshi, what's that expression on your face? You're looking at me like I'm dying. Smile for me. Yunshi. Yunshi twitched the corner of her mouth, and a fate smile uglier than crying appeared on her pretty face. Yun Bing's face darkened. Forget it, you'd better stop laughing, it makes me sick just by looking at it. Then Yun Bing looked at Yun Shi's face carefully, which was covered with tear marks. She asked in astonishment, "You cried? Oh my god, you actually cried. This is rare, this is big news. You're an ice cube and you're crying." She was very happy about other people's misfortune and laughed heartlessly, but after laughing, her face turned gloomy and she said with a straight face, "Sister, who bullied you and made you cry? Tell me, who is that person? I will beat him up." "That person is you, you hit yourself." Yun Shi didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and said, "I am now at the quasi-sane level, and he can beat me to tears if you, a high-level supreme minion, go there, you will just die." Yun Bing suddenly realized and said awkwardly, "That's right, I can't even beat you, so I'll get beaten if I go." "Forget it. I'll beat you when I can beat you. I don't have a masochistic tendency." Yun Shi's mouth twitched. "What if that person is Xiao Yi? And Xiao Yi makes me cry, will you beat him up because of me?" "Xiao Yi?" Yun Bing subconsciously held onto the crystal fragments with her hands. As if she was afraid of losing them, she shook her head and said disapprovingly, "Sister, do you think I'm easy to fool? How could a weakling like Xiao Yi, who is only at the Grand Master level, possibly make you cry?" When Yun Bing left, Xiao Yi's realm was only 7 stars in the Grand Master realm. Yun Shi's eyes were complicated at this moment. Xiao Yi's realm was already at the Venerable realm. "You've only been gone for half a month." Speaking of Xiao Yi, Yun Bing suddenly became nervous and asked cautiously, "Sister, how long have I been in the chaotic space?" 150 years, I feel that my efficiency is quite high, so it shouldn't take that long." "Xiao Yi, where is he now?" "Such a long time has passed, he should have many children and grandchildren now." "How many beast girls has he contracted? Can he contract more? Has he forgotten the agreement he made with a vice president named Yun Bing?" In the chaotic space, a time factor is scarce and the flow of time is different from that on the blue planet. People will lose the concept of time, so she doesn't know how much time has passed. Yun Shi's face was full of black lines, and she was a little angry inside at this moment. In Yun Bing's heart, Xiao Yi's weight was obviously greater than her. "Yun Shi, they are family, okay?" Facing Yun Bing's question, Yun Shi replied, "After you left, he contracted a new beast girl, now there are 4 beast girls in total. You can only be Xiao Wu. It's only been about half a month since you left. He is still a freshman at Kunpeng College, I'll call him over now." Yun Shi took out the communicator, edited a few messages and sent them out. She informed them of Yun Bing's current condition, and asked them to come together to say their final goodbyes. "Oh, that's great." Yun Bing was overjoyed upon hearing this and laughed out loud with joy, not knowing that he was about to die and was in a state of last breath. "Once I recover a little, I will go find him." Yun Shi thought to himself, "It can't be recovered. Healing treasures are the heritage of every big family. Not to mention the supreme level healing treasures, which are equivalent to a second life. Generally speaking, healing treasures are used on the family ancestors or the family leader. It is impossible for a big family to use the family heritage to treat outsiders." Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door, followed by Xiao Yi's voice. "Is Sister Yun Shi here? We are here to see Sister Yun Bing and send her off for the last time." A gate of the villa opened automatically. Xiao Yi from the outer gate walked in with 4 beast girls. Cheng Bingxi and the other 2 girls came to the bedroom on the 3rd floor with ease, while Mu Qingzu looked at them with curiosity. "Grandma, please don't die. I can't bear to let you go." Cheng Bingxi squatted beside the bed, holding Yun Bing's hands with both of her hands, tears streaming down her face. Cheng Bingxi and Liu Ya also looked sad. Yun Bing looked puzzled. "What are you talking about? I won't die." "Xiao Yi, you're here without even saying hello. I haven't even dressed up yet, and my hair is so messy and ugly." Xiao Yi looked at Yun Bing, whose face was ruddy. She didn't look injured, so he asked, "Sister Yun Shi, how is Sister Yun Bing's injury? Has she been treated?" Yun Shi said, "This is a last gasp of energy. It can only last about an hour. Her body and soul are both in a state of collapse. After an hour, they will completely collapse and her consciousness will completely dissipate." Xiao Yi's face turned very ugly, and he felt endless guilt in his heart. Was he injured in the chaotic space? Yun Shi nodded. It was like a bolt from the blue. Xiao Yi was struck by lightning and staggered and almost fell. It was he who told Yun Bing the conditions for repairing the template. And Yun Bing went to the chaotic space without hesitation. If it weren't for him, Yun Bing would probably still be serving as her vice president, leisurely, healthy and safe, enjoying life. But now, he is about to die. Yun Bing was very dissatisfied. "Hey, Yun Shi, what do you mean by last gasp? Do you really want to curse me to death?" "I'm fine. Xiao Yi, don't listen to her nonsense. I will recover from my injuries in 2 days. And you, Nangong Xiao, I've told you so many times, don't call me grandma. Am I that old? Call me Sister Yun Bing. You two too, stop looking so sad and smiling for me. The one behind should be the daughter of the Mu family TSK. Xiao Yi, you are so lucky to have such a beautiful girl. Xiao Yi walked over with a sullen face, raised his hand to push away the crowd, held Yun Bing's hand, and activated control of life and death. Control of life factor and death factor. He gathered the endless life factors around him, transformed them into life substances, and then condensed them into life essence. The life essence was compressed again and again, becoming drops of colorless liquid that exuded rich vitality. A small cup appeared in his hand, and drops of rich life-giving liquid were collected into the small cup. After a few minutes, Xiao Yi was panting and had consumed too much energy. The small cup was finally filled with the rich life-giving liquid. Sister Yun Bing, it's my fault. I will try my best to save you. Xiao Yi lifted up Yun Bing's delicate body, let her sit up, and then personally fed her the colorless liquid that exuded infinite vitality. Feeling the rich vitality in it, Mu Qingzu was a little surprised. She had seen this thing before. This was the essence of life. The supreme level healing potion was extremely rare, very expensive and out of stock. Gulp, gurgle. Being supported intimately, Yun Bing's pretty face blushed, and she drank it in small sips. With an expression of enjoyment that was a little dazed after drinking it all, she still felt a little unsatisfied. It's useless. I've already used healing potions on her. Yun, she said expressionlessly, only healing treasures can cure deep-seated injuries in the body. Besides, her soul body is on the verge of collapse. Xiao Yi's face was very dark, as black as charcoal, representing his unhappy mood at the moment. Seeing his uncomfortable expression, Mu Qingzu couldn't bear it and said, Xiao Yi, my family has a supreme level of body healing treasure. I will go back and ask for one immediately. Chapter 253 Yun Bing's Wish. Mu Qingzu turned around and wanted to leave here and return to the city lord's mansion, just as she stepped out of the bedroom door. She heard Xiao Yi say, etc. Mu Qingzu paused, turned around and said, I will bring the supreme level healing treasure. Xiao Yi looked at her deeply and said, thank you. Mu Qingzu shook her head and smiled. We are a couple who have signed a contract. It is natural for us to help each other solve problems. Xiao Yi nodded heavily, yeah. At this moment, Xiao Yi's perception and cognition of Mu Qingzu changed, and he truly recognized her. Mu Qingzu is this Tsundere girl who is not only a little arrogant, a little stubborn and vain, but she is also a loyal and righteous girl who is worth practicing, fighting and growing together with. After Mu Qingzu left, Xiao Yi frowned and held Yun Bing's hand beside the bed and said, Sister Yun Bing, I'm sorry it's all my fault. But don't worry, you won't die as long as I'm here. Yun Shi had a blank expression when she heard this. She just felt that Xiao Yi was just saying comforting words and she didn't take it seriously. The same went for Cheng Bing Shi and the other two girls. Yun Bing was confused. Why did everyone say she was going to die? She just had a minor injury and would be fine in 2 days. She looked around and everyone present was looking at her with pity and sadness. Is it true that I am going to die? But how come I don't know? Yun Shi told the truth and said, Yun Bing, if you look inward with your mind, you will find that both your body and soul have been severely damaged and are on the verge of collapse. So, while there is still time, tell us what wishes you have that have not been fulfilled. No matter what your wish is, as long as we can do it, we will fulfill it for you. Yun Bing tightly grasped the fragmented crystal in her small hand, and mobilized her extremely weak spiritual consciousness to begin looking inward at herself. The physical body, internal organs, and spiritual consciousness are the foundation of cultivation. They are all as broken as withered willows and may collapse at any time. After scanning again and again, Yun Bing's face turned pale, then paler, and finally pale and bloodless. She was scared. I'm really going to die. Yun Bing panicked and was at a loss. How could this happen? How could this happen? She finally realized the seriousness of the matter. It was irreversible, and there was no point in regretting it. Yun Bing's eyes became dull, and he found it hard to accept this fact. Wow! Seeing her so desperate, Nangong Saya lay on the bed and sobbed. Cheng Bing Shi and Liu Yi's eyes turned red. Yun Shi said, Yun Bing, tell me what you want quickly, or there will be no time. Do you want to die with regrets? Yun Bing's delicate body trembled violently, and her eyes were lifeless, and she said in despair and panic, I don't want to die. I haven't touched a man yet. I haven't signed a contract yet. I can't die. Sister, I don't want to die. 2 tears fell from Yun Shi's eyes. I'm sorry, I can't save you. Yun Shi hated herself for being a stay-at-home girl. She usually stayed in her villa to practice and never tried to collect or buy any healing treasures. Even if the daughter of the Mu family brought a healing treasure for the body, it would be useless because Yun Bing's soul was also on the verge of collapse. Soul healing treasures were rarer and more precious than body healing treasures, and it was almost impossible to obtain them within time. Therefore, Yun Bing is doomed to die. Xiao Yi said with a serious expression. Sister Yun Bing, you will not die, I said. Everyone took his words as comfort and didn't take them seriously, including Yun Bing. Seeing that Yun Bing was still having trouble accepting the fact, Yunshi spoke for her. Xiao Yi. Yun Bing has an unfulfilled wish and needs your help to realize it. Xiao Yi was silent. Nan Gong Xiao stamped her feet and said anxiously, Xiao Yi. No matter what Sister Yun Bing's wish is, you must help her realize it, otherwise I will castrate you. Cheng Bingshi and Liu Yan nodded heavily and agreed. Yes, it must be realized. Yes, we can't let the Vice President leave with regrets. Xiao Yi remained silent again. Nan Gong Xiao glared at him and said, Sister Yunshi, what is Sister Yun Bing's wish? Yunshi frowned. Yun Bing is moved. Nan Gong Xiao, Cheng Bingshi, Liu Ya, Xiao Yi were confused. Yun Bing's lifeless eyes regained a glimmer of light, her pretty face turned red, and she became a little shy. Yunshi continued. After being single for 1500 years, Yun Bing fell in love with a man for the first time and wanted to sign a contract with him to become husband and wife. Yun Bing covered her face with her hands. Sister, please stop talking it's so embarrassing. Yunshi shook her head. No, I'm going to tell you. Everyone turned their eyes to Xiao Yi and realized what Yunshi was going to say next. As everyone expected, Yunshi gritted her teeth and said, Xiao Yi, Yun Bing is attracted to you. What are your feelings? Have you ever developed romantic feelings for Yun Bing? Yun Bing became nervous and her eyes were a little evasive, but she looked at Xiao Yi from time to time, wanting to know what he felt. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, but I only regard Sister Yun Bing as my mentor. I don't have any romantic feelings for her at all. The light in Yun Bing's beautiful eyes dimmed again, revealing a lifeless paleness and deep despair. Yunshi sighed. Nan Gong Xiao punched Xiao Yi in frustration and said angrily, Asshole, do you know how to speak? Sister Yun Bing is almost gone, there isn't much time left. It would be nice to say something comforting so that Sister Yun Bing can leave with satisfaction. And I think you're lying. Don't think I don't know. When Grandma first came to Mangyu on Base City, you often stared at her and drooled at her. Xiao Yi's face turned red. He felt drawn. Which man in the world doesn't like to look at beautiful women? He just looked at her a few more times at that time, that was all. Yunshi snorted coldly. Yun Bing's eyes were lifeless and he showed no emotion. As if he was truly gone. Xiao Yi sighed and said helplessly, Well, actually I am an LSB. And I have always coveted Sister Yun Bing's body. Such words made his old face blush. If he wasn't forced, he would never say them even if he was beaten to death. Nan Gong Xiao, Cheng Bingshi, Liu Yai and she were stunned. Explosion. Yun Bing's beautiful eyes regained their luster, and her pretty face blushed as she said, Xiao Yi, you are just saying words of comfort. Right? I also like to hear words of comfort. Come on, say a few more words to me and make me happy. Xiao Yi's face turned dark and he shook his head violently. He would not say anything more even if you killed him. At this time, there was a knock on the door, and Mu Qingzu and a silver-haired old man walked in. This is my Mu family's ancestor. He agreed to take out a supreme-level healing treasure to treat Sister Yun Bing. Mu Qingzu introduced. The ancestor of the Mu family, the living ancestor of the Holy Realm. Everyone present greeted him respectfully. The silver-haired old man responded one by one, and patted Xiao Yi on the shoulder and said with a smile, For you, my little girl threatened me with her life to give me a healing treasure. You must not treat her badly in the future. He raised his hand, and a wooden heart emitting a deep green glow appeared above his palm. Xiao Yi showed gratitude. Don't worry, ancestor, as long as I am here, I will not let Zuer suffer any grievances. Mu Qingzu smiled. The silver-haired old man nodded, approached Yun Bing, put his hand on her palm to check it, his face darkened, and said, Great-great-great-great-granddaughter, great-great-great-grandson-in-law, this man's injuries are too serious, and I can't cure him with my healing treasure alone. I can restore her body to normal, but I can't do anything about the injuries to her soul. I don't have any soul healing treasure either. So, do you think you still need treatment? Chapter 254, Conclusion of a Contract. Mu Qingzu looked at Xiao Yi. It was up to him to decide whether to use this body healing treasure. Xiao Yi nodded. Grandfather, please help Sister Yun Bing. As long as Yun Bing's body returns to normal, everything will be fine. Because, a few days ago, he completed a system task and obtained a rule-level treasure soul captivating pearl. Detailed function. Introduction of soul catching beads. 1. Ingestion function. Enforceably ingest the wandering soul, spirit, and spiritual body. 2. Recovery function. The soul capture orb contains a rule-level soul power space that can nourish the soul and has a strong recovery effect on the soul body, spirit body and mind body. 3. Analysis function. The soul capture ward has the function of analyzing the spirit, soul, and spirit body. It can analyze and extract the memory, secret method, cultivation experience, etc. of the spirit, soul, and spirit body. The soul capturing bead contains a rule-level soul power space, which has a powerful restorative effect on the soul, that is, the soul body. So, when he said just now that Yun Bing would not die, it was not just words of comfort, but the truth. The silver-haired old man smiled. Very good. I was right about you. You are just like my great-great-great-great-granddaughter, a person who values friendship and loyalty. With a snap, the silver-haired old man injected the healing treasure, emitting a dark green glow into Yunbing's body. Relax your body, concentrate your mind, and guide the medicine to spread throughout your body through your blood. He gave instructions vocally. Yunbing did as he was told, closing his eyes and concentrating on guiding the medicinal liquid. A healing treasure Muxin turned into liquid and was injected into her heart. From the heart, it rode on the blood and spread to her limbs and bones. A faint green light bloomed on her body, torso, limbs, head and neck. They all began to shine brightly. The billions of damaged cells in Yunbing's body healed quickly, and the comfortable pleasure almost made her moan. 10 minutes later, Yunbing's body completely recovered and returned to perfect condition. She has a rosy complexion and fair and delicate skin. There was a foul smell coming from her. The silver-haired old man clapped his hands and said, "Prepare for your funeral. Don't be fooled by appearances." After saying that, he flashed away. There was no expression of joy on the faces of the people. They still looked at him with a look of sadness and pity. Yunbing opened his eyes and frowned. "It stinks." There was a thin layer of black mud on her skin. "These are the blood stasis and impurities in your body. The healing treasure is equivalent to refreshing and reshaping your body." "Yun," she said. Yunbing propped up the bed with his hands, then jumped up and landed on the ground, smiling. "I'm fine." She thought about taking a shower, but after taking 2 steps, she felt dizzy and collapsed. Xiao Yi quickly picked her up in his arms and put her steadily back on the bed. Yunbing was anxious. "Do I have to die today? I have used up all the healing treasures." Yun Shi grabbed her hand, used his divine sense to sense her condition, and said expressionlessly, "The soul body is still on the verge of collapse, but the body has recovered perfectly, giving the soul body a little breathing space. Yunbing, you can live a few more hours, that's a good thing." Nan Gongxia, Cheng Bingxi, Liu Yamyu and King Zhu showed joy on their faces. It would be great if they could live a few more hours. Xiao Yi pondered for a moment, and prepared to take out the soul-catching bead to show Yanxi, and let her put Yunbing's soul body into the rule-level soul power space. But at this moment, Yunbing's face turned fierce and he said, "Die if you want to. But before you die, Xiao Yi, can you fulfill one wish of mine?" Xiao Yi paused. "What's your wish?" Yunbing looked determined. "I want to sign a contract with you." Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he shook his head, not daring to look at her. "No. You are my mentor." Yunbing bit her red lips with her white teeth, and a look of grievance appeared in her beautiful eyes. "But I covet your body and want to sign a contract with you. Xiao Yi, this is just my one wish, can't you satisfy me?" Her words were a bit explosive, and Xiao Yi felt his scalp tingling. If Yunbing was really going to die, he would definitely fulfill Yunbing's wish, but the problem was, she can't die. If Xiao Yi really agrees to her, won't there be one more beast girl in the future? Although this beast girl has a hot body, curvy figure, and a stunning face, she is a top-notch queen who is so mature that she seems like she will come if you bite her. She is the goddess of Kunpeng College, the dream goddess admired by countless students, and the supreme Kunpeng, one of the 10 most respected supreme beings in the Magic City. But Yunbing is his mentor. Looking at the silent Xiao Yi, Yunbing's eyes turned red, tears filled her eyes, and she snorted. "You despise me." Xiao Yi said anxiously. "I didn't. I just..." He was about to say that he had a way to cure her soul that was about to collapse, but Nan Gongxia beside him interrupted and said indignantly, "Xiao Yi, how can you speak? Do you know how to speak? As your second wife, I order you to quickly agree to Sister Yunbing and sign a contract with her." Cheng Bingxi also spoke up. "That's right, hurry up." Liu Yil and Mu Qingzu also nodded in agreement. The corner of Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. "Shit, are you serious?" Then she made up her mind that if Yunbing did not fulfill her wish during her lifetime, she would personally kill Xiao Yi after Yunbing's death and hold a ghost marriage to fulfill her wish. Of course, she would let Xiao Yi leave without pain, otherwise Yunbing would probably blame herself for being too cruel after his death. Xiao Yi asked, "Sister Yunxi, do you think it's really okay for me to sign a contract with Sister Yunbing?" Yunxi said coldly, "No problem." Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. "Saya, Bingxi. Luya, do you think it's okay?" The 3 women said there was no problem. Xiao Yi looked at Mu Qingzu. "What about you? If there was another beast girl by my side, wouldn't you feel wronged?" Mu Qingzu was stunned and shook her head. "No." Xiao Yi sighed. "Okay, since everyone thinks it's okay, then I will reluctantly agree." Xiao Yi certainly wanted to take such a perfect beast girl as his own. All the boys in the college are greedy for Yunbing's body, and he is no exception. Nan Gongxia said anxiously, "Then hurry up and sign the contract quickly, otherwise there will be no time." Yunbing was overjoyed and hummed. "I have already obtained the spaced Iprul fragment crystals, promise." She put the two fragments of crystal in her hand into Xiao Yi's hand, and the joy on her pretty face could not be concealed. Xiao Yi put the fragmented crystal aside and said, "Don't worry about this for now, the most urgent thing is to save you completely." Buzz buzz buzz. A fist-sized bead emitting a dim glow appeared in his hand. This is a rule-level soul-sucking bead. It contains a rule-level soul power space, which has a strong recovery function for weak souls. Chapter 255 Yunbing, I'm alive. With this, there shouldn't be any problem restoring Sister Yunbing's soul. So, when I said just now that you won't die, it wasn't just a consolation, a rule-level treasure. Everyone was shocked when they heard this, and looked at Xiao Yi in shock. You actually have a rule-level treasure. A rule-level treasure. Rarer than any saint in the world. Yunshi flashed forward, breathing heavily, and asked in a trembling voice, "Xiao Yi, can I see this treasure?" This fist-sized bead is related to Yunbing's life and death, and she cares about it very much. Xiao Yi casually threw the soul capture orb to Yunshi, who hurriedly caught it in a panic. She glared at him and said, "What if it breaks if you throw it like this? Seriously?" Then, she felt the aura of the soul-captivating orb, which emitted dark light that made her feel eerie. When Yunshi wanted to use his spiritual sense to probe into it and check whether there was a rule-level soul power space inside. With a bang, her spiritual thoughts were bounced back. After several attempts, I failed to get in. Yunshi panicked, "This thing is very offensive to me, I can't even watch it." Xiao Yi scratched his head awkwardly, "I'm sorry, I haven't unlocked the restriction yet, so you can't check it." Yunshi's face darkened. Nan Gong Sayo. Teng Bing Shi. Yunbing rolled her eyes at him. Then Xiao Yi removed the restriction, allowing Yunshi to check freely. Yunshi's spiritual sense probed into it, and his vision suddenly became clear. The space is big, very big. Very big. The soul power is thick, extremely thick, almost reaching the point of substance. Moreover, this soul power space is also filled with rich rule power, Taurine power, rule power related to the soul, spirit, and spiritual body, and Taurine power. She gasped. This is a rule-level treasure. It is definitely a rule-level treasure. Everyone looked at her curiously and nervously, quietly waiting for her test results. If it is true as Xiao Yi said, this is really a rule-level treasure, then Yunbing does not have to die and can be completely saved. Yunbing couldn't help it. Her pretty face was very nervous, her palms were sweating, and she asked, "Sister, how is it?" It's not that everyone didn't believe Xiao Yi's words, but this rule-level treasure is almost extinct and has never appeared in the secular world. Under the gaze of everyone, Yunshi withdrew his divine thoughts, with a look of great joy on his face. Xiao Yi didn't lie, this must be a rule-level treasure that can revive Yunbing's soul. Everyone present was delighted. Yunbing felt very pleasantly surprised. The despair in his heart quickly disappeared, and was replaced by strong hope. "I'm alive. I don't have to die. Xiao Yi. Thank you." In ecstasy, Yunbing pounced towards Xiao Yi and kissed him on the face, leaving a bright red lip mark. Xiao Yi touched his angular cheek and thought to himself, "You took advantage of me, I will take it back in the future." Suddenly he sniffed and a foul smell rose from Yunbing. Xiao Yi frowned and said, "Sister Yunbing, you should wash up." Yunbing cried out, her pretty face showing embarrassment, and said, "Sister, help me wash up quickly, I stink too much." She was about to die just now, so she put such trivial matters aside and ignored them, but now that she is alive and doesn't have to die, she is very concerned about her own cleanliness. Yunshi chuckled and put his hand on Yunbing's proud chest. A gentle force of space swirled around Yunbing's skin all over his body. After a while, all the dirt on Yunbing's body was cleaned away, including her clothes, which were swept away by the power of space. A curvy figure appeared in everyone's sight. White, big and upturned. Everyone was stunned. Yunbing was also stunned, and quickly got into bed, revealing only her angry head, her face flushed with shame, and she said angrily, "Yunshi, are you sick? Everyone is watching, my innocence is gone." Yunshi's mouth twitched, and she was speechless. The silver-haired old man had already left, and only the two sisters, Xiao Yi and his four-beast mothers, were present. Apart from Xiao Yi, who was a man, there were only women present. "You are about to become Xiao Yi's beast girl, so what if Xiao Yi sees you?" Wu Qingzu's face was full of envy. Vice President Yunbing's figure was her lifelong pursuit. She couldn't help but imagine that Xiao Yi would definitely be jealous if she had such a figure. However, this figure is still inferior to that of Ding Yanxi. Therefore, Wu Qingzu wanted to consult Ding Yan, she privately after this incident. Xiao Yi spoke up to ease the atmosphere and said, I didn't see anything. Yunbing muttered quietly, "It's okay for you to see me. I'm just not used to being seen naked by other women." Xiao Yi. Yanxi. The fourth girl. "Okay, let's solve the problem first. Don't be happy too soon, your soul body is on the verge of collapse." Yunshi's expression was serious. Nan Gong Sayo asked, "Do you need us to step aside?" Xiao Yi said, you guys go to the living room first, Sister Yun Shi and I will stay here. Nan Gong Xiao nodded, took Cheng Bingshi, Liu Yanyu and King Zhu out of the bedroom, closed the door, and waited in the living room. Only Xiao Yi, Yun Bing and Yun Shi were left at the scene. Xiao Yi explained. The soul power space is a special space, the physical body cannot enter it, only the soul body can enter it, therefore we only need to move Sister Yun Bing's soul body into the soul power space. In the soul power space, Sister Yun Bing's soul body will definitely be out of danger and return to normal. Yun Shi nodded. Yeah, I'll do as you say. The rule level treasure has already recognized Xiao Yi as its master with a thought. A fist-sized soul capturing bead floated above Yun Bing, projecting an umbrella-shaped dark light that illuminated the bed. Xiao Yi frowned. This quilt is a bit of a hindrance. Yun Bing didn't even think about it. She moved her little hand and directly lifted the quilt, exposing her delicate body to the air. Yun Shi looked strange. A rule level treasure would be blocked by a small quilt? Could it be that you, Xiao Yi, wanted to see it? Yun Bing lay upright, blushing and said, go ahead, Xiao Yi. I'm ready. She looked like she was ready to be picked. Xiao Yi nodded, I'm on it. Just then, Yun Shi spoke up, wait. Yun Bing and Xiao Yi looked over in confusion. Yun Shi thought of something, and said solemnly, Xiao Yi, Yun Bing doesn't have to die now. After resuscitating her, will you still sign a contract with her? Yun Bing also became nervous when he heard this. Xiao Yi hesitated. This. Yun Shi pretended to look ruthless. If we don't sign a contract, then there's no need to save him. Just let Yun Bing go. Xiao Yi and Yun Bing were stunned. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he said, since I have agreed, whether Sister Yun Bing is alive or not, I will sign a contract with her. Yun Shi smiled. Very good, I lied to you just now because I wanted to test your intentions. Xiao Yi's face darkened. Yun Bing was trying not to smile. Then, under Xiao Yi's control, the dark light emitted by the soul capture orb became more intense, and a gentle force descended upon Yun Bing, trying to separate the soul body and move it into the soul power space. Yun Bing frowned, her smile disappeared, and her pretty face was full of pain. But this pain only lasts for a moment. Swish, the dark light disappeared and the soul capturing bead returned to Xiao Yi's hand. Done. He laughed. Chapter 256, Escape from Danger, Soul Body Mutates. Yun Shi checked and found that Yun Bing's body had become an empty shell, and his soul, or spirit body was gone. Inside the soul capturing bead, in the soul power space of the rule level treasure, Yun Bing's soul body is exactly the same as his physical body, both are naked. Just a little more illusory. Even though the soul-grabbing bead's force was very gentle, the strange feeling of being separated from the body directly caused Yun Bing's soul to collapse. If it were in the outside world, this collapse would be over in a few seconds and the soul would completely dissipate. But in the rule-level soul power space, the rich and high-level soul power gathered directly towards Yun Bing's soul body, nourishing and repairing her continuously. Crashing and repairing happened simultaneously. Painful and happy. Yun Bing's strong will could not withstand such torture and he fell into a deep sleep. Xiao Yi and Yun Shi, who were checking the situation, looked solemn. Oops. After Yun Bing fell asleep, the speed at which his soul body collapsed was much faster than the speed at which it was repaired. If this continues, the pill will be destroyed. Xiao Yi, try to wake up Yun Bing. Xiao Yi concentrated his mind and shouted in the soul power space, Sister Yun Bing, wake up. Hey, you can't die. If you die, who will I sign a contract with? Don't you like to hear it? I don't care about my face anymore. I want your body. You are not allowed to sleep. Yun Shi's face darkened. She stretched out her hand to pinch the soft flesh on his waist and made a 360-degree rotation, gritting her teeth and saying, you are still teasing her at this time. As if I don't exist? She looks exactly like Yun Bing when Xiao Yi said this. Wasn't it just like he was greedy for her body and teasing her? Xiao Yi gasped in pain and said helplessly, Sister Yun Shi, how about you come? She can't hear me if I call her like this. Yun Shi pondered for a moment, probed into his spiritual thoughts, and used mental persuades. The mental persuades affected the soul body, causing the soul body to sway twice, trying to shake the soul body to wake up Yun Bing. But this shaking not only failed to wake him up, but also made the soul body collapse even faster. Yun Shi stood there in a daze, at a loss as to what to do. She said in panic, oh no, I killed Yun Bing. Yun Bing is definitely going to die this time. The two were so scared that they broke out in a cold sweat. Xiao Yi frowned, his brain working rapidly. A few milliseconds later his eyes lit up, and he said, I have an idea. Yun Shi said anxiously, whatever method is fine, we'll try it out. Xiao Yi nodded, and said to the soul capture orb in front of her, receive the command, and do your best to save this soul body. The soul capture orb is a treasure of the rule level after all, and it has its own set of operating rules. Xiao Yi is not familiar with it and cannot use its functions skillfully, but he can make it operate on his own. Buzz buzz buzz. The soul-capturing bead received the command and automatically floated up. In the rule-level soul power space within it, all the soul-like rule-based force and rhythm power hidden beneath the surface floated to the surface and gathered towards Yun Bing's soul body. It was only soul power that repaired Yun Bing's soul body just now. But now, it is the ultimate advanced version of soul power, the power of Tao Rhyme and the power of rules. In a flash, Yun Bing's soul body received extremely high nourishment in the blink of an eye, and in an instant it escaped from the collapsed state and entered a weak state. Entering a weak state means that Yun Bing has escaped from the life and death crisis and entered the recovery stage. Yun Shi patted his proudly erect chest, breathed a sigh of relief, and said with a smile, Yun Bing is alive again. What? But at this time Xiaoyi found something wrong. Sister Yunshi, something went wrong. The smile on Yunshi's face froze, and she hurried to check the situation. In the soul power space, Yun Bing's soul body was still in a deep sleep under the cleansing of the supreme power of soul rules. The weak soul body gradually changed from a transparent state to a golden soul body. This is a mutation. Xiaoyi cursed. This rule-level treasure has no intelligence and can only execute instructions mechanically. It's really garbage. I asked it to revive Sister Yun Bing, but it saved her too much, causing her soul to mutate. Soul-catching bead, stop immediately. Yunshi pressed Xiaoyi's shoulder and said calmly, don't worry. Yun Bing's soul body was forced to merge with the soul-like rule attributes. It seems to be an extraordinary attribute. This is a good mutation and there is no need to stop it. Xiaoyi was stunned and had to withdraw the order to stop. Now the golden soul body is still in a weak state and needs time to recover. Yun Shi estimated, this soul power space can restore the soul and has rich soul power, but it is not a soul-type healing treasure. It takes a long time for the soul body to passively and completely heal the soul trauma. At this rate it will take about 10 years to restore it to perfect condition. Yun Shi smiled. No worries on her pretty face, and said happily, 10 years is a short time, it passed quickly. This result is very good. In 10 years, you will be able to sign a contract. Yun Bing's soul body had only escaped the state of collapse and was no longer in life and death crisis. But the serious injuries to her soul body remained. Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. 10 years? 10 years is 10,365 days. I don't know where he has been at any time. 10 years is a short time for Yunshi, but it is fatal for him. He can't afford to wait for such a long time. Sister Yunshi, is there no news about the soul healing treasure? He asked. Yunshi rolled her eyes at him and said, you can't even wait for such a short time? Xiaoyi's face turned embarrassed. Yunshi shook her head, and found that his eyes were fixed on the naked body of Yun Bing on the bed. There was admiration in his eyes, as if he was looking at a work of art, without a trace of filth. Yunshi raised her hand and hurriedly covered the quilts. He glared at him and said, leave the soul capture orb behind. I will take care of Yun Bing's body and soul. You can leave now. Xiaoyi was speechless. He threw the soul capturing bead to her casually and walked out of the bedroom. He completely trusted Yun Shi and didn't have to worry that Yun Shi would steal the treasure. Yun Shi carefully caught the soul capture orb and said dissatisfied, lie, really? She put away the soul catching bead, and then set up 3 layers of quasi-saint level space barriers around Yun Bing's body, inside and out, to prevent outsiders from approaching. Yun Shi walked out of the living room with a relaxed look on her face, but when she saw the girls surrounding Xiaoyi, a bad premonition arose in her heart. Within just 1 month of entering school, this guy had already contracted 2 new beast girls, Liu Yanyu and King Zhu. If he waits 10 years, how many new beast girls will he contract? By that time, he would probably have forgotten Yun Bing long ago, and forgotten that there was such a vice president waiting for him to sign a contract. Thinking of this, Yun Shi's pretty face suddenly turned cold and a chill burst out of her body. This bastard is really good at hooking up with beast girls, especially high-quality beast girls. Xiaoyi shuddered and felt as if his body had fallen into an ice cellar that had existed for thousands of years. Nangong Saya, Cheng Bingshi, Liu Yanyu, and King Zhu didn't feel anything. Nangong Sayao stepped forward and asked, Sister Yun Shi, is Sister Yun Bing really out of danger? Yun Bing is fine. Yun Shi said, Xiaoyi, I have some information about a soul healing treasure. Do you want to learn more about it? Chapter 257, The Bronze Palace of Ancient Times. Nangong Sayao and the others were overjoyed, and sincerely felt fortunate and happy for Yun Bing. Xiaoyi replied, of course I want to know. I can't wait any longer. I wish Sister Yun Bing could treat me right away. The coldness in Yun Shi's body disappeared, and a smile appeared on her pretty face. She didn't know whether Xiaoyi would really forget Yun Bing 10 years later, but now Xiaoyi cared about Yun Bing very much, even more than the 4 beast girls beside him. She snapped her fingers and said, I just happen to know where I can get a soul healing treasure. Jinling Base City is the center of the Jianghan region, and has many medical families with thousands of years of heritage. It is rumored that in ancient times, Jinling Base City had an imperial medical family, but now they have all turned to dust. Tomorrow, next to the Jinling Base City, a bronze palace will be opened. and anyone at the venerable level will be able to enter. The Bronze Palace was left behind by an imperial medical family in ancient times. Lord Yi of Jinling City told me personally that it definitely contains a soul-healing treasure. This was the news that City Lord Yi from Jinling Base City told her after she issued the bounty. Tomorrow? A bronze temple that can be traced back to the ancient times? Mu Qingzu was shocked. The ancient times were more than 20,000 years ago. Even if there were soul-healing treasures in the bronze temple, they would have decayed into powder after such a long time. Xiao Yi frowned. Sister Yunqi, are you sure that City Lord Yi's news is true? Yunqi opened the communicator and a virtual screen appeared, on which Itai's figure appeared. This is a video message. Itai clasped his fists and said, Supreme Kung Peng, if you need a soul-healing treasure, I can provide you with some information tomorrow. In the Bronze Palace it was left behind by an imperial medical family. I can be 100% sure that there is a soul-healing treasure inside. He explained the origin of the Bronze Temple and that it would be opened tomorrow. He was so confident that it was easy for people to believe that there must be soul-healing treasures inside. After watching, Xiao Yi's doubts disappeared, and he pondered. City Lord Yi said at the end, there is another one inside. If we analyze this carefully, the City Lord Yi may have obtained one, or even several soul-type healing treasures from it. Otherwise he would not say such a thing with such certainty. Mu Qingzu nodded. Perhaps the healing treasure was stored in a box made of some special material, able to resist the decay of time and preserved perfectly to this day. Your analysis is correct, so what's your opinion? Yunqi asked with narrowed eyes. Xiao Yi smiled and said, since there are some there, of course I have to try and get one. Nangong Xiao was confused and asked. Wait. Grandma, oh no, isn't Sister Yunbing fine? Why does she need a soul-healing treasure? Cheng Bingxi and Luya were also puzzled. Yunqi explained, Yunbing is only out of danger, but her soul is still very weak and the serious injuries on her soul are still there and she doesn't have a healing treasure. She will sleep for at least 10 years before she can recover to normal. Nangong Xiao. Cheng Bingxi and Luya suddenly realized that this was the case. Nangong Xiao tilted her head and asked, is there a limit number of people who can enter the Bronze Hall? Who will Xiao Yi go with tomorrow? There are so many beast girls, for in total, should we go with all of them? Yunqi frowned and said, I will contact City Lord Yi later to get more details. I will tell you the result in the evening and let you decide who will go. Xiao Yi and others nodded, indicating that there was no problem. It is now around 8:30 in the morning, and Yunqi has enough time to find out. Then, Xiao Yi and the others planned to go back, but Mu Qingzu seemed to have taken root and refused to leave. Xiao Yi asked her if she had anything else to do, and she shook her head and nodded. Obviously not wanting to tell Xiao Yi what it was, Xiao Yi glanced at the flat airport, his eyes revealed a meaningful look, and smiled. Okay, let's go back first. The group of people left. Yunqi smiled and said, Daughter of the Mu family, do you have anything else to do? Yunqi had a very good impression of Mu Qingzu. If Mu Qingzu hadn't gone back to ask the Mu family for help, Yunbing's body would have definitely collapsed after the last stage of recovery. It is equivalent to Mu Qingzu saving Yunbing once. Mu Qingzu's pretty face turned red, and she lowered her head and stammered. Dean, I want to ask you something. Yunqi smiled and asked, which one? There's no one else here, just the two of you. Don't be shy, just say it. Mu Qingzu pointed to her airport and said in embarrassment, Dean, I want to ask how this thing can become as majestic and tall as you. This. Yunqi widened her beautiful eyes. She was actually asking this. Please ask the Dean to help Qingzu solve her doubts. Qingzu will be very grateful, thank you. Mu Qingzu put away her arrogance and said frankly. Yunqi looked down and realized that she could see her toes before, but in the past few days she couldn't even see her toes. Faced with this kind of question, she was very confused and said, This is natural. It has something to do with family genes. For example, Yunbing is just like me. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Seeing Yunqi's sincere words and eyes, Mu Qingzu felt very disappointed. Oh, thank you for your answer, Dean. In that case, I will go back first. Mu Qingzu walked towards the door feeling very lonely. Yunqi suddenly thought of something and said, Wait. Mu Qingzu paused and turned around, her pretty face full of bitterness and helplessness. What's wrong, Dean? Yunqi smiled and said, I can't answer your question, but I have a way to fulfill your wish. Mu Qingzu was overjoyed. What's the solution? You can try to let Xiao Yi give you a massage, or drink Xiao Yi's golden blood. Maybe you can fulfill your wish. Yunqi was a little embarrassed when he talked about drinking golden blood. Saying this meant that she admitted that she had drunk golden blood. Mu Qingzu was stunned. It was actually related to Xiao Yi. Yunqi came up to her, patted her shoulder, and said with a smile, Follow my two methods. You will definitely have a figure like mine. After Mu Qingzu's questioning, Yunqi finally realized why her figure had become even more impressive recently, so she told Mu Qingzu the method as soon as possible. Looking at that proud and perky figure, Mu Qingzu was very envious and nodded. Yeah, I'll go find Xiao Yi now. Although she said so, she was very unhappy in her heart that bastard Xiao Yi asked her to ask Ding Yanxi for advice, but Ding Yanxi ended up pushing the blame onto Xiao Yi. After all, it was that bastard Xiao Yi who was too abominable. He had a way but he didn't tell me and kept laughing at me. Mu Qingzu left indignantly, planning to go back and settle the score with Xiao Yi. Chapter 258 Imperial Medical Inheritance. Yunxi contacted Yi Tai, the lord of Jinling City. On the video call, Yi Tai's burly figure appeared on the virtual screen, but there was bitterness on his tough face, and he was obviously troubled by some problem. Supreme Kunpeng, you want to ask about the Bronze Palace, right? Yunxi nodded. Yes, may I ask if there is a limit on the number of people who can enter the Bronze Hall? Yi Tai, there is no limit on the number of places. But there are conditions for entering. As long as the conditions are met, no matter how many people Kunpeng Supreme has, they can enter. Yunxi, please tell me, City Lord Yi, what are the conditions? Yi Tai replied, the Bronze Hall is the core heritage left by the imperial medical family in ancient times. It is a heritage trial hall. The deepest part of the hall contains the medical heritage of the imperial medical family. Yunxi was surprised. I understand the Bronze Palace was specially built by the imperial medical family to prevent the inheritance from being cut off. Yi Tai nodded. Yes, there is a qualification test at the entrance of the Bronze Hall. As long as you have passed the medical qualification, that is, a wood attribute talent, light attribute talent, life attribute talent, life attribute talent, etc., you can enter. Yunxi was overjoyed. If she remembered correctly, several of Xiao Yi's beast girls had similar attributes and qualifications. Thank you, City Lord Yi, for telling me, she thanked. Yi Tai's originally bitter face was filled with joy. You're welcome. I also want to solve my daughter's physical problem. Does Supreme Kunpeng have a candidate who meets the conditions? The conditions are very harsh. I spend a lot of energy searching every year. But there are only a few candidates who can enter the list and there is no one who can pass the trial and obtain the inheritance. Yunxi smiled and said, yes, and there is more than one. Yi Tai was very happy. Supreme Kunpeng, I will wait for you at the Jinling City Lord's mansion. The deadline is 12 noon tomorrow. So you can arrive before then. After hanging up the phone, Yunxi sighed. Yi Tai was willing to tell her this secret news in order to save his daughter. He probably hoped that a medical genius would pass the trial of the Bronze Palace, inherit the imperial medical family, and then solve his daughter's physical problems. Yunxi also knew a little about Yiziar's physique. It was a very scary and troublesome physique that could cause disaster. The other side. Villa No, 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area. Xiao Yi was testing the opinions of the 3 beast girls, and said, you guys have to think about it carefully. If we go to the Bronze Palace to look for soul healing treasures, what if we really find them and Sister Yunbing recovers completely? Before Sister Yunbing fell asleep, I promised him that I would sign a contract with her. What should I do if she comes to see me after she wakes up? Chengbing, she was silent, and Liuya also frowned. The agreement was made when Yunbing was about to die. But now that Yunbing doesn't have to die anymore, does it still count? Nan Gong Xiao became excited and said, then just sign a contract with her. Once you agree to something, you can't go back on your word. Hey, when the time comes, Sister Yunbing will have to call me second madam. She's younger than me. Chengbing, she said, we must go to the Bronze Palace. Liu Yan nodded. Xiao Yi said, after Sister Yunbing wakes up, let's see what she thinks. I also think that since I have promised, I can't break my promise. At this moment, there was a bang and the door of the villa was violently opened. A girl with long black hair and a murderous aura came in. Mu Qingzu rushed in murderously, grabbed Xiao Yi by the collar, and snorted. Xiao Yi, you dare to play tricks on me, I'm going to beat you up. Xiao Yi was calm and said with a smile, okay, it's just a fight, no matter how many times we fight. But before we fight, can you tell me how Xiao Yi played tricks on you? Chengbing, she and the other 2 girls were all confused and had no idea what was going on. Mu Qingzu said angrily, you clearly have a solution to that problem. But you asked me to consult Ding Yanxiu, Ray beating around the bush. Aren't you just trying to make fun of me? Nan Gong Xiao blinked her eyes in a silly way. That, what's this and that? Xiao Yi also asked, yes. Please tell me clearly, which one is it? Mu Qingzu looked around. Everyone present was looking at her curiously. Her pretty face suddenly turned red and she stamped her feet and said, it's that one anyway. She loosened her collar and went upstairs with dissatisfaction, intending to take a shower. Chengbing, she said meaningfully, Xiao Yi, since you have accepted her as your beast girl, you can't treat her with the same attitude as before. Don't forget that she has paid a lot for you, such as the supreme level healing treasure. Nan Gong Xiao nodded. Yeah, why are you still standing there? Go and comfort her. Liu Ya pushed Xiao Yi and said, go, hurry up, or we will break all 3 of your legs. Xiao Yi had a dark face and walked up to the 3rd floor under the gaze of the 3 people. At this time, Mu Qingzu was taking a bath, but she looked at the half-open but not locked door and said angrily, "What a bastard." Before he got it, he shamelessly barged in and said he was not interested, but now that he has it, he doesn't even pretend to be interested and just ignores it. Xiao Yi was outside the door, waiting quietly, intending to coax her after she finished. Not forcing your way in is a sign of respect for her. But Xiao Yi waited for more than 10 minutes and Mu Qingzu still didn't come out, so he shouted, "Arrogant girl. Are you ready? I have something to tell you. My legs are numb from standing so long. If you don't come out, I'll go in." "He's waiting for me outside the door?" Mu Qingzu was surprised that he didn't just barge in. "Have you changed your temperament? You're going to be in a hurry. I'll just go slower," Mu Qingzu snorted coldly. But she was dumbfounded by the next scene. No matter how long she stayed, Xiao Yi was always waiting outside the door and had no intention of breaking in. Mu Qingzu's eyes suddenly turned red. And she said a grief lie, "He really despises me. He despises me because I'm too young and he's not interested in me anymore." She no longer had the heart to compete. And she dressed herself up in despair, then walked out with a cold face and passed by Xiao Yi. He snorted coldly as he passed by. "You hypocrite, I hate you." Looking at her extremely dissatisfied expression and words, Xiao Yi scratched his head. Puzzled. "Are you unhappy that I didn't break in? What kind of brain circuit is this?" But what she meant was that she wanted me to be indecent. Xiao Yi chased after her and kicked her drum before she could react. He grabbed her waist, pouted and pushed towards her. "Ah!" Mu Qingzu widened her eyes in disbelief. She was kissed forcibly. A few minutes later, Mu Qingzu collapsed in Xiao Yi's arms, repeatedly hitting his shoulders with her hands, and said, "Have you kissed enough?" Xiao Yi replied, "Not enough. No matter how many times it is not enough." Mu Qingzu's dissatisfaction disappeared in an instant. A look of joy appeared on her face, and she thought to herself, "He is still interested in me." 10 minutes later, the two of them sat in the bedroom calmly. Looking at her pretty face with joy, Xiao Yi complained, "Women don't love men who are not bad, so it is better for him to be a little bad." Mu Qingzu lay down and said, "Give me a massage quickly." Quickly, like Sister Yun she did. Chapter 259, Mu Qingzu's longing to grow up. Like Sister Yun she. Xiao Yi was stunned massaging the acupuncture points of Dinyan. She was to solve the negative effects caused by physical defects, that is, template defects. But Mu Qingzu's template defects did not cause physical defects. The flaw in her template is that a Holy Spirit from ancient times resides in the template, but now the Holy Spirit has left. Xiao Yi frowned and asked, "Qingzu, do you think that the reason why Sister Yun she has such a great figure is because of my massage?" Mu Qingzu glared at him. "Do you finally dare to admit it?" Xiao Yi's face turned awkward. "Who told you?" "This is what Sister Yun she told me in person." Mu Qingzu said dissatisfied lie. "You clearly have a way to help me solve it, but you asked me to go find Sister Yun Shi, and Sister Yun Shi asked me to come find you. In the final analysis, you are just teasing me and trying to laugh at me. If you dare to play tricks on me in the future, I will beat you once. I don't think I can beat you, so I will ask my ancestors to beat you." Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he scratched his head in thought. "Qingzu, I tell you the truth. My massage technique is for the physical defects caused by template defects, and it can't solve your airport problem. What else did Sister Yun Shi say to you?" Mu Qingzu raised her head and replied, "She seemed to have told me that eating your golden blood can make me grow taller. But how is that possible? I believe that massage can help me grow taller, but blood is impossible. Your blood is also human blood, everyone has it. It's not a magic pill besides, it smells fishy and stinky. I can't drink it." Xiao Yi widened his eyes in shock when he heard that. Wow, Sister Yun she asked him for golden blood, and she really wanted to drink it. So, the rosy lip print on the mouth of the urinal last time was real, it was Sister Yun Shi's. Seeing him standing there, Mu Qingzu glared at him and said, "Are you going to give me a massage or not? You're happy to give Sister Yun Shi a massage, but you despise giving me a massage. Sure enough, you still dislike me for being too small, only half an A." Xiao Yi pondered for a moment and said seriously, "Qingzu, massage is useless, drinking golden blood is useful." He analyzed it and found that Liu Yu and Yun Bing did not see any changes in their figures after giving them massages, but Yun Shi, who drank the golden blood, had an abnormal change in her figure. Therefore, it was easy for Xiao Yi to infer that Sister Yun Shi's body shape changes during this period were caused by drinking the golden blood. Mu Qingzu was startled, her mouth opened into an O shape in surprise. She jumped up and landed on the ground, then came over to sniff Xiao Yi, her beautiful eyes sizing him up curiously, and said, "You look no different from me, except for the fact that you have a penis." Xiao Yi's face turned dark. How could it be? "If you wear your shirt inside out, we can't tell whether it is the front or the back. The only difference between him and Mu Qingzu is that he has an extra leg." Mu Qingzu pounced over, opened her mouth and bit his wrist, biting very hard. Her purpose was self-evident. You are born in the year of the dog. Xiao Yi sucked in a breath of cold air and cried out in pain. Mu Qingzu bit her teeth so hard that they were almost broken, only 2 rows of tooth marks were left. Without any trace of blood, she loosened her teeth, wiped the crystal clear water left, and said anxiously, "Xiao Yi, give me blood quickly, I can't wait, I want it." Looking at her fiery eyes, Xiao Yi shuddered. "Oh no. As another woman who wants me to bleed. How about letting Nan Gongxia, Cheng Bingxi, and Liuya bleed?" As soon as this thought came up, he dismissed it. No, only he can bleed. Well, actually, massage techniques are also very effective. How about we massage you first and then give you golden blood? Xiao Yi said after looking at Wu Qingzu. Mu Qingzu looked at him doubtfully. Could it be that this guy wanted to take advantage of her? But she wanted to blow up the airport so much that she blushed and said, "Then come on. Be gentle to me, and don't be like you did yesterday." Xiao Yi's eyes lit up. Of course, no problem. After half an hour, the massage was completed. In the living room, Xiao Yi took a cup, took out half of the golden blood, and placed it in front of Mu Qingzu, whose face was rosy, and said, "Here, drink it." Mu Qingzu took the cup, put it to her mouth and sniffed it. After smelling the strong smell of blood, her brows frowned. It was indeed fishy and smelly, and it was so hard to swallow. But her determination to change her figure was too strong, so she pinched her nose and gulped it down. Xiao Yi looked on curiously from the side. "How does it feel?" Mu Qingzu suddenly widened her beautiful eyes, a look of joy appeared on her pretty face, her whole body became comfortable, and she moaned unconsciously. This lasted for 1 minute. Xiao Yi opened his mouth in surprise. "Is it so cool?" A minute later, Mu Qingzu came out of her comfortable states. He let out a and covered her mouth with her little hands, her face reddening to her ears with shyness. "Damn it," he actually yelled in front of Xiao Yi. "How embarrassing." Xiao Yi took himself a cup and put half a cup of golden blood in it, then he took a small sip and swallowed it while suppressing his nausea. "Ah?" He was surprised. "I don't feel anything." Thinking that he drank too little, Xiao Yi took 2 more gulps. But there was no reaction. Instead, his stomach churned and protested, making him feel very nauseous and want to vomit. It must be fake. Xiao Yi pushed the cup away in disdain. Can a human drink this? Even a dog wouldn't drink it. Mu Qingzu stared at the cup, grabbed it quickly as if she was grabbing food, and drank it all in 1 gulp. Then she entered that comfortable state again. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Even dogs wouldn't drink this stuff, but Mu Qingzu drank it. So she is even worse than a dog? Xiao Yi said he took back what he had just said. After the comfortable state, Mu Qingzu licked her lips with an unsatisfied look, staring at Xiao Yi with shining eyes, and a very strange smile appeared on her pretty face. Xiao Yi was frightened and said, "No more drinking. That's enough for today. I'll make a rule for you. You can only drink half a cup a week, no more. There's a saying that goes, too much is as bad as too little. You have to know how to do it in moderation." Mu Qingzu's expression returned to normal, and she said with some disappointment, "Oh, I understand, I'll drink it next week." Xiao Yi patted his chest and breathed a sigh of relief. Just the right amount is fine. He thought about it, analyzed it, and concluded that it was because his body had undergone an upgrade in evolution that some magical effects occurred. The reason why it had no effect when he drank it was because his body was already very advanced. But Mu Qingzu is different. Her template has not evolved yet. Her body has not evolved either. She is still at SSS level. The same goes for Sister Yunxi, she is at SSS level template. Mu Qingzu tilted her head and was thinking, Xiao Yi's golden blood was so delicious to drink, but what about the other things on him, such as that thing? Mu Qingzu smiled strangely, her beautiful eyes shining. At this time, Cheng Bingxi came up and called out, "Xiao Yi, Zuer, Sister Yunxi is here. She wants to explain something about the Bronze Palace." Chapter 260. Get ready to go. Living room on the first floor. As soon as Xiao Yi went downstairs, he saw Yunxi, who had a proud and tall figure at this moment. She was eating red fruit. Seeing that everyone had arrived, she swallowed the extremely masculine and strong red fruit in one gulp and said, "There is no limit on the number of places for the Bronze Hall trial tomorrow, but there are conditions. As long as the conditions are met, no matter how many people there are, they can enter. The condition is that you have a talent for medicine. To be more specific, it means possessing extraordinary wood attribute talents, life attribute talents, light attribute talents, light attribute talents, or spiritual attribute talents, soul attribute talents, etc." Yunxi looked around and fixed his eyes on Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxia, and said with a smile, "If I remember correctly, you two have similar talents after your templates mutate. You must meet the requirements." Nan Gongxia was overjoyed and said joyfully, "Is that so? I have the supreme attribute and the 5 elements attribute. And the 5 elements attribute includes the wood attribute." She held Cheng Bingxi's hand and said excitedly, "Sister Bing, she has the attributes of life and destruction. Sister Bing, she and I are going to the trial together. I'm so happy." Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Have you forgotten something? Cheng Bingxi and Nan Gongxiao looked at him in a daze. Yun Shi smiled. Of course, as your contractor, Xiao Yi has inherited the attributes of the summon beast. So he also meets the requirements. Xiao Yi snapped his fingers. Yes, that means the three of us should go together and make sure to get the soul healing treasure. Mu Qingzu felt a little disappointed. It was such a pity. She still wanted to stay with Xiao Yi, but now they had to separate. She and Xiao Yi just signed the contract yesterday. Xiao Yi didn't pay attention to her expression, so he didn't know that she was feeling depressed at the moment. Yun Shi shook his head. Our goal is the soul healing treasure, but the greatest benefit of the Bronze Palace is not it. Nan Gongxiao tilted her head and asked, what is that? Yun Shi's eyes sparkled. The core medical heritage of an imperial medical family. Everyone was shocked. An emperor-level inheritance. Mu Qingzu was also shocked. As far as she knew from the memories of her previous life, there was only one imperial-level medical family in ancient times, and that family was called the Tang family. The Tang clan, one of the overlords in ancient times, has now disappeared? Even such an existence cannot withstand the erosion of time. No, the lifespan of the Supreme is 5,000 years, the lifespan of the Saint is about 10,000 years, and the lifespan of the Quasi-Emperor is as long as 15,000 years. The overlord like the Tang family should be able to continue. But now in the Beast Mother era, there is no information about the ancient era. The earliest time that can be traced is after the Beast Mother era. Mu Qingzu was extremely frightened when she thought about it carefully. She believed that something major must have happened at the end of the ancient era, which caused a historical gap and made all the forces of the ancient era disappear. This is a mystery. Perhaps, if we get the emperor-level inheritance, there might be records in it that can solve the mystery. Mu Qingzu pushed Xiao Yi and said, if possible, try to get the emperor-level inheritance. Xiao Yi glanced at her airport, raised his lips and showed an I understand look, and said, I understand, I understand, I understand. Mu Qingzu was completely confused. What do you know? When she saw where Xiao Yi was looking, her pretty face suddenly turned red, her beautiful eyes widened, and she said, and you better work harder, I'll wait for you at home. Xiao Yi nodded. Yun Shi. Okay, now that it's decided, you three should have a good rest today. I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Yun Shi was about to leave, but was stopped by Xiao Yi. Wait a moment. She looked puzzled. What's wrong? Xiao Yi rubbed his hands with shining eyes and said, Sister Yun Shi, we may be in danger when we go there. Won't you give us a few hundred life-saving cards? Yun Shi's pretty face darkened. 1 piece per person is fine, but hundreds of pieces. Do you think they are cabbages? She took out 5 blue little kunpeng pendants from the storage space and said, this is a top-level supreme-level life-saving item, 1 for each person. Xiao Yi took them all without hesitation, and then distributed them to each beast girl one by one, and put them on them personally. Mu Qingzu was a little happy. I'm not going to Jinling City, but I have it too? Xiao Yi said, of course. Mu Qingzu smiled happily. Yun Shi watched from the side and muttered inwardly, Yun Bing will also be your beast girl, and I don't see you preparing anything for Yun Bing. After Xiao Yi had put the golden blood on himself, Yun Shi pulled him to a corner and whispered, Xiao Yi, my research has reached a critical point and I need a lot of golden blood. Can you? Xiao Yi covered himself and stepped back. Sister Yun Shi, in order to satisfy your pleasure. You actually want me to bleed unscrupulously, you are too perverted. Satisfy the pleasure. After drinking the golden blood, I really felt like I had reached orgasm. Then she blushed. You know everything? Xiao Yi nodded. And said with a wary look, Sister Yun Shi, you have to drink blood in moderation. Now that he was exposed, Yun Shi didn't try to hide anything and said straight to the point, the feeling of pleasure is just a byproduct. The real function of the golden blood is to greatly increase the speed of cultivation. The reason why I entered the quasi-saint realm so quickly is because of you, all thanks to the golden blood. Xiao Yi was a little surprised that golden blood actually had this effect. Then she came over and blew into his ear. Then whispered, give me a few hundred more liters, I'm confident that I can enter the holy realm in a short time. Xiao Yi's expression was serious. Really? Yun Shi said seriously, really? Xiao Yi looked like he was ready to risk everything, and said righteously, as a student, I have no choice but to help Sister Yun Shi. I will bleed you right now. Yun Shi was overjoyed. Wait, I'll find a container. With a clang, she directly released the huge empty bathtub for bathing. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. This bathtub is 3 meters in diameter, and 1.5 meters high. It can hold several hundred liters. However, in order to help Yun Shi improve his realm, Xiao Yi cut his wrist without any hesitation. Immediately, a golden column of blood with extremely strong impact shot out and sprayed towards the bathtub. The huge impact caused the bathtub to vibrate violently. While bleeding, Xiao Yi activated his life control, continuously transforming life substances in his body to assist cell hematopoiesis. After creating and releasing it, he only felt a little mentally tired, but his body did not feel any discomfort at all. Looking at the golden blood gushing out desperately, Yunqi's pretty face became excited and she stuck out her little tongue to lick her sexy red lips. 10 minutes later, the bathtub was half full and almost full. A commotion here attracted the attention of Mu Qingzu and the others, and they ran over to watch. Cheng Bing she felt a little distressed. Xiaoya, just let me bleed next time. Nan Gong Xiao said, mine is fine too. Liuya said she could too. Mu Qingzu was a little jealous, and her eyes were red with grievance. Xiaoyi only gave her a small cup a week, but gave Ding Yunqi a big bathtub. Mu Qingzu refused to accept it and demanded at least one small cup a day. After draining all the blood, Mu Qingzu quickly scooped up the cups and ran away contentedly. Yunqi smiled, checked Xiaoyi's condition, and found that he was just a little tired, then left with the bathtub of several hundred liters. The next day, morning. Chapter 261 Disaster Constitution EZR. The next morning, Jinling City, City Lord's Mansion. City Lord Yi Cheng came to his daughter Yi Ziar's villa early in the morning and said to her in a gentle voice, Ziar. Today is the annual Bronze Palace trial. There are more than 10 geniuses coming this year, although the probability is very small. What if someone can get the Imperial Medical Heritage? Come with me at noon to meet them and become familiar with them. Ziar was covered in the quilt, still sleeping soundly. A soft female voice came out. Dad, I'm not going. I won't go this time even if I die. Yi Cheng shook his head. No, you have to get his is related to solving your physical problem. Ziar's head emerged from the quilt, revealing a beautiful and delicate face. Her face was smooth and her lines were graceful, but her pure eyes were filled with melancholy. She said in a panic. It was because I went to see them a year ago that they were stricken with bad luck. Of the 8 people who entered the Bronze Palace, only to return safely. The other 6 were killed by me. I won't go even if you kill me today. What if I kill a few more people? Yi Cheng opened his mouth, feeling speechless, and said helplessly, Ziar, you worry too much. The Bronze Palace trial is an opportunity. The greater the opportunity, the greater the risk. They died in it. Which means that this is their fate and has nothing to do with you. You just met them once, how could it bring such a terrible misfortune? Ziar was still a little panicked. No, what if? I won't go. Yi Cheng's face turned serious. And he said in a deep voice, you must go, be obedient. Get up now and dress yourself up. Ziar, who grew up in a single-parent family, heard her father's serious tones. He obediently got out of bed with a look of grievance on her face and started to wash and dress herself. Yi Cheng sighed and said, come to the main hall of the City Lord's Mansion at noon, I have something else to do. After saying that, he left. Walking out of the villa, the top supreme Yi Cheng suddenly slipped and stumbled, almost falling flat on his face. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and did a front flip to land steadily. The floor is paved with marble and has an anti-slip mechanism, so under normal circumstances, it is impossible for the floor to slip. Yi Cheng was helpless. This was the consequence of coming into contact with Ziar. Even if it was just a slight contact, he would be infected with some bad luck. But Ziar was his only child and only daughter. Even if he would be infected with bad luck, he would not alienate or reject Ziar. With a sigh he left. After Ziar finished washing and dressing, she stood blankly in front of the floor-length mirror. I saw the frail girl in the mirror with a dull face and lifeless eyes. Looks very melancholy. Her aura suddenly increased, and her realm broke through to the 6th star of the venerable realm. Ziar was shocked and at a loss. She said in panic, how come it broke through again? I tried so hard to suppress it. What the hell? The higher the realm, the more terrible the bad luck, especially during the period when I just broke through the realm. How can I face people at noon? She is 28 years old this year. She doesn't like to practice cultivation on weekdays, but her aptitude is very terrifying. Even though her realm is suppressed, it can't stop her from breaking through. It seems that her physique is improving automatically, and she doesn't need to practice deliberately. Ziar became upset and lost the mood to eat breakfast. She left the villa and headed towards the demonic plant mountains behind the City Lord's mansion, intending to relax. On the other side, the demon city base city, Xiao Yi was sleeping in the master bedroom, with a long straight black hair wrapped around him like an octopus. He patted Mu Qingzu's face and said, arrogant girl, wake up. Mu Qingzu opened her eyes sleepily and murmured, let me sleep a little longer. As she spoke, she wrapped Xiao Yi tighter around her and found a comfortable position. Xiao Yi said dissatisfied, lie, you are pressing my hair. Mu Qingzu moved. Xiao Yi's eyes widened. You pressed my legs. Mu Qingzu said unhappily, just press me, I'm not heavy. Xiao Yi wanted to say that it was not those 2 legs, but the other leg. It was getting late now, so he simply threw back the quilt and broke free from Mu Qingzu's entanglement. Don't make trouble, there is something important today. After they finished washing up, they came to the 1st floor. Everyone had already gotten up and were waiting for them. There were pots of nourishing soup on the dining table. After breakfast, everyone prepared to set off. Mu Qingzu was a little reluctant, and Liu Ya comforted her. The Bronze Palace trial will only take 2 days at most, and Xiao Yi will be back soon. Xiao Yi smiled and said, you can also come with us and go around Jinling City. Mu Qingzu shook her head. I want to practice. You think I can't bear to leave you? You think too much? I'll leave right away. Then Yunxi opened a space crack and left with Xiao Yi, Nengong Xiao and Qingbingxi. Mu Qingzu kept looking at him. And even after the person left, she was still looking at him, mesmerized. Liu Ya waved her hand in front of her. Let's go practice. Mu Qingzu felt a little disappointed. Oh, Jinling City. Next to the avenue outside the city lord's mansion, a space crack appeared out of nowhere, and Yunxi, Xiao Yi and the other 3 stepped out from it. Xiao Yi's face suddenly changed, and he felt like his bladder was about to burst. He hurriedly said, Sister Yunxi, you go first, I'll be there later. Yunxi, what? Run away. Xiao Yi turned into a long and narrow streak of lightning that streaked across the sky and fell towards a certain direction unconsciously. When he reached an old tree that was lushly green, he stood on its branches and began to release water. The parabola fell into a clear stream below due to gravity, stirring up a few drops of water. Downstream of the stream, just over 10 meters away from Xiao Yi, a beautiful girl with a gentle temperament was crouching in the stream, scooping water with both hands and intending to drink it. Xiao Yi was humming a song in boiling water suddenly. He was startled and shouted, the woman down there, boil the water, don't drink it. Easier opened her mouth and took 2 sips when she heard the sound. She looked towards the source of the sound with puzzled eyes. As a result, the scene of a handsome man ejaculating came into her sight. There's a pervert, she screamed and looked away with a red face. Xiao Yi finished draining the water and appeared in front of her, saying helplessly, I have already reminded you, why are you still drinking it? You wanted to drink it yourself, you can't blame me. Bye. Easier reacted. Her pretty face was dull. She looked at the water in the spoon in her hand, then looked at Xiao Yi, and said angrily, how can you urinate and defecate anywhere? She splashed the water back into the stream with both hands. Xiao Yi looked around and lost his sense of direction due to the commotion. He was immediately overwhelmed. He apologized and asked, excuse me, beauty, which direction is the city lord's mansion? City lord's mansion? Isn't this just behind the mountain of the city lord's mansion? Etc. Easier looked at Xiao Yi. The day was such a special day. Could this man have come to the Bronze Palace for the trial? She was startled and said in panic, stay away from me. She subconsciously moved away from Xiao Yi, fearing that she would bring bad luck to him. In panic, she missed a step and slipped, falling into the stream. She landed in the water with a splash, getting soaked all over. A white skirt stuck to her body, highlighting her slim figure. Xiao Yi widened his eyes. Chapter 262. Token of Love? This delicate girl has a great figure. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched seeing that she fell down because of his fright. He stretched out his hand and said, come, I'll pull you up. But Easier walked to the other side of the shore and said seriously, stand there and don't move. Don't come near me. You can go to the city lord's mansion by following that path. I advise you not to participate in the Bronze Hole trial. Otherwise something serious might happen, and you might even lose your life. Xiao Yi was completely confused after hearing this. Who was this woman? How did she know that there would be death in the Bronze Palace? How did she know that the Bronze Palace trial was dangerous? After Easier finished speaking, she ran to the other side. Wanting to leave this place, Xiao Yi saw that she was soaked, so he used the water element to control and transfer all the water off her clothes. After doing all this, Xiao Yi left. After Easier ran a distance, she saw her own situation and her pretty face became anxious. She said in a panic, oh no, that person is likely to die. I killed another person. What should I do? He looks like a good man. I can't kill a good man. Easier frowned. Xiao Yi had already returned to the main road outside the city lord's mansion. Yunxi, Sheng Bingxi and Nangong Xia were still waiting for him there. Sheng Bingxi's beautiful eyes kept looking at him. You were gone for half an hour. How could it take you that long to pee? Did you do something bad? Nangong Xia came over and sniffed him. Her small nose sniffed and her eyes showed a dangerous look as she said, it smells like a woman's perfume. Xiao Yi, tell me the truth, what were you doing just now? Xiao Yi's face turned awkward, and he said, the place where the water was released was a garden, and I just got some fragrance on me. This explanation is barely acceptable. Yunxi narrowed her eyes and said, okay, it's almost time to go in. Sheng Bingxi snorted just now. While Xiao Yi was away, Yunxi reminded them to keep an eye on him at all times and not let him attract a lot of attention. Otherwise, with his luck and love and his excellence, he would hook up with high-quality beast girls wherever he went. Then, Yunxi led everyone into the city lord's mansion. Inside the city lord's mansion, in the city lord's hall, 8 geniuses have arrived. They are around 30 years old and are in pairs. They are for pairs of contractors. When Yunxi and his group entered here, the 3 peerless beauties seemed like a piece of scenery, attracting the attention of everyone present. Supreme Kunpeng, you are here?" After Yitai greeted them, he turned his gaze to Xiao Yi and the others. "So young?" He was very surprised, only about 20 years old. The 4 pairs of contractors present were shocked. 20 years old? The first requirement for participating in the Bronze Palace trial is to be at the Venerable Realm. So these 3 extremely young geniuses are at the Venerable Realm at the age of 20? Hey, it's you two. Yitai had met Nan Gongxiao and Chengbing Shi at the last wedding banquet and knew that they were Xiao Yi's beast mothers. And this person should be the famous #1 of the younger generation. "Xiao Yi, right?" Yitai said with a happy smile. Xiao Yi smiled modestly. "It's me." Is. The 4 pairs of contractors were shocked. Xiao Yi, the #1 person of the younger generation. They kept looking around. This person is a super genius famous throughout the country, and I actually saw him here. Yunshi coughed and said, "City Lord Yi. Xiao Yi can't stand being praised. He will become arrogant if he is praised too much. You should introduce the Bronze Palace trial. Her focus is on soul healing treasures." Yitai's face became serious, and he said, "The Bronze Palace can be traced back to ancient times. It is the inheritance place left by the imperial medical family. Rather than calling it a place of trial, it is better to call it a place of testing. Only those who can pass the test can inherit the imperial medical tradition. Everyone, let me tell you that the Bronze Hall is full of dangers. If you are not careful, you may lose your life. Moreover, a teleportation talisman is ineffective if you are unsure of the danger. Try to avoid it. The chance of death in the Bronze Hall used to be around 60. If you want to quit now, you can quit immediately. The Bronze Palace is blessed with the supreme rule, which is equivalent to another dimension. A teleportation talisman is useless. You must use the boundary-breaking talisman to leave the Bronze Palace and return to the main space of Blue Star." Xiao Yi's heart was startled. Is it useful if the boundary-breaking talisman is used? He sent a voice message. "Sister Yunshi, can the life-saving props you gave us break through the realm?" Yunshi shook her head. "No." Xiao Yi widened his eyes. Yitai looked around and saw that no one present wanted to quit. He smiled and said, "Very good. It seems that everyone is full of confidence. Everyone may know that the Bronze Palace is the family heritage of my Yi family. That everyone can enter for free and take away all the treasures found in the Bronze Palace for free if any of you can obtain the inheritance of an imperial medical family. I hope that after you come out, you can heal my daughter's physical problem." The 4 pairs of contractors all said that it was no problem. Yitai was very happy to get the guarantee and said, "Okay, then I'll let my daughter come out to meet everyone and make her familiar faces." He took out his communicator and called EZR. Beep 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 beep. Upon hearing this, the 4 pairs of contractors suddenly took a few steps back, and everyone's eyes showed a look of fear and caution. The daughter of the Yi family, a disaster girl, is so terrifying. Contact will bring bad luck. To be honest, if they didn't want to take part in the Bronze Palace trial, they would have absolutely no desire to come into contact with EZR. Seeing their exaggerated reactions, Xiao Yi asked in confusion, "What happened to City Lord Yi's daughter?" Chengbing Shi leaned close to his ear and whispered in her ear about EZR's unlucky body. Xiao Yi took a breath of cold air and said in shock, "It's so scary. How about we wait for the daughter of the Yi family to come out and then we can avoid it?" Chengbing Shi frowned. "It's not that scary. We had a close encounter last time, and we didn't get any bad luck." Nan Gongxiao muttered. "Last time I suppressed that physical condition, but this time it may not be the case." Xiao Yi felt horrified when he heard this, and hurriedly pulled Chengbing Shi and Nan Gongxiao back to the gate of the City Lord's Hall, looking into the hall from afar. "We just need to stay here," he laughed. Yunshi's pretty face turned dark. "If you wanted to step back, why didn't you pull me with you or say hello? You left me standing alone in the hall. How embarrassing." The 4 pairs of contractors looked at each other with strange expressions when they saw the Icy Queen left alone. After Yitai finished the call, he apologized and said, "I'm sorry, my daughter has something else to do and can't come to see you for the time being." Everyone present was very happy. "It's good that you didn't come." Xiao Yi also breathed a sigh of relief. He pulled Chengbing Shi and Nan Gongxiao back and returned to the main hall, next to Yunshi. Yunshi glared with her beautiful eyes and gritted her teeth. At this time, a guard hurriedly ran in from outside the hall. After carefully looking around the hall, he walked towards Xiao Yi and said, "Let go, baby. This is a gift from my young lady. She wants you not to die." The guard stuffed a black token-like object into Xiao Yi's arms and left the City Lord's Hall. Xiao Yi felt puzzled and looked at the black token in his hand, on which were written 2 words, "Break the boundary." Chengbing Shi and Nan Gongxiao looked dangerous as they handcuffed Xiao Yi on the left and right, narrowing their eyes and saying, "Great, you can hook up with a woman just by letting her wet the pot. And even have someone send you a token of love. Xiao Yi, you're amazing." Xiao Yi felt thrown. He really didn't mean it. Chapter 263 Bronze Palace, Fantasy World. Chengbing Shi snatched the token from his hand and took a look at it, and was immediately shocked. The black token was covered with intricate and mysterious patterns. It was heavy. Solid and tough. Two words break the boundary were engraved on the front and a tall tower was depicted on the back, which gave a sense of grandness and magnificence at first glance. What's the use of this thing? Is it a talisman to break the world? Nan Gong Xiao looked silly. Cheng Bingshi glared at Xiaoyi. I don't know. Xiao, we have to follow this guy when he lets us go. He hooked up with a rich girl and the time it takes to let us go. By the way, the guard said it was his daughter who is the daughter of the city lord's mansion? The expressions of Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gong Xiao froze. Xiaoyi also paused, feeling that something was wrong. The daughter of the city lord's mansion. Isn't she city lord Yi's daughter? EZR. The corners of Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. The girl who drank the stream water turned out to be the daughter of the city lord's mansion? So, I have already met her a long time ago. Xiaoyi felt creepy. No wonder the girl kept telling him not to get close to her and not to participate in the Bronze Palace trial, otherwise his life would be in danger. But she gave me this black token to save my life? In an instant, Xiaoyi's goosebumps disappeared, and his whole body felt comfortable. He changed his stereotype of EZR and said with a smile, Miss Yi is kind by nature, beautiful, and a good beast girl. Although her physique is horrible, she must be very helpless and doesn't want to hurt anyone. When Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gong Xiao heard this, dangerous looks appeared in their beautiful eyes. Sure enough, this guy just let it go and met the daughter of the Yi family. His luck in love is so good. Itai said at this time. It's 12 o'clock noon, let's set off. But the thought, he waved his hand and opened a circular or a space channel in the hall. This is the passage to my Mu family's small world. Everyone, please follow me. Itai took the lead and stepped in, followed by the others. Xiaoyi and others were the last to enter, and Yun Shi also went in. After everyone entered, a little head popped out from the back door of the hall. The beautiful eyes looked around the hall curiously and said, the guard should have delivered the things. Daddy only has one token. And it looks very rare with it, he shouldn't die. Hey. I hope someone can inherit the medical knowledge this time, so that my physical problems can be improved and solved. In the Mu family's small world, everyone came to a tall tower. This tower is ancient bronze in color, very tall and reaches straight into the sky. It is filled with an extremely ancient atmosphere and a sense of historical weight. Itai introduced. This is the Bronze Palace. The Bronze Palace has 9 floors in total. Each floor is a dimensional world. Only the boundary-breaking talisman can be teleported out. You need to prepare it yourself. The 4 pairs of contractors remained calm. Xiaoyi, Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gong Xiao felt a stir in their hearts. They had seen this tower before. It was exactly the same as the one engraved on the back of the black token. Yes, that token must be a boundary-breaking token. And it is a boundary-breaking token exclusively for the Bronze Palace, which is a token used in the Bronze Palace. Yun Shi pulled the 3 people aside, took out 3 props and handed them to them, saying, these are boundary-breaking props, put them on. This thing is very difficult to refine. And I don't have many of them. Cheng Bingshi and Nan Gong Xiao took it with a smile. Thank you, Sister Yun Shi. Xiaoyi took it without hesitation and put it around his neck. Yun Shi glanced at the black token and thought, this token may have more functions than just breaking through the boundary and teleporting. Keep it close to you and don't lose it. Don't put it in the storage space, otherwise you won't be able to take it out when you encounter danger. She felt 3 or 4 kinds of rule forces, including the force of space rules. The force of space rules should be the function of breaking boundaries, but she didn't know what the functions of the other types of rule forces were. Xiaoyi put it in his pocket and said in surprise, other functions. Okay, I will carry it with me. At this time, Yitai's voice came over. Unpeng Supreme, have you explained everything? Everyone is ready to test their qualifications and enter the Bronze Hall. Yun Shi nodded. You go. Xiaoyi brought Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi to the 4 pairs of contractors. Yitai, the lord of Jinling City, slapped the ancient gate of the Bronze Palace with his palm, making a dull clanging sound. Then he retreated rapidly and flew away into the distance, shouting, Supreme Kunpeng, leave the 100-meter radius from here, otherwise you will be regarded as an intruder by the Bronze Palace and will be strangled by the Supreme Will. Yun Shi did as he was told and teleported through space to a place 100 meters away. Itai came to her side and said expectantly, I wonder how many people will be able to pass the test and enter the Bronze Hall this time. Just after the 2 of them moved away, a huge ray of light poured down from the top of the Bronze Palace tower, illuminating Xiaoyi and the others present. Of the 4 pairs of contractors, 2 of them disappeared and were carried into the Bronze Hall by the light. The other 2 pairs of contractors were excluded and pushed out of the Bronze Palace by a force that was 100 meters away. Itai sighed and said, these 4 people don't meet the requirements. I wonder what Xiaoyi and the other 2 will do. Below the Bronze Palace, there were Xiaoyi and 3 others. Yun Shi's face was filled with a confident smile. The figures of Xiaoyi and the other 2 also disappeared and were taken into the Bronze Hall. Itai smiled. As expected of the number 1 of the younger generation, his talent is so terrifying. In the Bronze Palace, Everyone appeared on the first floor. In a grand hall on the high platform in the center of the hall, 2 boxes were suspended. The 2 pairs of contractors looked delighted and said, "This is the first level, the inner demon level, which tests willpower. The first person to pass the level will get the 2 boxes as a reward for passing the level. If you cannot overcome the illusion, you will be trapped in it forever, unable to extricate yourself, until you die." If I remember correctly, in those 2 boxes, one is a treasure for healing the body, and the other is a treasure for defending the mind. Buzz buzz buzz. A force of rules descended, and everyone became stunned. In their vision, it seemed as if they had come to another world, a world of inner demons and illusions. Chao Yi also came to a fantasy world. But he didn't know it was a fantasy world. Why am I back at Kunpeng Academy? He looked around and saw that this was Villa No. 1 in the No. 1 Lakeview Villa District, which was also the villa where Yunxi lived. A sexy lady came out of the bathroom. Wearing only a thin nightgown, it was Yunxi. When Yunxi saw him, she was delighted and ran over, hugged him and said, "Chao Yi, you're finally here. That little slut Yunbing locked you in Villa No. 2 for 3 days and 3 nights and didn't let me see you. That's too much. You come with me tonight." Looking at the goddess Dean with a cold face but charming eyes, Chao Yi's brain started to work. What's going on? Seeing